To do this again. So guess what we're gonna do? I'm a man of the people. We're doing it again. You ready for this? Because I'm sure as hell not. Even Windows is like trying to notify me. It's like, don't do this. But it's a necessary evil. In order to continue making good videos for you guys, I must marathon my old ones and remember all the great times. Honestly, like, it's not like I'm trying to, you know, rekindle my creative energy or anything. It's just there's some things that I want to keep a little bit, you know? Like, if I had a reference to something that I wanted to get back to, or just like a way I did something in the past that I don't want to forget. That's the main reason I'm like going through all these. So last time we got through the first part of BNGR. It's really weird saying that again. We did most of Nintendo 101, and we did a couple AVIs. So what I'm going to do today, I'll start off, we're going to finish off Nintendo 101, and then we're going to do this. So let's do it. God, it's going to be such a pain to go back to Nintendo 101, because like I wanted to make more of them, but they were too hard. And I feel like I alluded to making more in these, and I just did not. And that hurts, but maybe one day, you know. Alright. You ready for this? You ready for this intro? Let's do it. Oh, it zooms in this time!
Goes over all your favorite games. Welcome to Nintendo 101.
Wow. Wow, great cropping, my guy! You did it! Oh my god. The clout. I can feel the clout emanating from this. Why?
Come on. Dang it. Whew. Hey there. My name's Balrog, and as you can tell, I love Nintendo.
Shut
That's
up.
Mario, he can tell you. Ain't that right? Now, despite being an adult, I still fully embrace
What?
my inner child with pretty much everything I do. I mean, I am all grown up, but it's still nice to have these.
You're not grown up, you're a man
However,
child.
There's one series that really helped me become the gamer I am today, F-Zero. So personally, I believe that the best way I can go over the history of this series is through my own personal experiences playing the game as a kid. So,
Alright,
story time.
let's do it.
The year was 1999. It was my 6th birthday.
It
and
was.
As I opened my gifts at Pizza Hut, I like pizza, okay? I got a new Nintendo racing game. Now, being a fan of Nintendo
Yeah, I had a
and
Pizza Hut
Mario
party.
Kart, I knew I wouldn't be disappointed with this F-Zero X. But what I got instead was a crash course into one of the hardest games
This game
ever created.
wrecked my
This game
asshole.
was my rite of passage into the realm of hardcore games. And when I showed off my skills to my friends, I felt like a complete badass.
It's true. I suck at all F-Zero games now. Like, I didn't play for many years, and I tried GX the other day.
How could a racing game be one of the hardest games that I've ever
Jesus
played?
Christ.
Well, let's go back in time a few decades and find out.
Let's do it.
So our story begins in 1990 with the launch of the Super Famicom, or as we know in English, the SNES.
See,
You
what
see,
kind
Nintendo
of bothers
was
me
to
about
enter
this
something
video
called
is
the
I made it
16-bit
like more
era,
personal
an
when
era
this is
that
a
showcased
history
the true
video. I
potential
feel
and
like it's a little
processing
conflict
power
of
home
interest.
consoles. But there were already two competitors. The PC Engine by NEC and Hudson, yes, that Hudson, and
Yeah.
the Sega Mega Drive. You may know these as a TurboGrafx 16
I was gonna
and
say,
Sega
you call it the
Genesis.
PC
Adding their
Engine?
impressive backlogs of
No one's
games
gonna
to
know
the
what that
equation.
is.
And Nintendo knew they had to prove themselves day one. And what they did, oh, what they did, was simply mind-blowing. Now, to avoid a bunch of technical mumbo-jumbo, I'll just put it plain and simple. There were 8 modes used for video output on the system,
I
which
forgot about that,
specified the
actually.
palette as well as the amount of layers.
How's
that
the
a
audio,
game
by
would
the way?
have. But the last one, famously called Mode 7, could rotate background layers thanks to this fancy algorithm and putting parameters for each scan.
Science!
In English, this meant a 3D effect to games, but to consumers, this meant a gaming revolution. And of course, cheesy 90s commercials. I mean, who doesn't love those?
You didn't even crop it! You didn't even crop it, are you kidding me?
Alright, so to sum this up, F-Zero was essentially a showcase of what this Mode 7 could
I wanna
do,
go back in
as well
time
as
and
a launch
slap this
title
man.
alongside Super Mario World, which even used Mode 7 a bit itself. But what's even more interesting than the graphics was the kind of game
Alright,
they
I put
ended
the
up
volume
making,
up a little more.
obviously being far different than your normal racer. Well, without further ado, let's talk about the game itself.
Let's
So
talk about the game.
here, kindly put as a comic in the manual, is quite simple. In the year 2560, rich people were bored and wanted entertainment. So, what's the first thing that would come to your mind? Maybe an amusement park? Some new TV shows?
Oh,
I know. How
Vitale's
about a
awesome
petting
baby
zoo? That sounds
college
freaking
hoops.
adorable. Well, these guys thought, how about we make a lightning-fast Grand Prix race where people in hover cars kill each other to pursue fame and fortune? It's genius, right?
I would do that.
Anyway, there's 4 characters to choose from. Pico, the alien, Dr.
Pico!
Stewart, the ladies' man, Goro, the crook, and Captain Falcon, the bounty hunter. Of course, story doesn't really play a role in this game since this is a racing game, but the extra little backgrounds were a pretty nice touch. Not to mention hilariously cheesy. But of course, the question on your mind isn't the story.
Font?
It's what made this game such a radically different racer.
It's
Well,
like
a
black
pizza,
and
the
thick
best way to
outline
explain
of
F-Zero is
blue.
by putting each
And
slice of the gameplay in separate
It
parts.
screams
Care to be
graphic
honest,
design.
On second thought,
I don't trust that.
so
I would
number one
not.
is probably the
I
most
don't
obvious,
trust that,
the
man.
3D effect.
Thank you for
This
following.
may not look like much by today's standards, but these amounts of three-dimensional detail were unheard of back in the day. The worlds really felt like they were moving with you, the backgrounds were really nice to look at, and draw distances using different size sprites was actually a really good idea.
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw
Things
up.
just
What was
looked a
that?
lot less
What was that
disorienting
zoom
than
in?
other racers at the time, which looking back at those, was really an accomplishment in itself. Alright, number 2 is the speed. Geez, just the thought of going 400 kilometers per hour in a video game is pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah,
Turns come at you fast, the speed of the cars makes driving a bit wild, and the boost, oh the boost. It's a crazy feeling, flying past ships already going a bajillion miles
Classic
an hour.
today.
But number 3 really helped drive the
It was
feeling of speed home.
$36.
The controls. Each of the 4 vehicles may have their
Was
pros
it worth
and cons, and all feel very distinct from each other, but the way that the ships react to your D-pad movement are really something to behold.
No.
With most drivers, even the slightest tap will send you swerving to one side of the track,
that.
just because of the ridiculous speed you'll be going at. At first, they may feel a bit floaty, but after lots of practice, they become some of the tightest and satisfying controls I've ever seen in a racing game. Even though there's only 4 racers, each one feels radically different in terms of acceleration, speed, and boost, to the point that it actually feels like a different game with every single one. Now that's what you call some replayability. Alright,
you're telling me I bought the Soldier Boy handheld console by accident?
Racers, or even rough patches in the course. You always have something you need to worry about. But this is also where the speed comes into play.
Dude,
These
this game
obstacles are
wrecked
coming
my
at you in a
ass.
fraction of a second,
It's so
which means
hard.
you gotta have fast reflexes not to be constantly slowed down. And if you slow down in F-Zero, it's a pain in the ass to catch up. But there is one obstacle I'm forgetting. The bane of my existence. The cause of
what is that?
childhood nightmares. The hardest enemy I've ever fought in a video game. The walls. What, were you expecting some huge monster or something? Oh god, the walls.
I've had to film myself randomly flailing in my bed.
But it made you get good at the controls.
Incredible.
Fast. You had to drift correctly. You had to be sure not to hit other players. You had to boost at a spot where you had good control. Putting barriers in this game really made you soak in the track design.
Yeah, it
and
also
be
makes
extra
you
careful
hate
when you
every
saw
track.
obstacles approaching.
Because it's
Sure,
really
it may
hard.
be trial and error for some, but that's just the arcade-like nature of the game. They want you to keep coming back and master each track. I mean, what fun would it be if you got everything the first time? There's no point to come back. But luckily, the game gives you a bit of a break with number 5, the damage meter. It was okay if you skid across an edge a few times, hit a couple mines,
until
or
the
even
later
bump into
levels, then
racers.
you get
These
absolutely
things would only
destroyed.
take a tiny sliver of health from you. I mean, Nintendo had to have some leniency since you're going so darn fast.
I film a lot of things in my bed. I did.
Hitting the wall too fast,
I really
you'll
did.
ricochet off the walls,
Should I bring that back? Should I bring back filming in my
Just
bed?
an ultimatum from the game, being like, "Hey, don't be too careless now." Now, luckily, you can regenerate at certain spots in the track, but this will only give you about a quarter of your health if you're in a hurry. You
Please
stick around
bring
and do the
back
whole thing,
the
and that'll
bed.
cost
Do
you
an
the race.
entire video
Not to mention,
from your
falling off
bed.
the track will instantly kill you. So be sure no one's around to bump you
say
off
that
if
now.
you're going on a ramp or something. You die in F-Zero, and you have to do the track all over again.
Alright.
And I know no one wants to do that just because they're trying to shave half a second off their time. And that's not the only way you can lose either, which leads me to our last slice.
Old video
Scores and
notes.
ranks. As I said before, it's essential you don't fall behind in these races. Every time you finish a lap, the rank continues to go higher and higher and higher until you can't make it to the next lap if you're not in 3rd place or better. However, the game throws another curveball at you. Other players can still race, keeping your heart racing if you make one single mistake. The game starts blaring alarms at you if you're behind, and I don't know, it always gave me this rush of adrenaline just to survive the next lap. It really made the tedium of doing 5 laps go away somehow. Something that other racing games really have trouble doing for me. But if you mess up, don't worry about it. You have 2 extra ships to keep you going in each cup's 5 tracks.
Yeah, I go through those pretty fast.
The better you do in each race. And if you get 10,000 points, an extra life comes up. So let's piece all this together.
Let's piece all this together.
3D visuals,
Thank you for following.
The sheer amount of speed, the ranks, the obstacles, the controls. It was just a feast for the senses. The game may seem simple at first.
Why did I always do that in my old videos? I'm always like,
always kept me at the edge of my seat. Added a classic soundtrack, 4 difficulty levels, and different pathways for said difficulties.
Man.
And you got an experience you won't soon forget.
Let's piece all this together.
And if you're angry at
wow, I cropped that one right.
Broken controllers. But unfortunately, the game had 2 problems that really held it back.
What
the lack
is that?
of multiplayer and in-game saves. The multiplayer was understandable since the game was showing off the SNES's hardware, but there's no excuse for this frustrating save problem. Now before you think, oh well, Mario Kart didn't have saves either, F-Zero was just a way harder game, which usually meant you'd be replaying tracks a lot more. I'm sure I'm not the only one who had to go do their homework or go to bed or something.
I'm in 2 separate beds in the shot after each other.
Good thing Virtual Console versions save your progress, huh? So as you could imagine,
you talk about Virtual Console, and you hold a Game Boy, and you go under your sheets.
It even got him the Nintendo Player's Choice in 1996. So, what's the best thing to do with the rapidly growing franchise?
What is happening?
Lots and lots of sequels.
Thank you for following.
The first planned sequel wasn't anything special. It was a Virtual Boy version
that
called
was a lot, man.
Which
that was a lot.
Because Virtual Boy was a piece of garbage that got the father
I didn't even realize that. Fired. Like, I go from one bed to another.
It really breaks my heart. However, the second sequel to F-Zero was planned on the SNES.
Yeah, it was very consistent back in the old day.
New tracks. But Nintendo had another idea.
Bed emote when?
They decided to release it on something called the Satellaview, or the BSX, which was an
add-on
to the Super Nintendo.
That was the best quality you found.
Just on the Satellaview, but I'll give you the simplified version. It was a video game broadcasting service that would only be on at certain times during the day.
I forgot I talked about the BSX.
Radio. Despite costing 33,000 yen just to buy a tuner if you didn't have one, another 15,000 yen to buy the Satellaview, and even more monthly fees.
Wow.
The thing did pretty darn well in Japan.
Is that... I didn't even do inflation.
Games every
you
week,
dummy.
A lot being remakes of NES games like Legend of Zelda and Wario's Woods.
I just directly put that currency exchange in with today's currency exchange.
During those 2 to 3 specific hours.
I'm an idiot.
Now to this day, I still find that awesome. Hence why I'm a huge Bastion fan. Anyway, back
I do
on
like
track.
Bastion.
There were 2
That is a
F-Zero
good
games
ass
released
video
on this
game,
service,
which is on the Nintendo
F-Zero
Switch,
Grand Prix
which you
1
should
and 2.
play.
Before you start laughing at the title, BS stands for Broadcast Satellite. It was pretty much smacked on every title on the service. The first BS F-Zero was pretty much an improved version of the original, with new vehicles and an extra track added in. And unfortunately, the other one was the canceled remains of the Super Nintendo sequel, with only 1 cup in it. Kinda disappointing for anyone who wants to play it, since the Satellaview was long gone, but it looked pretty darn fun back then. But who cares if it was canceled? By this time, the
Is it just me or did I sound really nasally right there?
That's right, F-Zero was about
to
enter the 3rd dimension, made by the geniuses who made Wave Race 64. This game would be called F-Zero X, the first racer ever to have 30 players on screen at a blistering 60
that's
frames
not
per
even second.
a
good crop! Wait, a freaking second! What kind of crop is that? You cropped it like way more on the right than the left, and you kept everything else the same.
Frames per second. Now that's just rad. So the story here
I'm
makes
upset.
even less sense than the first game.
Balrog's upset.
After the original sport was canned for being too deadly and dangerous, it was revised in F-Zero X by being even more deadly and dangerous.
Oh my god.
You can attack other ships.
It's such a little thing, but it really bothers me.
There's even a mode where all you do is kill the other players. I don't even.
This game is so much
fun. It sure works in favor of the new content. I
have it on N64, but I suck at it now.
What exactly has improved from the original? Well, pretty much everything. This is one of those
I thought he was going to go into like a review or something.
And improves on it. but now I'm conflicted about how to talk about F-Zero X. I mean, this was my first game in the series,
I ate,
so
like,
obviously my
enchiladas before
personal
I
experiences
filmed
are
this.
different than people who played the original. But at the same time, I went back and played the original, so I obviously do know these differences. You know what? I'm just going to give you both.
All right.
So here's F-Zero X, from the perspective of a 6-year-old and from an F-Zero veteran.
There you go.
Where to begin? So after picking my cup and character, the first thing I thought when I played this was, oh my god, look how many racers there are!
Yeah,
I mean, I was a
pretty
big Mario Kart
intense
player, so going from 8 racers on screen to 30 was a really big jump.
Yo, this was
Also,
such a
after playing
cool
the original,
Mario
I
Kart
noticed that the
commercial.
tracks were
I don't know if
wider
you
to
guys have
accommodate
seen
this
that,
change,
but it's
which is
it's
nice
really
since I
nice.
always used to
You should
bounce
watch
all
it
over
sometime.
walls like it was going out of style or something. Now you would think that because of this, you wouldn't run into other players as much, but
yeah,
no.
I just realized the
It's even more
overlay is
common now,
inconsistent.
especially
That's very
since you're given
strange.
side and spin attacks that knock your enemies out of submission. Not to mention, enemy racers can also be destroyed by other players. So
I didn't know how to edit correctly.
Slowly go down. It's pretty intense. The second thing that caught my eye as a kid was
why is it not cropped here?
Just when you start focusing,
why is it cropped here?
The track chucks something crazy at you.
What?
By the time you realize what's happening, you're already in 20-somethingth place.
Good
it was
job,
also
me.
around this time that I started realizing these tracks can't be beaten the first time. I wasn't in Mario Kart anymore. I can't just breeze through levels. I have to play them again
Yeah,
and
dude,
again
I was so
and again.
bad
I
at this.
every nook and cranny
I
that
just
comes
played
at
the
me.
same.
And hey, the game was fun
I
enough
played
that it
the
didn't really
same
bother me
death
that much.
animation 3
But for F-Zero
times.
fans, this would be the way that the series evolved in the 3D.
I'm so upset.
These kinds of obstacles were definitely
This is
more
pain.
treacherous, changing the danger of the tracks from just sharp turns and jumps.
Ugh.
Oh, and Rainbow Road was also one of the tracks, called Psychedelic Experience. I have to say, that's one of the biggest heart attacks
This
the game
is
has ever
hell.
given. Especially since it took out the guardrails. It's a hard one.
Don't ever
But the
say
third
that
difference
ever
was something
again.
I could have noticed till I played the original.
It's
The
a
rules.
hard
Instead
one.
of 5 laps with ranks slowly going
Duh!
up, there's 3 laps with no disqualifications. Instead of getting a single-use boost every lap, boost now takes full, so it becomes risk-reward for the player. But to me, the
This
most
is
helpful
cringe.
addition was the amount of extra lives depending on the
This
play's
is
difficulty
cringe.
level.
Look at that,
These may not sound like much at
140p.
first, but like the original, each slice of the pizza counts. Less laps meant more retries on courses. Using those
I'm
health-draining
upset.
boosts increased the game's tension.
This
and
is a
more
bad
lives meant
video.
less controller chucking. The game certainly didn't get any easier, but these features definitely make the game more forgiving and accessible. Alright, so
Yeah,
the
you-
last
you
thing
go,
that caught
man.
my eye as a kid were the variety in modes. Not only was
This
there a
was pretty
Grand Prix,
cool.
but there was also the practice mode, where you
Yes.
could practice on any track in the game, Time Attack, where you could face against your own ghost for the
Endless,
best
though.
possible time,
Do I talk about
the Death
endless?
Race, where you literally try to kill all other competitors as fast as you can, and Versus
Ooh.
Battle, where you could play with up to 3 other friends split screen, all still at a buttery smooth 60 frames per
Buttery
second. Every
smooth,
mode just had its
baby.
own distinct charm, despite most of them being a standard for a game of that
We're
genre.
only one
But my
video in
favorite
and
mode
you're
by
already
far was the
upset.
Unlockable X Cup,
Yup.
a random track generator that can pretty much throw any curveball at you.
Oh
Some
my
can be
God.
cakewalks, some can be ridiculously hard, and some could have hilarious curves that chuck 20 players off the map.
Yo,
This
that-
game gave an unlimited
Wow,
amount of
good.
replayability, And for years, I ran from the bus to go home and play it. As you can tell, I wasn't really the social type in my class.
Yeah,
What was
just
awesome is
yo,
this game
just cement
sounds.
the
There
soy
were 2
boy.
glaring faults in the game: the graphics
Go
and the music
me.
compression. You see, Nintendo wanted to set the bar for racing games in terms of speed and overall smoothness. But by doing that, they pretty
Yeah, I
much
was really
sacrificed
obsessed with
everything else
F-Zero.
on screen.
It's such a good game.
Everything in this game is just very low poly. The hovercrafts look very simple, there's almost no backgrounds to speak of
Yeah.
besides a building or two, and
Well, I
even
mean,
the
it's the
textures of said
N64,
buildings
man.
look terrible.
I can't believe we got
Luckily,
a
you're
60
going so
FPS
fast that
3D
you
game.
only see
Are
these
there
for a
any other
split
60
second,
FPS
but
3D
looking
games
back,
on
they've aged
N64?
really, really badly.
I can't think of any.
As for the music, don't get me wrong, this is one of the best tracks on the N64.
Yeah,
it's
it
just
is.
that the quality
Hell
isn't
yeah,
so
it is.
high.
I listen to it in my
Luckily,
car
even though these
sometimes.
tracks were basically turned mono, they added these awesome stereo sound effects that really immerse you even more, so it doesn't really sound all that bad. But the announcer.
It's very immersive. It makes you feel like you're in F-Zero.
God, could they have compressed that any more?
Oh,
Come
no.
on, Nintendo. He sounds like he's underwater with
Oh,
his
no.
tongue sticking out. I stand by that. Here, let me try that really fast.
Don't. Please don't.
See? What did I tell you?
I want to die.
Luckily, neither of these hurt the experience
No.
too much, especially since
Oh,
the game's
God.
not focused on these things. This is what leads me to one of my main thoughts about F-Zero X, its charm. What I find really intriguing about this game is how it's great without parts that usually make a game great. If Mario 64 or Ocarina of Time had low-poly generic graphics,
that was so bad,
would go down significantly. I mean, who'd want to play the world if it looked like complete garbage? But in F-Zero X, none of that really seemed to matter.
Can you bring back talking underwater with your tongue sticking out?
Which is why, instead of making a sequel, Nintendo made a kick-ass expansion pack. So before I tell you about this awesome pack, I have to tell you about a little something called the N64 disk drive. You see,
we're talking about the DD.
Released, Nintendo had plans to make a disc-based peripheral for their system, mostly to increase its data storage.
Right.
In fact, a lot of games like Kirby 64 and Paper Mario were developed with the drive in mind. But there's a reason you've never heard about this system before. It sucked. Unfortunately, the N64 DD
I was not expecting that.
Delayed and delayed until 1999 when Nintendo was like, oh, screw this, we're just going to release it with no games on it. And it sold 15,000 units in Japan and failed hard. But
yeah,
hey,
I was
Nintendo
definitely sick when I recorded this. Do you hear that?
Mail-in order, so it wasn't a terrible loss
disk drive.
I mean, this all sounds like a huge gaming tragedy. What about those poor lost games with no system to lead their way?
Am I really playing black and white
most of them got ported to the N64 after the 50,000th delay, but other games weren't so lucky. Like Fire Emblem 64, Super Mario 64 2, and Final Fantasy.
Was that Fraps in the corner?
Oh god, it even kills me to mention it. But the F-Zero expansion kit was one of the 9 games to see the light of day. So what did this thing have exactly?
I hate this.
Well, I'll tell you plain and simple. 12 tracks, a car editor, and a level editor. Sounds like a perfectly decent pack if you ask me.
Yo, Alexa, play
Some of these new tracks were
Despacito.
also really hard.
This is so sad.
Tracks with no boundaries hard. So hardcore fans were kept busy once again. The car editor was also really cool.
I can't believe I
pre-made parts,
had
it's not
Fraps
really anything
in a
that
video.
special. But the track
that
editor,
is one step above
what
unregistered Hypercam 2.
Used to make the original game. It had pretty much every set piece found in the entire game's code. Not to mention you could put these tracks together and make your own cup. Something not used again until the Japan-only F-Zero Climax on the Game Boy Advance. This expansion kit was pretty much any fan's dream.
I wanted this so bad. I wanted the level editor.
Made it to the US.
That's true. It could have been Bandcamp. That's fair.
Years later, 3 Game Boy Advance games, a GameCube game, an arcade machine, and even an anime would spawn from this series.
Make a wiener track and put it in Jack Cup.
Track down any
That's good.
Game and just lose yourself.
I know. I sound so bored.
Next beats and just embrace the feeling of escaping from the real world. And in the end, that's what gaming.
Wait, am I not reviewing this? I just walked past it.
So in the meantime, this is Balrog signing out.
I'm gonna go drive a car with Wario in it.
I was gonna say something cool, but I can't really think of anything at the moment.
I'm about to get in my dad's car with Wario.
Later, bros.
Later, bros! Later.
Hey. And until next time.
Hang on.
I was gonna say something cool, but I can't really think of anything at the moment, so I'll get back to you on that one. Later, bros.
Oh my god.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. For more videos,
hey
be sure to click
gamers!
that like button and
thank you for watching. Later, bros. I'm bringing that back one day. Later, bros. That is so out of character. Y'all are my bros. Alright. Let's do this. Apparently this is my prime. That's why everyone tells me.
Come on. I got this. I got this. Jump. Jump.
I'm in my bed!
Hey there.
There's no TV there!
Well, I'm a game reviewer, and as the title states, I'm here to let you know if a game
my
is good
script
or not. Video games have always been a huge part of my life. Not just because they're a fun hobby, but because they take me on adventures I sure as hell couldn't do in the real world. Well, most of them. So I decided to make my job to tell people about the good, bad, and really bad games in the world, and get gamers more educated about video games as a whole. And it was from that day forth that I knew. It was no longer just about playing games, but rather the adventure of my wildest dreams.
Why was that shot necessary?
I'm gonna go now.
Why did you need to see me pull my pants up? Turtleneck is here though, baby! Wow, cringe. Cringe. It's a little less cringe, but still cringe.
So when a game's being made, no matter what,
Why are you telling me you guys don't like the turtleneck?
Fighting games are supposed to have movesets and glorious combos are supposed to pull off. RPGs usually
I just see someone right. That's a yikes from me.
And of course, level grinding. In puzzle games, well, it seems everyone likes playing Bejeweled clones these days that may or may not be infesting my Facebook. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that sometimes a game comes along and throws almost all of the conventions of that genre out the window. Sometimes
good old
they're
ActRaiser.
revolutionary. Sometimes they're good but have a lot of major flaws in them. But more often than not, the game sucks.
Oh, you remember that
Why
game?
these conventions are used
It was
in the
like,
first place.
what was it? Bad Bear or
They
something?
work.
Thank you.
And that's what brings us to today's game. A Boy and His Blob, Troubles and Blah Blah Blah.
Naughty Bear, that was it.
Blah,
I'm gonna
blah,
add
blah,
that to
blah,
my
Wikipedia.
list.
Blobalonia for the NES.
Naughty Bear. Everyone forgot about that game.
Now, despite the weird name, this game was actually considered revolutionary back in the 80s. And
Maybe
a lot of
maybe
conventions
Epic
came out of it
Mickey
that
would
are
be a
still
good one
used
too.
today. But over 20 years later, is it as good as everyone says it is?
If you see
Well,
a game you'd
I'll
like
just
me
tell
to
you
cover
right now.
as we go through, let me know.
No. So this game was made by a man named David Crane, famous for games such as Pitfall, Night Trap, and Home Improvement. A
Yeah.
true pioneer.
Ooh,
After
Home
co-founding
Improvement.
Activision Back in the early 80s, he decided to leave and open up Absolute
Oh my
Entertainment.
God.
Because apparently his company
Like,
decided
can
to
you
throw
cover
out
X and
creativity
Y?
for making tons of
Anything
money.
else,
By the looks of
I'll
it,
cover.
seems they haven't changed
Anything
all that
else.
much. And Absolute's first game, as well as Crane's first
Night
NES
Trap,
developed game, was none
Home
other than A
Improvement.
Boy and His Blob.
I
Now,
suck at
before I
Night
even
Trap,
talk about
man.
the game, the problems have already started. Believe it or not, the development for Atari games was a lot different than NES.
Do you
games.
actually
Atari
want a
games were
Home
usually
Improvement
fast to
video?
make, easy to execute, and didn't require a huge staff to make. But NES games required dedicated teams and high levels of polish. I mean,
Alright.
developers could only do so much
Alright.
with this rather than this. Well, unfortunately, Crane took the same approach as he did with the
Didn't
Atari
Irate
games, and
Gamer
wow,
make a
does it
Home
show.
Improvement video?
Unlike
Alright,
most
I can't
NES
do it
games with
anymore.
6 to 8 month development
I can't do
cycles,
it.
A Boy and His Blob was slapped together in 6 weeks and rushed off the trade shows where Crane debugged it at nights in his hotel.
I
So
bought-
as you could guess, the result
Someone
was a
said
very
to review
rough
Mario and
product.
Sonic 2016.
But hey,
I
who
bought
knows? This
that
is the
when
guy
I
who made
was
freaking
drunk.
Pitfall. I love that game. I have it on
For
my
$60
iPod. So if this guy can
digitally.
make genre-defining games on the Atari,
I
the
should probably
gameplay's
do
gotta
that.
be good then at least, right? Well, I'll start from the beginning. So the game's premise is simple. The planet of Blobalonia has been overtaken by an evil emperor. That makes everyone eat tons of candy. What a horrible vampire. So it's up to a random boy on Earth and his
Oh.
globular companion to find
That
buried
was a
treasure in
yikes for
caverns
me.
to
That
pay
was
for some
not
vitamins
even
at
a yikes. That was a
drugstore,
single
and then kill the
yike.
emperor with said
That was a
vitamins.
yike.
I don't know what's crazier, the fact he can't just use his allowance, or the fact he's gonna go buy vitamins at a CVS with buried treasure he found under a subway. I can't. Anyway, this is where the game gets
Okay,
really
that's a
interesting.
yikes.
In order to progress through the game, you have to feed this blob different jelly beans. That's right, jelly beans make the blob change form. They even gave each one a name to help you remember what they do.
Okay.
Punch jelly beans make a hole in the ground, licorice jelly beans help make ladders,
Right.
ketchup jelly beans respond to the blob. Okay, that one makes no sense. And it's really fun to
Game
experiment with
time
different flavors.
coverage?
Be sure to write down what each one does.
Wait.
Write down what each one does, and you'll be blob.
Wait.
Okay.
Game time coverage, tomato ketchup. I didn't even realize that before. That's genius. Gamers, rise up.
Okay, that one makes no sense. And it's really fun to experiment with the different flavors.
Game
Just be sure to
time
write down what
coverage.
each one does, and you'll be fine. But after having my enjoyment with the blob, I got stuck in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
gonna
a
lie,
hard
when I
game.
first started playing this game, I thought my copy was broken, which is saying a lot because it was the virtual console one.
Yeah.
There were no enemies, no objects, just a straight line in the middle of a city. But little did I know, and after checking on GameFAQs, the answer was underground.
Don't ever point toward your dick ever again.
You see, all the progression you make
Stop
in this game
that.
is through experimenting. In this first puzzle, you go to the subway, use the punch bean to make a hole, and then a licorice bean to get to
I
the
hate
treasure.
this.
Now you gotta admit, this is a pretty novel idea for a puzzle game, but can I just say...
Did I play
how was
the
anyone
remake?
supposed
I
to
played
figure
some
this
of
out?
it. I
It
need
took
to
me over
play it
half hour
again.
just to figure
But
out I
I remember
holes
it
in the
being
subway.
fun.
Imagine how long
I
it took
should-
a kid
I should
or
do
an
the remake
inexperienced
sometime.
gamer, if they'd ever even find it. This game gives you zero hints on what you're supposed to do.
Everyone
and that's
always tells me to
infuriating.
play the
And
remake.
this lack of direction is
And
what
I
completely
played. Actually,
destroys
no.
a
I
Boy and
think I
His
played
Blob.
most
People
of it.
can argue
if
that,
not all
oh,
of
it was
it.
part of the game's charm. You gotta use your imagination. But come on, this results in a game that is the very definition of trial and error. Imagine you're playing
It's like
Legend
on
of
every
Zelda, and the old dude
console.
that
I
helps
think
you
I
out
have
just
it on
doesn't exist.
Steam
You get
already.
no help and you just gotta figure out things on your own. It's not gonna feel redeeming when you actually beat something.
Is it
it's
on
gonna make the
Switch?
whole game feel like a stupid guessing game. Oh, you really know you're having a good time when the game forces you to put random holes in the ground to find out where to go next.
Why? It's on phones. How is it on
Switch? How could I forget about the falling damage? Now, usually in puzzle games, I have no problems with falling damage. I mean, it gives some realism to the character and, you know, keeps you in line with the loss of gravity.
Ooh.
But I have problems when I have to toss a
Good
kid
old
off a
mirror
cliff
edge.
all over a map just to find a landing spot. Throw in the fact you only have 5 lives as well as a limited supply of jelly beans, and you got yourself a disaster of a puzzle.
Majesco owns
So
the
at this
game.
point I was thinking,
well, get
how could this game
Majesco
get
to
any
do
worse?
it.
Well, what topped that off for me was the
Free
controls.
money.
You see, when you move your character
Or
and
cheap
let go of
money.
the D-pad, he likes to jump and move forward for a second. Because
Don't
of
you
this,
know there
I
is
died
a
lot going over ledges
export
because the
to
dude just
Switch
didn't want to
button
stop.
on
And half the
every
time I can't
video
see
game
ledges
ever?
coming anyway because the screen doesn't scroll. It's screen by screen. Another extremely lazy design choice taken right out of Atari game design. But it's okay. Sometimes you'll live. Because of this.
What is that face?
No. But the funny thing is that the kid isn't the worst thing to control. The blob is. You see,
Yeah, remember when I had
one
hair?
Of the first games to have a
That was a
partner
good
AI.
time.
If you throw a jelly bean, he smiles and eats it. If you miss his mouth, he gets all sad. Yeah, I
A
know,
boy
man,
and
I'm
his
having a good time
Switch.
either.
That's
And when
me.
you move around the map, the blob will do his best to follow you. Emphasis on does his best. But as cool as this mechanic sounds, you'll lose track of the blob very easily. And it takes a while for him to come
There
back.
he
And
is.
sometimes he just won't come back at all. And then you gotta use one of your very limited uses of the ketchup jelly bean, which respawns him when you throw it. Fun fact, David Crane was actually forced by Nintendo to put this jelly bean in.
Oh,
since they saw
really?
the blob getting stuck as a bug. And I'm glad they did. I'll be honest, as cute as he is,
Good
this
old
blob is
David
downright
Crane!
stupid and likes to take a few seconds to ponder about following you. Seriously, what is it with games these days and poor partner AI?
I love how I freaking. Oh my
The interesting
god.
thing is, once you get through all the nonsense and get used to
I
the
love
game,
putting
your opinion
half-second
of it does a
things
complete
on
180
screen
on
that no
you.
one can
All
ever
that
catch
hatred that
unless they
builds
pause the
inside you
video.
playing it turns into
That's
motivation
my
to try to
favorite.
figure it out. And I'll admit, this is something that's never happened to me in a game before. So, without further ado, let me find the marker.
Oh, here we go,
get to the review,
baby!
and I'll show you what I mean.
Silver Surfer is good.
Now first up is fun. At the beginning of A Boy and His Blob, you will have absolutely no fun with this game. There's ridiculous
Damn.
trial and error,
Absolutely
bad blob
no
AI,
fun.
laughable controls for the kid, and not a single freaking hint. But once you get past all that, you'll understand why this game was so well received.
Now,
The secret
first
of the
up is
game
fun.
to take different
This game
paths
is a
every
lot of
time you
fun.
start. In each screen, you're supposed to map out where everything is, and once you have a good majority of the map completed,
Does
you'll
anyone
get very
actually
close
miss
to
the
beating
review
game.
format?
Each game over is supposed to reinforce the puzzles.
Can
and
I
immerse
just
you in
not
the
bring it
game's
back
open world.
again?
And once you know what you're doing, you can beat the game in under 20 minutes. Can't believe I'm saying this, but it's one of gaming's most rewarding experiences. The end game is something that shocked me too. It's actually
You
kind of
only
cool.
missed the
Once you buy
checks.
enough vitamins for your
That's
Vita
fair.
Blaster,
You kind
yeah,
of
nice
miss
use of
it.
vitamins, by the way. You can plow down enemies with your daily supplements, Contra style.
It was
Not to
cute
mention
at the
you're not
time,
just
yeah.
underground anymore.
Yeah.
You're on planet Blablona, blah 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 blah. Oh, forget it. And there's an actual
Bring it
overworld level to explore. But can I just say, why
Hey,
couldn't
you guys
the
are all
game be
over the
like
place with this.
I would've
Do you
been
want it or
perfectly content
not?
if The game was split into, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 stages, with half of them being exploration and the other half with the Vita Blaster. Making the game more streamlined would have relieved a lot of the frustration and trial and error. Or maybe,
Man,
you know. if
I
you
have
kids.
so.
To summarize, A
I've
Boy and His
searched
Blob is
for
only
years
rewarding
for
once you
good
know what you're doing.
intros.
But even then, using the word fun is really pushing it. Check
And
minus.
like I have
Second
like
up is looks and,
basically a
I don't know
repertoire
about
of
this
songs
one.
I found as I
understand
was
it's
trying to
Crane's
find a
first
good
NES game,
intro.
Dude, do you know you can take
I have
advantage of the
tons.
system, right? This looks almost as bad as an Atari 5200 game. Bland backgrounds, bland enemies, and that evil emperor, seriously.
Oh, you just want
Look at
videos,
that evil
period.
emperor.
That's fair.
No! This isn't 1982 anymore, man. The only thing saving this game
No, I'm
from an
probably gonna
X
bring
is
back
that
the
Blob
review
and Boy are
format, but
well
it'll be like
animated.
the beginning of
That's it.
BGRA.
Check
like,
minus. Third up
I
is
don't have a
sound, and I
whiteboard.
actually had mixed feelings about this one. The bad thing
So
is
that's
there's
a
only
problem.
4 songs. Actually, not even. 2 songs with 2 remixes in the entire game. They also sound really sucky on the NES hardware. But the good
Use
thing is
MS
they're kind of
Paint.
catchy. I just wish they didn't loop to the very beginning half the time.
I just like put my overlay and I just like take a mouse
So
and I
just get
just
to
draw
check
it
minus
on
as well.
top of the overlay.
Fourth up is length. As I
Like,
said before, this
with
game
my
can be played
mouse.
under 20 minutes once you figure it out, but there was so much trial and error that artificially lengthened the game. It was very satisfying once I figured it out, but over 20 years later, there is absolutely no reason to put up with this frustration. X.
Oh,
So my
wow,
final thoughts
angry
on the
boy.
game, well, it sucks. I can totally understand why this game was so popular back in the 80s. It tried to innovate in the puzzle genre and show new
Fair,
ways to
fair.
explore a world map. But these days, this game is literally a chore to play. Now that I think about it, this game actually reminds me of doing laundry. You're gonna hate doing it at first, but once you come across spots in the clothes, it's going to bother you, and you're gonna keep trying to do different things to get that stupid grease stain off your shirt. So to me, A Boy and His Blob can be very rewarding.
Oh, I felt that one.
So with that, A Boy and His Blob
I felt that too.
For me. Don't play this game. And definitely don't buy it. I don't know. I just can't recommend the game to anyone. Unless you're some sort of NES treasure hunter who needs to find a lost hidden artifact.
This game really makes you feel like laundry.
$5. But either way, I don't really regret playing this game. Because we all learned something from it. Each game has a story
trying to be sentimental now.
Development, their design, the impact it made on the gaming industry. And if you start to piece these games together, you start to realize that they're all connected in some way. Like a huge puzzle. And that's really my goal. I want to open the eyes of gamers all over
that makes logical sense.
I don't just want my review to focus on a single game. I want us to learn everything.
Let me play a video game mid-erasing my whiteboard.
Quest to understanding video games as a whole. And what better way to do that than using the tools I know best? Nintendo consoles. So welcome to a place where anything is possible within the boundaries of a blue lunchbox, upper arm strength, or even a controller built for someone with 3 hands.
Is this supposed to be epic?
Welcome to a place where we go into the depths of gaming to uncover the truth. Welcome, my friends, to my Nintendo game room. See you next time.
I wasn't even wearing the turtleneck in that shot. Alright, next episode. Scribblenauts. This one I got a review copy of, I'm pretty sure.
Another typical morning passes by. I got my coffee.
Dude, check the description. What's the song? Go to the video! It's called Final Blast.
Day in and day out, I protect the streets of YouTube from the evils of video games. And though it seems like a rough task, sometimes I just get really lazy and watch cat videos all day. But come on,
that still happens.
Do that? Anyway, I sure wish something interesting would happen around here.
Really?
The new game has arrived. I can't say I'm not excited. It's time for me to wear my costume, be a hero, and have my moment to shut. Oh, wait. Scribblenauts Unmasked? Hero Creator Mode. My life is meaningless.
Okay, that was funny. You miss Wario? Do you want me to bring him here? I'll bring him here.
I'll get him for you. BNGR.
There he
Achieving
is.
the impossible. This was the goal
Say
of
hi.
Jeremiah Slaska, founder of the video game developer FitCell.
Is FitCell even in business anymore?
He was trapped inside
I know
there's
still Scribblenaut games, but are they in business?
When he woke up, he decided to not only make a game out of that concept, but in order to switch things up, he wanted people to use anything in their imagination to be able to solve them. And with that, Scribblenauts was born, selling over 1 million units with just its first installment.
My boy, he's here.
Now, I'm sure over the years you've heard about Scribblenauts.
They cut staff, but they still
there was Super
do it.
Scribblenauts, which added adjectives. Scribblenauts
Some
Remix,
mobile
which is an
game
iOS
developer
game that
took
sold
over.
a
Oh, so
bajillion
it's not
copies 'cause it was
FitCell anymore.
$1. And Scribblenauts Unlimited, which allow players to make their own objects. Now, I haven't played Unlimited, but I can only imagine the horror. Millions of objects that look like an 8-year-old's science project.
Hey, it's Tails.
But this time, FitCell decided to take a very
it's
different
miles
approach to
per
their
hour.
games, and one that allows the series to go in
the greatest pun ever made. You want to see something cursed? Thank you for following.
So the game starts off with our hero Maxwell, fighting with his sister over which superheroes they like the most. But unlike other kids who solve the problems with, I don't know, words or slap fights, Maxwell writes in a magical book that he wants to go to Gotham City. And guess what? They end up in Gotham City with Batman. Okay, so Maxwell and his sister have to find the magical star rights to save the world. However, over time, we start to realize that Gotham isn't the only place in trouble.
Do you want me to stream the PlayStation Classic?
Need help. So once you unlock them, you can transport to them at any time and be a hero.
Real question.
But remember, it's DC Comics only. So you can write Spider-Man all you want, but he's not going to be there. If you want a good Spider-Man game, you know. You just know where you need to suffer. It's called Spider-Man 2 in the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox. But before we go on,
now we're talking
pizza time. Really puzzled me. You see, when they realized they were stuck in a comic book, Maxwell's sister said, "Dad's totally going to turn me into stone again." What? Alright, we're gonna figure out what that means, okay? Okay, so apparently the plot for Scribblenauts Unlimited was this. Maxwell and his twin sister are the kids of 2 retired adventurers.
When did I get funny? Holy hell.
Kids. Ouch. The parents also gave each kid a magical item, in which Maxwell's was the notebook, and his sister has a globe that can travel anywhere in the world. Only thing is, you guessed it, all the kids turned into brats and started playing pranks on people, and Maxwell even gave a homeless man a rotten apple. I don't know about you, but I'd totally watch this if it was a reality show on MTV. I got cribs on the line right now. Oh, but it gets better.
Okay, I take it back.
Maxwell's
I'm not funny
father
anymore.
turns his daughter into stone so Maxwell can save her and teach both of them a lesson.
I draw the line there.
I need a moment. You know, I expect nothing less from Fifth Cell after the ending of Drawn to Life the next chapter. I'll go over that.
Oh, that's something I gotta do again.
Crazy stuff. Alright, so let's talk about the gameplay, which I gotta admit is a lot different than previous installments.
I want to talk about that game
eventually. Prior to getting a handful of
eventually.
missions with singular tasks, each city is fully explorable. What this means is that people all over the town are having some sort of problem, so the game encourages you to be a good Samaritan and help them out. What's even better is that the more people you help, the more points added to your reputation, which can be used to unlock new areas and extra costumes for Maxwell. However, don't just think you can cheat the system
remember
in
when
missions.
Scribblenauts
If you try to use the
was
same
the shit.
adjective or object
You remember
twice,
that?
you'll only get half of the usual reputation.
I like nutted
If you
over
try
the
to cheat with
first game when it
instant
came
win words,
out
you get none.
on DS.
So I'm sorry, you can't put
It was
dead
awesome.
on everything. I tried. But the best
I
part
love
about
Super
the area is that
Scribblenauts
these missions
also,
are randomized,
but then everything
so it never
after
feels
that was
open to go
kinda-
back to these
it was
places.
okay.
Trust me, this
It was
game's premise
alright.
is any kid's dream. But don't worry, you don't
And then
just spend
everything
the whole
after
game
Unmasked
dilly-dallying,
Blue,
flippy-flopping around.
it was bad.
There's different story missions throughout the game, where you interact with that area as heroes and villains, as well as progress towards getting home.
Unlimited
and
is
defeating your
alright.
superpowered, greatly designed,
I'm not a
magically
big
handsome
fan
arch
of the
nemesis,
missions, the
doppelganger.
single player.
I personally love
But
these
it's
because it
alright.
actually feels like you're a superhero, using your own wit to take down villains the way you would do it
It's
in a
on
comic
Switch if you
book.
want to play that, actually. I think it's 20
Let's
bucks.
get real. Is this really enough to recommend Scribblenauts Unmasked? Well, let's get
Unmasked
straight
is
to the
also
review
20
and
bucks on
find
there.
out.
Bop, 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 bop. Such a good...
First
wow,
off,
did
it's
I
fun.
just fall?
No matter how you look at it, Scribblenauts Unmasked is loads of fun to play. The games have always been love or hate from critics, but personally, I can look over its flaws for the revolutionary gameplay it gives us.
Revolutionary
On one hand, the gaming purists
gameplay.
might get annoyed by the sloppy fighting mechanics, flaws in logical answers, or occasional glitches. But on the other hand, a person with an imaginative
That
mind
man
will
is-
love using
he is
everything they can
roping
think of
that
to solve a
man with
puzzle.
his mouth.
And that's another huge strength of the game. It also caters to superhero fans in this regard. You can summon anything you can imagine in the DC universe, which got all my
It's actually
comic
on
book
sale,
friends really
apparently.
excited.
Okay.
I say my friends because I'll
If you wanna buy this game, you can buy
If
it
you ask
on
me
Switch.
what DC is before this game, I'd tell you it's a state between Idaho and Wyoming. But that's okay.
What?
Batman gives
What
you
was
a
that
device
joke?
With an encyclopedia. But that's okay. Batman
Hang
gives
on.
you before my friends because I'll admit I don't know comics that well. If you ask me what DC is before this game, I'd tell you it's a state between Idaho and Wyoming. But that's okay. Batman gives you a device with an encyclopedia.
Okay,
has
that was a
every
little
DC
clever.
object in the game. So if you want to learn, you have the opportunity.
That was
to
a
do
lame
so.
dad
I mean, for
joke.
crying out loud, they put over 50 versions of Batman in the game. That's freaking awesome. Throw in a utility belt where you can use all your favorite objects on the fly, getting new costumes.
This is the
and
first
heroes,
time
and
I'm
heck,
laughing
being
at
able to make
myself.
your own hero and send
Like,
it to other people
legitimately.
online, and you got a game that's
This is
a blast
good.
to play. Check. Second up is looks, and there's some ups and downs here. On the downside, the game's visuals are very simplistic, and despite the cool comic book cutscenes, can get a little boring due to the presentation.
Yeah.
On the bright
Yeah,
side,
I
though, the
agree.
graphics
It
are very
did get
clean and
boring
can handle
after a
insane
while.
amounts of objects with no slowdown. So overall, it's a very good art style. Check. Third
Okay.
up is sound, and this is also
Look
a
at those
missed
normal-looking
opportunity. Don't get me
checks.
wrong, the tracks are really good, as the usual for Scribblenauts, but don't really change depending on what you do. Yes, I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but you get the same music from when you're walking around as you do when you're fighting villains and
It's
your
true.
doppelganger.
It's
so there's
not.
a real lack of
Scribblenauts'
tension on what you're
perk
doing.
is
It makes
not
the game
a
lot less
soundtrack.
immersive than it could be.
The only song I
So,
remember from
check.
Scribblenauts is the main
Fourth up is
theme
length,
from the
and there's
original.
actually tons of content here.
Just 'cause
Since
I
it's a
heard it
sandbox
so
game and all,
much
you can really go at your own pace, but if you
in the
focus on the
sandbox
story
mode.
missions, the game's about 10 hours long. But for people who want to experiment, there's tons of unlockables and a challenge mode where Dr. Okay, I'm not pronouncing that. Will give you certain criteria that can net you double the reputation.
Why
And
is it
honestly,
always
this
the
can
third
be
check I mess
brain-bendingly
up?
difficult, so it's one of
That's
the
a good
reasons I'll be coming
question.
back for a long time. So all in all, length gets a check. In short, Scribblenauts
I
Unmasked
just
was a
spin
game
around
that really
and-
caught me off guard. Instead
That's
of building
funny.
on the already amazing foundation this series has, it took this game in a whole new direction, and it works really freaking well. The Scribblenauts series has always been about achieving the impossible, and every game adds a near infinite amount of possibilities to an already
Yeah,
expansive
I have
game.
to admit,
But the
I
great thing is that
improved.
with this game, they also changed the outlook that a player
did
has of these
improve.
mechanics. Not only with adding superheroes, but being immersed in the world these characters take place in.
Kryptonite butter
Though the
knife.
game's engine can lead to some unexpected results, Scribblenauts Unmasked is a game I never would have
That's
dreamed
actually
of having as a kid.
that's a lot to
Playing this game
take in.
now really shows how far gaming has advanced as a whole. So with that, Scribblenauts Unmasked gets a check from me.
Oh God,
what
you're
a
right.
wonderful game that was.
Next up is
now that
Lost
that's over
World.
with, it's time for me to throw in my towel. There's a new crime fighter on the street, one that I trained and mentored with my own 2 hands. One that may not be able to take a bite out of crime, but crime can take a bite out of him. His name is Ham Man. What am I doing?
Ham
Hey guys,
Man.
and thank you so much for
You
watching
bring
this
back
video. I
Ham
just want to give a
Man.
huge thanks to WB Interactive for sending me the review copies of the Wii U and 3DS version. And as a result,
Bring back Ham Man. Alright. Oh no. Oh no! Oh God, it begins! Why did I do that? Good old parkour! This is like when it all started.
BNGR. The review scale. Why is it so important, and what exactly determines a game's grade? Well, if you want to make a high-scoring game, you need to meet certain criteria. Your graphics gotta be nice. Your
Bring
music
back
has to be catchy, or
parkour.
at least memorable. You need
I
to
think
have
I'm a
enough
little
content
too
your
old
game
for
to
this
warrant
now.
the price. And most importantly, your game has to just be fun to play. The review system may vary for each person, sometimes a lot. But in the end, it's all the same purpose. To tell you, the consumer, if you want to spend your cash on
That's it. That would make a good GIF.
However, there is one crucial factor that games usually tend to forget. You see, the interesting thing about reviews is that looks, sound, and length can be overlooked without losing that many points. But the second you make your game unenjoyable to some people, scores will go all over the place.
It's true.
And when this happens, the game score is no longer about how well made it is,
AKA
or how
like
much
every
content's in it,
AAA
but if the
game
fits
ever.
the reviewer's preference. And out of all things that could go wrong with the game, this could turn into a game developer's worst nightmare. Isn't that right, Wario? I haven't forgot about Game & Wario. I'm watching. I'm watching. Okay, so if you haven't
Why is he
heard
wearing a
already, it's pretty
Microsoft
obvious
hat?
Sonic Lost World fell in this trap. The reviews from critics were borderline random. I saw some 8s and 9s, but I also saw some 1s and 2s. The reception from Sonic fans weren't even consistent, which is saying a lot since they defend even the weakest entries. And when I played the demo at PAX, I still thought it was pretty
Yeah,
fun.
oh, I remember doing that.
Yeah, it was an experience. So as a reviewer, this game was like freaking abstract.
Yeah, I was with
art to
Jimmy
me.
and everyone.
All
We
these
all
fans
played
and
Lost
reviewers were
World,
wrong, or was it
and we
really as bad as
couldn't
they say it is?
beat it
Well, after
very
playing the game
well.
for myself,
It was
I
very
came to a pretty
awkward.
weird conclusion. I agree with neither. You see, people went in this game expecting another fast-paced Sonic game like Generations or Colors.
Like,
And for
I
good
played the
reason.
level and
Sonic
I
had
was
gone
like,
through
I
an
don't know what I
identity
just
crisis
played.
for almost 10 years, having bad game after bad game after reboots that ended up being worse games, and finally, after having tons of duds, it seemed like Sonic was finally making a huge comeback. Honestly, all
If
Sega
the
had to
stream
do
is
was make
lagging,
another game
refresh your
similar to
page.
Generations. It not only sold like hotcakes, but it was well received by critics, and it defined what the future of Sonic could be. But it seemed
Damn.
like Sonic Team had something else in mind. Instead of making the obvious game people wanted, we got a really obscure platformer that on the surface looked like it ripped off 2D.
Should I go back and like play
so
Lost
because of that,
World?
I don't really think people gave the game a chance. And you know what? You
Oh,
can also count me in on that vote. I also hated
That
the game.
stock Vegas
At first, at
transition
least.
effect.
The first few hours of the game were so infuriating that it consisted of constant yelling, internally crying, and spewing a tidal wave of butthurt on Twitter. It was an interesting day. But you see,
Why was
after
my
playing
face
the game
on a
with clear
sandal?
mind, I started to see the game in a completely different track. And when I mean track, I literally mean it was a roller coaster of, it's good, it's bad, it's a game, I think. So without further ado, here is Sonic Lost World for the Wii U. And not the 3DS one, because guess
Oh,
what?
that game's awful.
I'm broke. It's the life of a college student.
I played the 3DS game later.
So Lost
It
World's
is a
plot feels
piece
more
of
like your normal Saturday
garbage.
morning
It is
cartoon. Eggman tries to
one
steal
of the
energy from a
worst in the
planet called
series.
Lost Hex, which reminds me of a certain board game where 6 Zeddy creatures called the Deadly Six live in. As usual, Sonic tries to stop Eggman's plans, but little does he know, Eggman's controlling these Zeddies with a conch thing, and Sonic unknowingly
Conch
destroys
thing.
it, like he does with,
Just
well,
solid
everything.
script
As a result,
writing
the
all
Deadly Six
around.
attack Sonic and Eggman, so they both have to team up in order to stop them from destroying Earth. It's certainly an interesting twist for Sonic fans, but honestly, the story is so shallow.
Oh yeah,
that
the
you'll just
snowball
end up
level
not
for the
caring about
3DS
it.
game.
Sonic's being a
Not
jerk
it,
to everyone, including Tails.
You could have gotten yourself killed.
I was just trying to help.
The Deadly Six are mostly annoying one-dimensional stereotypes.
The last time we met, you ruined my nail art.
Yo,
supporting characters
I remember when she got announced
the only
and
likable
everyone
character is
freaking made
ironically Eggman,
hentai
since
of
he has
her.
some good writing and his actions
It was
are kind of
everywhere.
unpredictable in this
I
game.
hated
In
it.
short, it's nothing to write home about.
It was
even
all
though the
over
cutscenes
Twitter.
are pretty well made.
As long as I can still strangle a Zeti, my hands are fine.
So with
Edgy-
story out of the
edgy
way,
out of
what's this
10.
game like exactly? Well, unlike most recent Sonic games, which have two main types of levels, Lost World has three. 3D gravity-defying stages, 2D classic-like stages,
Oh
and
man,
unique
yeah.
ones
Just
thrown
looking
in the
at this
middle.
game, I'm
But as
like,
many of you know, different gameplay
brings
modes
back
in a Sonic game is
mixed
like a kiss of
memories.
death. Literally. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, Sonic Unleashed, Shadow the Hedgehog. They all have some
What was
sort of
that?
mode that
You
ranges
taking a
between
dump?
mediocre and awful. So does Sonic Lost World finally break this chain of bad
I
quality?
definitely pooped a little there.
No, it doesn't. So I'll start off with the main attraction, the 3D levels. Now these stages are by far the most
I still have the
interesting ones.
Pikachu
You
clock.
control Sonic on tube-like planetoids, where you can twist around and take any of the several paths given to you. It's a pretty cool twist on the 3D Sonic formula. Pun
I
intended.
mean, like,
and it's such a cool
it
feeling
can't
to
be
flip
that
right onto a
bad.
level and see a completely
maybe I
different
should
setting
play it
than
on
Sonic and
PC.
Roman. Now I know people will be like,
Would that be
"Oh,
better?
it's just like Super Mario Galaxy. It's got the planets and yeah, it's got the planets." Well, guess what? Sonic actually did it first, since
Wow,
these levels seem to be
planets.
inspired by the cancelled Sega Saturn game Sonic Extreme. And besides, once you play it, Lost World doesn't really feel like Galaxy at all.
Do I
Anyway,
like
to
Sonic
add to the
Colors? Yeah, I like
craziness,
Sonic
Sonic's been given a
Colors.
parkour
I
system,
played it not
so
too
nothing
long
can
ago
really get
again.
in
It's
his way
pretty
as
good.
long as you're holding the run button. You can even use it to run on walls.
Some
which is
people don't
actually
like it as
way
much,
cooler
but
than
I
it
like
sounds.
it.
And yes, I know a lot of people have complained about this feature, but I think it actually adds a lot of skill to the gameplay. For instance, if you're doing speed runs, these trees will
Oh,
be
this the
obstacles.
watermelon!
In the main game, there'll be cool little stops to explore for items. In
Oh, the
short,
watermelon
these
was
were
so
definitely my
bad.
favorite levels in the game, and I had a blast with
Oh,
them,
that sucked.
despite the headache-inducing spinniness. Second up are the
Why
2D
you gotta go
stages,
do
which
that?
honestly do give off a
Why
2D
you gotta-
Mario vibe.
Why you
There
gotta
are
make a
passageways,
mess?
tricky platforming, and collectible renderings similar to Mario's Star Coins are some of the main features.
The
This
PC game
also
is
where the game will
worse?
start to slow
Why
its
is it
pace,
worse?
Since they're more platform heavy, but I really enjoyed the references to classics like Sonic on the Sega Master System. Am I the only one who played that system? But as a
Yeah.
whole, these levels are forgettable.
Yeah, one of,
There's
like,
not really
10
much to
people
say
who
about
played
it
it
besides
or
that, since
owned
Sonic
it.
controls very similar to the 3D stages, but there's a handful of them I still ended up enjoying. You know, besides the whole been there, done that as an Italian plumber feel. But unfortunately,
Honestly,
it all goes downhill from here. The worst stages of them all
it could
are
be
all the other
worse,
stages.
you know?
They can range from on-rails levels to running
Being a
around on
Mario
spherical
ripoff
planets,
ain't
to
a
putting
bad
superpowers
thing.
to take off in a giant tube of juice. Wait a second. Oh,
That's
so that's where this review's going.
that was
Can someone
That
explain to
was
me why these
juice.
levels exist? Because some of them not only feel like padding of the game, but they feel like they're in the wrong game altogether. I mean, it's obvious that devs have fun making
PC
these
doesn't
levels,
have the
but I wanna
Yoshi
try
and
out the
Zelda
new
DLC.
mechanics
Well, I
and
mean,
explore the
yeah,
open levels.
that's
Not
fair.
just a freaking pineapple all
But,
over
like,
the map. Now the beginning ones can still be very enjoyable.
It
but
doesn't
you'll
have the
want most of
gamepad
them to end
controls,
fast and
so
never
that's
have to
good,
revisit them
right?
again. Another design choice that baffles me is color
Is that-
powers
is that a
returning.
worthy
There's
offset?
literally no reason for them to be in this game. They're not in
See?
the story. They're not mentioned
Even
by any
old
of the
me is
characters,
talking
and they're
about
on
it.
a freaking unknown planet that is obviously not their home. If anything, the main reason they're here is to be gamepad gimmicks, and I can safely say I dread every time I have to use one.
Okay,
The
yeah,
drill
PC
power,
sounds
no skill
good.
involved. You just drag Sonic along the screen. The rhythm power, also
I
no
trust
skill needed.
old
You
me.
furiously tap your screen in one direction and hope Sonic follows you. Oh, and the Eagle Power is a blatant ripoff of the Wing Cap from Super Mario 64. Now I could complain about these powers all day, but you
Yeah.
get the idea. About half of them ruin the flow of the
They
game.
like
Though I'll
Sonic
admit,
Team
I still
likes
think the laser
Mario.
one's pretty helpful, and there's one place you can drill that's actually kind of cool. Speaking of flow, the way this game tries to teach you the ropes is just nonsensical. Unlike previous games where you got these question rings on screen, you have to tap them on your gamepad, which pauses the game when you do so.
How does that
This
work
means
in the
that several
PC
times in
version?
stages,
I'm
your gameplay
curious.
will come to a complete halt, rather than just showing it on screen. Can I just ask,
Like,
why? These pauses happen
since
for
you can't
color
tap
powers
the
as well,
gamepad,
so I
how
just
does
kinda
it
wish
work?
the game had some sort of tutorial stage.
It just
This
pauses?
game is suited for kids, and me and many other reviewers in their 20s
Oh,
and 30s
ew.
can't figure the
I
game
don't
out
like
without
that.
asking tons of questions. I'd say Sonic Team completely failed their demographic. And
Yeah, I
yes,
think
the
I'll try it
instruction
again
manual does give a
sometime
very
without
brief
the
description
on
of Sonic's
PC without
moves,
the
But
gimmicks.
it's just dumb that the game doesn't do a good job explaining it in itself. You shouldn't have to memorize it off of
Oh my
manual.
God, what is those-
Anyway, let's talk about the
what is
Deadly
with
Six's
those
boss fights,
wires?
since the characters seemed a little annoying in the cutscenes.
Don't talk with your mouth full.
Yeah, right. Hey, I forgot the mustard.
Yeah, no. No. The way they work is that
Fun
usually
fact,
one of them talks
I
as you get
actually
further in the
scratched
second
my
and voids state of
gamepad
the world. followed by a
screen
fight at
in
the
that
end of those
throw.
stages. Now these fights
It has a
are,
pretty
well,
big
way
scratch
too
from
easy.
that
Once you
throw.
figure out the weak spot of a boss, you can
I was
literally
really
beat
mad
them in
after
under
I
10
filmed
seconds.
it.
No skills required either. It almost always involves just spamming your homing attack or your kick attack, which just kills all the pre-battle tension that it tried to build up.
Yeah,
Now,
that
this
was
would be okay
weird.
if they
There's
were
like
memorable
3
battles,
circles
but
on the
fights
homing
themselves
attack.
are completely irrelevant to the character you're fighting. Zomom is the big eater of the bunch, and he just body slams the stage and flips it around.
Yeah, why do you think I
Master
stopped
Zeke is the
throwing
old
stuff
wise
as
one,
much?
and he
Because I
just
don't want to
throws
break my
balls at
stuff.
you. Xena, the beauty queen, just hides in snowmen. Okay. These boss battles were so forgettable that I actually had to look it up on Wikipedia just to remember their names. Well, there's lots of ways to
Okay, let me. What's their
names?
names?
Like an afterthought to a level.
There's Zavik. There's
I
Xena.
just really want to like this game. I'm a huge Sonic fan.
There's
and I
Big
even like a lot
Boy.
of the games in the series that have been critically panned.
There's
but there is
Pink
one
Boy.
design choice I cannot ignore talking about.
Blue
What I'm
Boy.
about to say is such a bad design choice that it makes half of the gameplay pointless.
I don't remember.
100 rings.
Oh my god. So this.
Now, if you're a long
They patched this.
you know how simple
They patched this so 100 rings do give you an extra life. And everyone in the comments is like, well, actually, but it was before I released this. I'm sorry, it was after I released this.
So why do I have to smack myself in a wall for 15 minutes
Oh, I
straight
was
just
so
to get
mad.
100 lives rather than getting the lives just the old-fashioned way?
Like, thank you
It
for
sounds like a
fixing
little
this,
thing,
but
this means
also,
levels literally
look at
shower
the
you with
date,
hundreds of coins that
ya
do
dummy.
nothing. There's alternate pathways that give more rings. There's rings that equal 10 rings. There's freaking minecarts that you can bash to get more rings. This game almost has as many rings as New Super Mario Bros. 2 had coins, and there isn't even a ring counter on the overworld. But that's not all. There's a counter for the amount of animals you save in the game, which is used to unlock more levels.
I'm gonna play this
instead
again,
of
honestly.
rings.
Is that bad? Is it bad that this
serious?
video is making me
So
want to
why don't you
play
just
this
make
game
rings
again?
a freaking currency, or decrease the amount of rings so it's harder to get extra lives? This is mind-bendingly bad game
Lives are
design.
outdated.
And this isn't
Yeah.
the only major flaw in the game
Yeah.
either. No, another big problem is the controls. Nothing are unplayable by
What
any
was
means,
the
but
game
they're
that
a lot
started the
slower than
whole
people
no
usually
lives
expect out of a
thing?
Sonic game. In
What
most
was
levels,
that?
without spin dashing every 2 seconds, Sonic will lose his momentum really fast and go at more of a
I can
Mario-like
stream
pace than
this
anything.
at some
Luckily,
point.
if you hold down the spin
Okay.
dash button, Sonic will go a lot faster, but good luck keeping that going after the first 2 worlds.
Ooh,
And you know, people can say that staying
burn.
fast isn't the ultimate
Okay.
goal of the game, or that I can't criticize the gameplay since it's so different than a normal Sonic, but I can't describe how infuriating
I
it
wanna
is when you're blazing
play
really fast
Shovel
in early
Knight.
worlds of the game.
I haven't
only
played
to
the
fidget your
DLC
way in later
yet.
levels like you're trying to squeeze through a freaking
I'm
subway
waiting for
station.
like
It
the
requires
King,
hours and hours
the
of practice,
King
and
Knight
until you
one
master
to
it,
come
it
out,
destroys
so I can
any
play
chance
all
of
the
fun you can
DLC
have
at
in the later
once.
half of the game. But why is that exactly?
Ooh, I thought I
Well,
died there
you
for a
see,
second.
There's something I have to do. People over the years have grown
Oh,
scared of
no.
the Sonic fan base, and I'm gonna be honest here. Many of them don't listen to reason.
Oh,
Many of them
no.
will ridicule reviewers despite having valid points, and most importantly, many of them will find any way to justify their liking of the game, even if it's complete crap.
Remember when
Trust
this
me, I know.
didn't apply to
I
every
feel
fan
Sonic
base
Genesis
ever, and
fans.
this was mainly just
So for all
Sonic
those
back
said
in
Sonic fans out
2013?
there, this
Good
review's about to take
times.
a very grim turn. You see, everything I've said about the game so far has been after playing the first 5 worlds. I had not beaten the game yet when I finished the script, but I wouldn't think I'd have to change it that much after playing the last 2 worlds.
Oh, the last 2 worlds are
I
garbage.
could not have been any more wrong. And you know what? I was still gonna
Bully
be nice
destroys
about it.
Sonic
Despite the crap
fans
got in
with
Ice World
facts
Beach World,
and
I was
logic.
still willing to give this game a check. But after the abominations that's Lost World's endgame,
Oh,
I
man.
got very angry. Probably the angriest I've ever been at a video game. So I don't even care what Sonic fans are gonna do to me. I'm gonna rip this game apart.
When will you learn that your actions have
Ow.
consequences?
So I'll start with Skyrim.
You
Stage
frickin'
1 wasn't
fricks.
bad since it was the 3D levels that we've come
Sonic
to enjoy in
fans
the game,
owned
but there
by
were way too
liberal
many
soy
unnecessary
boy.
parts, like the repetitive amounts of speed segments and a really annoying Cloud mid-boss. Now that I think about it, I hate all Cloud parts in this game. Sonic moves super slow. and it
cares
really
about
brings the level
spoilers?
design
Oh, you'd
to
be
a
surprised.
crawl. All they're really good for is
You
just
would
getting
be
extra
surprised.
lives. But stage 2 and onward
I've got
is where the
people
game
being
really
mad at
goes
me for
downhill.
spoiling
In this particular level, you're supposed to avoid
Mario
attacks
games.
from Zavik, the leader of the Deadly Six. Now I have no problems if it was implemented in a cool way, but look at this design. There's no effort put in it whatsoever.
I
It's
spoiled
just
the Boy and His
two-dimensional
Blob,
platforms
that's
with
true.
the same looking
I
dragon
did.
circling around you.
I'm sorry.
I can barely even call it level design since it feels more like a platform test that devs made in its alpha stage. After the interesting,
I think that
diverse
was a little
designs
too
given in the
harsh
earlier
for that
stages,
stage. I
this
think
is
that was a little
downright
too harsh.
insulting to the player. And even after that crap, I still gave the game the benefit of the doubt. I thought maybe, you know, it was just a stage building up for stage 3.
You got banned on
Well,
Miiverse
Skyroad
because you
Stage 3
spoiled the
is one of
Bowser
worst
world of
levels
3D
I've ever
World.
played in a video game.
You
Not
monster.
because it's hard, but because,
Just
you
kidding.
know, I'll just show you.
Oh, I hated
So I
this
have no
level.
problems with Sky stages. I like him in Donkey Kong Country. I
Yep.
like him in Mario.
Yep.
Heck, I like him in Sonic 2.
They're
But this
alright.
right here, this is a game design nightmare. To move Sonic around, you hold down the jump button
It's like,
to make
what
him
were they
roll
thinking?
down the airstream. Now this sounds
What
fine on
were they
paper, but the
thinking?
controls for this are near broken. Sonic's trajectory is near impossible to guess, and squeezing through small corridors is way harder than it should be. I mean, come on, it shouldn't be this hard to just avoid a simple object. But I think the worst thing of it all is that there's tons of games on iOS, Android, and heck, even Flash games that do these levels 100 times better, and most of them are free. For crying out loud, at this point in the game, Sonic is with Eggman. Why can't he just make him a jetpack or have Eggman drive him around? They even have a bonus level where Tails flies Sonic around. Why can't we play this level instead of this air crap? The design choices in this game are just maddening.
My SSD wants an
Luckily,
update.
Stage 4
I'm gonna
isn't
close
horrible
this.
by any means, but it's mostly a vertical
my
stage,
SSD
like
is
Crash Man stage
perfectly
from Mega Man
fine.
2. The only problem is you have these stupid springs everywhere,
It's
and if you
gone.
go under where the screen scrolls up, you die. That's some serious BS design in my opinion. Does the bottom of the
You
stage
need
just
more
magically disappear as
impersonations.
Sonic ascends?
I really
It's
am not
bad,
good
but
at
compared
I'm
to
not
the
good
other
at
2D stages, it's just
impersonating
barely
AVGN.
Okay. The Lava Mountain, the final world,
I just-
all the
I do
monstrosity
the
of Sky
ass,
Road
and
with
that's
a
it.
gigantic difficulty spike. I feel like stage 1 is there to trick you, honestly. It's literally just 3 easy boss fights on a single planet where the ground turns
Yeah, for
into
some reason
lava.
my
Whoa.
solid state
But
drive.
stage 2 is this ridiculously long on-rail stage that will make you break your game
Yeah,
pad.
sometimes
Like
my
the one in
solid
World
state
3
drive
that I
wants for
enjoyed,
more
There's no
updates. I
skill
don't
in
know
it this
why.
time, only trial and error, with turns
It's
and jumps
stupid.
that are
I
impossible to
agree.
get the first 10 times. Mention this level to anyone who's played and they'll go berserk thinking about it. The only one that actually feels challenging and fair is stage 3, which should have been the entire world.
Yeah, this
It has
was a
all the
cool
gameplay
level.
that I enjoyed at the beginning of the game.
This was a
and
neat
there's even
level.
parts of the level that test all the skills you've acquired so far.
That was a pain in
Even
the
though
ass,
2D
but it
sections
was
are
still
kinda
a fun
repetitive
level.
here, it's still
The
fun.
parkour at
But
that
honestly, the game
specific
should have
part.
ended here because the final bosses. You know, I'll just show you Sonic Colors final boss.
Do I ever update them?
Cool,
No.
right?
It's
With
been
all
giving me
whiz
the same
powers and homing
notification to
attacks.
update for like
Now
a
look
year
at Lost
straight.
World's final boss.
The thing is,
Looking familiar,
I would update
looking
it, but you
watered
have
down,
to format
looking
your
like the desert,
SSD
just
to
like, oh,
update
no,
it.
we only got $5 left in the budget. We gotta make final boss. Oh, Control C, Control V that crap in. Seriously, this is
What's
worse
his
rehashing than the
faces?
Bowser fights in New Super Mario Bros. But personally, I feel like the biggest crime is how the story is handled in the last
Oh.
world. The entire game
I'm
seems to be
sorry
building
for
up to this
spoiling Sonic
climactic,
Colors,
awesome ending.
everybody.
But guess what happens? After you beat the Deadly Six again, they just
Spoilerinos.
vanish. You don't kill them either, they just run away and they're never mentioned again. When I saw the ending cutscenes without the Deadly Six, the main enemies of the game,
I was so
it almost
pissed.
broke me. It seriously almost broke me. You spend all this time and
Yeah,
effort
it doesn't
to
make any
introduce new villains,
sense.
and you don't even try to implement them in the Sonic universe? Yet Orbot, Cubot, and Color powers are okay? For a Sonic game, this story's end is beyond disappointing.
It was really stupid. They just cut them off. It's like they forgot to make cutscenes for
Are there
them.
good levels in the game to save it? Well, let's get straight to the review and find out.
Yeah.
Now,
What?
first up is
Why
fun.
did I look
For
so
me,
upset
Sonic
there?
Lost World is a game of mixed emotions. You start off the game fighting Sonic's new controls.
Sonic
which lack any
actually
kind of
killed
explanation
them?
besides
Is that what
nice little
happened? Did he
question
actually
bubbles.
murder them?
You then learn the controls after some trial and error, and you really start to enjoy some of the levels. And then
Cool.
you get to the later levels that are so lazily designed
Have I
that
never
they'll make you wanna
actually
rage
streamed
quit.
Sonic
And to
Forces?
further
I
dampen up your
haven't.
fun, you start to
I haven't
realize the
streamed
game's
it
design
like
flaws and
7
the amount of
times
missed
already.
potential that it has.
I think I should
The
do
color
it again
powers are overused
sometime.
and have almost no purpose in the game. The characters are almost all annoying and lack any kind of likability.
I'm just getting ready.
Well,
The boss battles in this game are cakewalks once you figure out their attack patterns, and like any
Oh
sort
yeah,
of
they're
skill,
super
I could
easy.
be here
They're
for
like
hours
Mario
explaining
boss
all the things I
easy.
hate about the game, since it literally feels like a mishmash of scrapped game ideas over the years. A lost world.
If you remember Nintendo History 101,
I counted
you're
how
too
many levels
old.
I enjoyed in this
Oh,
game,
no.
and out of the 32 main stages, I only enjoyed 14 of them.
Yeah,
With
just
that kind of
put all
ratio,
those
this game
acts
doesn't
right on the
deserve
screen
anything
like
more than
that.
a check minus. As for look, sound, and length, I'm just going to do them in one go. Everything else
Okay,
besides the gameplay
good.
is
Thank you for
fantastic.
streamlining
the graphics
this
are
out of
wonderfully made and
nowhere.
have tons of personality. They even go at a fluid 60 frames per second, and I rarely saw the frame rate go any lower. The music is fully orchestrated and
man.
extremely catchy as well, and it stayed in my head for days after I
Yo,
stopped playing.
Lost Sound's
especially
music is
Tropical
really
Coast
good.
Stage
I will
3
give it
and Sky
that.
Road Stage 2.
I like
and
it
as
a
for
lot.
length, there's tons to do here. There's items you can get from other players, extra bonus stages, 2-player online races, a co-op
You like my
support
old me
mode,
that had
Supersonic
hair?
if you get all the red rings,
Good
an extra
times.
world, and even online leaderboards through time trials.
Look at me,
So
number
if you do end up liking the game,
4001.
There's tons of stuff to do after the 4-hour main game, so you do end up getting your money's worth. It just sucks that the majority of the game is an exercise in frustration. And for people saying the game gets more
Oh,
fun
this
after
brings me
replaying levels
back.
several times, it should be fun the first time. It's game design 101. You
I
shouldn't
wanna
have to
try
get
it
used to a
again.
game's
I
design
really
through
wanna try it
repetition.
again.
The game should lay out its rules to you clear as day, especially for a platform.
See, I love
Someone
that
turns out to get a
idea
check
of
plus
like
while
being
Lem
able to
gets a
keep
check
the
from
homing
me.
attack
In
and like the
short,
roll
Sonic Lost
going.
World is a good game.
That was
but it's
cool.
buried in a ridiculous amount of bad design choices. When the game is
I think
good,
I was a little
it's
too
really
harsh on
good.
this
The
game.
3D levels really feel unique and give a true sense of freedom to the player. Some of the 2D levels have a great sense
Oh,
of
that
pace
was
and
fun.
have plenty of secrets to find.
I like
and
the
heck, there's a
pinball.
handful of other levels I enjoyed. But it's so obvious that half the game was rushed and boned in, and there's absolutely no coherency. And yes, I know Sonic fans will probably kill me for this review, and I do respect
they
that someone
did.
else likes the game.
Oh, they
since there
sure
are good
did.
parts in it, but even the most dedicated Sonic fan
They
can't
ripped
say
me
that all
a
the game
big
is
old
good,
new
and they have to see
butthole.
that Sonic Team made a lot of missteps here. And I personally think that despite the good reviews,
look
the
at
Sonic
Todd
fans, and
and
the good marks that
Jimbo.
I gave, that this game still deserves a check minus.
It's alright.
Whatever you do, don't buy this game at $50.
It's an alright game.
If you're a hardcore Sonic fan, I'd recommend, if you have a Wii U already, to get this at a discount. Everyone else, just steer clear of this game. There's plenty
Fair,
of other
that's fair.
platformers on Wii U and other systems that are way better than this
Yo,
game.
this kid needs a haircut.
As for me, well, if you'll excuse me.
No, not again! Don't hate this man! Don't hate on this man! He's protected. He is very protected. Oh boy, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games time. No hate, please. No! Did I miss something?
No! Man, I need a new Wii remote. This thing sucks. Hey, what you got there? A new Wii remote and a game? Oh man, you're so nice! That is why I have you around. That is why. Wait a second. Okay, how did he get to the store? Where did he get the money for this? And
Thank
why
you for
is it being so
following.
nice? This is freaking me out. Okay, Balrog. Think your response carefully. Oh,
Wait,
Wario,
how is he-
this silly. It's not
he
even
was on the
Christmas
ground.
anymore. You don't have to get me a gift, but I do enjoy the offer. Oh. Oh, Wario, do you really want me to? Well, I did like the 2010 version, so can't be that bad, right?
Oh, it's
Right?
no. No, you're in
Okay,
for
seriously,
it.
stop staring at me like that.
He's not even staring at you. I just abuse this man every episode. Yeah. Look at his nose. He's dying of terminal wanness. Good intro for
BNGR.
once. Right? I shortened it.
Sequelitis. What is it?
Oh,
What
good old
is it?
sequelitis.
Why do so many video game companies catch it in fatal doses? Well, when a new IP is successful, it usually shows the creators that they're doing something
Good
right.
old
Something about it made it
sequelitis.
stand out to people, and naturally, fans of the game will crave more of it. But you see, sequels are supposed to build on what people loved about the original, while tossing in new ideas and fixing any problems the original
Was
had.
that-
I mean, if you're gonna spend
was
years
that
of your life
Eco
making another
Rapture?
similar game, don't you want to make it special? Well, unfortunately, as many of you've seen over the years,
Mr.
companies tend to
Raptor
forget
himself
this. Some of them will start to
coined
see
the
their series as a
term.
cash cow and dish out as
I'm
many
going to
formulaic
jail.
sequels as they can until people just get sick of it. This is sequelitis, one of the biggest problems in the current gaming industry, and will continue to be as long as fans still support it.
Remember
But as we've
WiiWare
seen many times
games?
before, sequelitis can kill a series a lot sooner than
I can't
people think.
believe there's so much footage
So
of
today,
WiiWare
I have
games
a
in this.
very rare opportunity. Before I even play this game, or it's eventually confirmed by Sega, it's very likely that this game will be the last entry in the Mario and Sonic Olympic series as
Whoops.
we know it. How am I so sure? Well, there's several symptoms. Number one, a party game entirely
My
based
bad,
around random
guys.
motion controls just isn't cool anymore. I mean, maybe it was in 2007, but if you really want something like that, there's tons of alternatives on the Wii already.
It was
Number
the
two,
last
there's
winter
no
game, that's
handheld version
fair.
this time, which should immediately throw
That
some
is
red
fair.
flags because the 2012 version on 3DS alone sold over a million
Top 10
units.
quotes that
But the
aged
final nail in the
poorly.
coffin is what doomed this series after its second entry. Its premise. So let's talk about
I'm
some
why we
console
got
shall we?
another Mario Olympics
So as many
game.
of you know, Nintendo vs. Sega
Whoa,
had one
my
of the biggest
bad.
video game rivalries ever. Super Nintendo had Mode 7, Genesis had Blast
Yeah,
Process.
'cause what happened?
N64 had
They
Bubble
would have
Punch,
made another
Dreamcast had
one.
online play. Game Boys ate
But
my free
I
time,
think
Game Gears ate my batteries.
Ubisoft bought the
Like,
rights
a
for
lot of them.
2018.
Like, no. No! But thanks to Sega making
What?
an extraordinary amount of bad decisions in the
They
mid
did
to
it
late
for
90s,
Steep.
they had no choice
Remember
but to
Steep?
leave the hardware business entirely and put their games on the same platforms
No
they
one
fought
gave a
against for many
flying
years.
heck about
But the weird
Steep,
thing is, instead of
and then
being
they
all
were making a
butthurt about
Switch port of
losing,
Steep, and
Sega
people
actually
cared
formed
a
close
little
relationship
bit,
with Nintendo,
and then it
and
got
even co-developed
canceled.
F-Zero GX.
Good times.
So when Sega got the rights to make an Olympics game, they were like, hey Nintendo, you want to put our characters in a minigame collection? Take all our money. And with that, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games was born.
Good shop dollar on
Right after
that.
I started high school, everyone was talking about it. Mario and Sonic in the same game? There's no way that can be bad. And then we all bought it.
You like the
And we all
M&M in the
realized
back?
The whole game was just shaking your Wii remote until your arm falls off. So then we
The
all
shady ass
Super Mario
M&M.
Galaxy, and we all lived happily ever after. The end.
I'd trust that.
But what's interesting is that the game got mixed reception from critics and users, yet it still sold over 7 million units. So unlike
Should I
most
bring back
best-selling
the
games,
M&M?
Sega had a problem to fix. People wouldn't fall for the same trick twice. And if there was ever a game that
The M&M
completely
is like,
changed my
yo,
mind
is
about
this
a
kid
series,
wearing a
it was Mario
turtleneck?
and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games.
No,
And yes,
it
the titles
was.
do get longer every time.
I think it came with M&M
Just how
undies.
it is. Now, on the
And
surface,
so I
the
just
game
used
may
it
just
to
seem like
hold
another
things
waggle
inside
fest, but
after
Sega
I
made
used
so
the
many improvements to
undies.
the game. There's a single-player campaign where you play some of the minigames for 17 days, just like the Olympics. The minigames are more about precision this time,
Yeah,
which makes you feel
there's
like
your
you have a
answer.
lot more control over your character. There's a party games mode where players
That
earn
M&M
points by
would make
winning
a good
minigames rather than
reaction
just choosing
image.
individual events. And on top of that, there were tons of unlockables and achievements to collect. It may have only gotten marginally better.
You all
scores,
asked
but
what
in
it
my
was.
heart,
I gave
knew
you
it was
the
a better
answer.
game, and I played the crap out of it as a teenager. And then London 2012 came around and they did the same crap as the original. The events were almost the same, only a few modes from the
That
Winter
was a
Olympics
little.
returned in.
The
game
series
didn't
is
even
so
use Motion
extra.
Plus, which is pretty ridiculous seeing Wii Sports Resort have been out for over 2 years. But besides the trivial things, the main
If
problem
you
is
have
that
any
by going
questions
back to the
about
Summer
like
Olympics,
things you see in the
creativity
background
kinda
or
goes out the
whatever,
window.
I
The
can
developers
answer
are stuck
them.
to the events in the Olympics and can only switch things up through various game modes and themed
Underwear
events, which makes
stream
the game feel
when?
more like an upgrade than
Oh,
a
God.
sequel. But despite that, the Wii and 3DS versions combined still sold about 5 million units. That's
This
a
game
lot
sold
of
really
sore
well.
arms. But now, Mario and Sonic at the Sochi 2014 Olympic Winter
Why are my
Games.
posters
Wow, that's a
framed?
long
They're
title. Have only
expensive.
sold about 200,000 units as of
And
this
also I
review.
cra-
Now,
they
that may
kept
sound like a
falling
lot at
off the
first, but when you
wall.
think about the time period this game's been out, the 2012
And
version, a
cracking.
rehash version of the original game,
Let
already
me
had
check
10
if that
times
game
the
sold
amount of
more.
sales.
Let me see.
So now it's time to figure out why
Over the
and see
past
if it's any
4
better than
years.
the original Winter Games. And if not, at least I got this thing, right? And it's blue.
I'm curious.
Kind of my favorite color, as you've
So I
seen.
said it was like 250K.
Alright, so when you start up the main menu, there's 5 different
ended
game
up
modes to choose from. But for
being-
continuity's sake, I'll start with the single events. In this mode, you have all the
Hang on.
mini-games at your disposal. 16 somewhat normal takes on the Olympics, and then
800K.
8 dream events, which are pretty much just
It sold
extremely creative
800,000
versions of the
units.
regular
So I guess
events.
that
After
that
you
explains
have
the
20
sequel,
characters to
right?
choose from, which all have their pros and cons laid
And
out
that's-
for you,
that's
which shows
just
who's better
physical.
at certain events. For a minigame collection, it's all pretty organized and put together in a simple layout, but
I held
it
the
does kinda
controller
suck that the
upside
character
down. Oh,
roster hasn't
no.
changed at all.
I didn't even
Anyway,
notice
to make
that.
things easier to explain, the games fall
My
under 6
favorite thing
categories.
is the
Skiing,
gamepad
shooting,
view. You'll see what I
snowboarding,
mean.
Skating, bobsleighing, and curling. All the games feel really fleshed out too, and have more depth than something like, say, a
For a
Mario
Wii U
Party
game, that's
would
not
have.
bad. Yeah,
What's even crazier
exactly.
is that
I'm
they're
surprised
all
it sold
actually
that
fun to
much.
play.
Honestly,
And I gotta admit, a minigame collection with nothing but a decent lineup of games is really hard to pull off.
right?
So without further ado, it's time to go over each minigame individually. You know what?
Fun
Since
fact:
Mario
this
bought me
is.
the
I
game,
think this
it's only
was.
fair to
This
play
is
as
my
him.
mom's
Does that
bedroom.
make you happy, man?
I am filming this in my mom's bedroom.
Wait a minute. First up are the skiing minigames. Now, as you'll see
Not
by
even
most
my
of these
own.
modes, the way these games control vary by the mode you're playing. Some games will have you tilting the controller to move around or touch flags or ride airstreams, while others will make you do crazy hand gestures for stunts.
Mom reveal
Very
when.
crazy hand gestures. Oh. And thanks to the added Wii Motion Plus support, the controls of these are also a lot better than the Wii version, and I rarely
I
had
think it
any
was
problems.
because there was a
So I
big
guess I don't
TV
really
in
have
there,
much
and I didn't have a
complaint about
TV in my room at the
Second up is
time.
shooting, which is featured in the
I think that's
biathlon
why.
stage. Pretty much what you do here is ski up and down hills while
I didn't have
maintaining
room
your
for my
stamina,
TV
and shoot some
earlier.
targets as you progress
And
the
also, I
event.
think my
It's kinda
parents for a
cool,
long
but
time
there's
didn't
one
want me to
major
have a
problem.
TV in my
It's
room
single
because
player,
they
it
knew they
makes
would
you switch
never see
between
me
the
ever.
gamepad and the Wiimote twice.
And honestly,
yes, they do give you time to switch, but
that's
it's a pain
fair.
in the butt, and I actually hit myself in the megastones while switching between the two. It's a pretty
Did I
bad
just
design
say
choice, but after the initial pain, I still found it quite
Did I just whack myself
Third
in my
up is
own
snowboarding,
nads
which controls kind
for
of
a
like the skiing
joke?
portions, with the exception that you can drift like in Mario Kart. In one of the modes, you'll even end up doing some cool tricks, and even when you're not, you still
Am I
have to
gonna do
get
power
air and land in the right
review?
position,
Is
which
it?
in itself has a
Would
nice
it be
depth to it. The
entertaining
only
to go
problem is,
over my
once
power
again, that the
reviews?
first player is forced to use the gamepad for all of them. I mean, I'm
Would
fine
that?
with doing it, but
I
if
don't
I
even
play
remember if I
multiplayer,
made them
I'm
funny or
obviously going
not.
to have an advantage with smoother controls. It's not fair game like it is in the 2010 version, you know? Fourth up is skating, in which most of them rely on making certain gestures. In speed skating, you swing your times back and forth to find a rhythm, while in figure skating, you're given these
good
more
old figure
complicated
skating,
and varied
Shadow the
fashions, like
Hedgehog.
spinning.
I'm sure
Too
that's
much
exactly what they
As a
thought
fan
when they
of
made
rhythm
that
games, I really
character.
enjoyed swinging around to the beat and getting high scores.
Look at
so I had a
Daisy.
lot of fun with these games too. However, there's one
Daisy
skating
was
game
doing
I
the
didn't like so
Naruto
much,
run.
Ice hockey. The problem I have with it is that it plays almost exactly like a poor man's Super Mario Strikers.
Yo, when we
You whack a
getting that on
people whack it
Switch?
from you shoot. It's really nothing mind-blowing.
I want that
but it's
on
a fun
Switch.
pick-up
That would
and
be
play game with
perfect for
friends.
Switch, actually.
However, as a single-player experience, it's
real.
unfortunately too simplistic to get any enjoyment out of it. Number 5 are the bobsleighing stages, which are surprisingly
I
the ones
did
I've
a
replayed
lot of the
most. All you
AVIs
really do
last
is tilt
time.
the bobsleigh
See, look at
or
this.
give commands in the 4-man bobsleigh event. But staying on the given boost line is actually really freaking hard. Out of all the mini games I've played, it's the one that requires the most
That's my
precision with your
favorite
movement,
thing
so I feel
ever.
like it's really fun to aim for high scores.
Hang
And
on.
that's really freaking. All you really do is get any enjoyment out of it. Number 5 are the bobsleighing stages, which are surprisingly the ones I've replayed the most. All you really
That
do
is just
tilt the bobsleigh
fear.
around or give commands in the 4-man bobsleigh event, but staying on the given boost line is actually
Oh my
definitely not
god!
as this curling. And I gotta say, the way they retooled this game is fantastic. Not only can you draw up your plan on the gamepad, the controls felt great, and trying to hit your opponent's stones can get pretty intense. Okay, maybe I could have worded that better. As a man that knows nothing about the Olympics, it's kind of like we.
Yeah, I
I
should do 2016,
and the
huh?
results are actually way better than you would think. Expect to taint your friendships if you play this at a party. Now, as for the dream events, well, I don't want to spoil the whole game for you, but compared to the
Oh
others,
my
these events are
God.
phenomenal. They can range from things like a sledge race with bullet bills, or
That
beating
was-
a boss
that
in
was
Sonic while
interesting.
figure skating, and there honestly isn't a single one I don't like. I just kind of wish the game had more of it, you know? But now
Yeah,
that we got
that's the
positives
problem.
out of the way, it's time to talk about the one big fault that hurts the
It was
game,
like a
which is
step
even
back,
bigger
but
if you
it was
play
in
the
HD,
2010
so
version.
you know.
The game's
It's
audience.
okay,
So
I
let's
guess.
get straight through the review and I'll show you what I mean. I even got good music this time.
Yo, the remixes in this game are awesome.
First up is fun. Mario and
You
Sonic
see that
Sochi
Mario and the
2014
long ass name
This game
Olympics?
can be very fun in both single player and multiplayer under certain circumstances. You see, Mario and Sonic as a series dug itself a nice hole between simple minigames and full-fledged minigames.
This
Too
ain't
hard
a
to learn
bad
without a 3-minute
video.
tutorial, but too shallow
This
to
is
play for long
alright.
periods of time. Throw in the fact that most games only have a single stage, and you've got a game with
I'm.
fun
This
gameplay,
is
but
where.
no
This
replay
is where. I
value.
wouldn't say
And for
this
people
are
who
my
played the
best
2010 version,
videos, but
these
I'd say
problems
it's
are
where I like
exponentially worse. I played a lot
found
of these
my
minigames
voice.
before, and there's not enough content to keep
You
me
know what I
occupied
mean?
for long. As a result, I've only played about 10 hours of this game, and that was way past after I stopped enjoying it.
I played way
mostly
more than
just did
10
it for
hours.
footage, 'cause I love you guys. As for the multiplayer, this turns into an even bigger problem. If you're playing the game with other friends and you have to sit
This
through
is
a
where your
stinging
video
tutorial to
quality
understand the game,
noticeably
your friends probably
increases.
aren't going
Yes.
to have the patience to play it. This is also a problem in the 2010 version, but with even longer tutorials this time, the
Yo, you guys
2014
are
version
hyping on
fails
my
unless your
regular
friends
show
are
review.
freaking
I'm
saints.
excited.
And lastly, this audience problem infects all the other modes. Medley
Is the
Mania,
Gravity
which exactly
Falls
like
game
the
any
party
good on
games mode from
3DS?
The 2010 version
It's
is
by the
just
same
as hard to
guys.
get through as a single event. The action and answer tour is a
I don't know
mixture
if
of a
that's,
game show
like,
and the
worth my
previous
time.
minigames, and they're honestly a complete drag. There's some
To
interesting
review, I
twists on
mean.
the game, like finding faces in curling or memory games on the slopes, but the slow structure of them just
Oh,
kills
yeah, that
it.
was
And to top
stupid,
it
where you
off,
had
the
to, like,
host,
go
Warbot,
through
and
the
Cubot have
boxes.
some pretty horrible dialogue, and it just drags on and on and on, and you wish you could just skip it to get to the game.
Yeah, this was
I can't
bad.
picture anyone playing this mode over the party games mode, which already has its own problems. Even the single player campaign,
remember that
Legends Challenge, is literally just the same
specifically
minigames, except you face
sucking.
mini bosses and rivals every once in a while. Oh, and you face off shadow versions of yourself. Really creative, right? At least you unlock me outfits in this mode,
Shadows.
so I guess the game does give you incentive to play it, but there's
It
a
has a
severe lack of
46 on
creativity
Metacritic.
here. And how could I forget
Oh,
the last
God.
mode, Worldwide Versus, which only consists of
Oh,
4
man.
modes. Now, the Champions Race one is a complete blast, and I didn't even notice any lag in it.
I mean,
but
is it
the
like,
others,
is it a
it's only
funny
one
bad,
course,
or
and
is
you're
it
gonna get
like
sick of
a
it
what
very
the hell
fast.
bad?
The rest of the online modes are just races too, so they're just pretty forgettable.
Because
in my
I remember
opinion,
being
and it's
excited
kinda
for
hard
that
to find
game.
people online.
It's just
But we're
boring
not
bad.
done. The
That's
final blow
lame.
to this game, once again, is the game
How
pad.
about
ways
the
they
Epic
could
Mickey
utilize it
game.
was
Isn't
so
that
poor
good?
That I wouldn't be surprised
The
if they
3DS
just slapped
one?
it together in the last few weeks. Every time you get a gold medal, you have to go through an unskippable
I've always
winter
wanted to do a
cutscene
video
where
on
it
that,
asks
or
the most
maybe
from
like the
Miiverse, as
Snoopy
well as take a
platformer.
stupid picture of yourself.
You remember
It's
that?
seriously annoying when you
Potato
just
Cam.
and SPO's blankly staring you down. And of course,
It's
there's the
good, but
gamepad
it's really
being
short.
shoved down your
That's what
throat
I
in
remember,
single-player
yeah.
modes, and the useless Mario and Sonic channel, which is pretty much just the
You like
one
that
thing that demon
shaky
stab you find in the main
gamepad
menu.
cam?
There's just so much wasted potential here. In short, the
What is-
circumstances for fun
why did they
differ, so I
hold
give
it
a check
still?
minus for veterans and barely a check for newcomers. Second up is looks, and this game is very
Man.
fun to look at. The character
If you
models are
do,
great
you
and
have
full
to
of
say,
charm,
okay,
especially
this is
Mario. Just
Epic
look at that
Mickey.
face. And the wintry backgrounds are all very detailed. And
All
don't even
right.
get me started on the ice hockey stages in Delfino Plaza because they're freaking beautiful. But unfortunately, the crowds do look very crude and pixelated, and since they're in almost every minigame, it's bad enough for
And
me
it's
to
still
give it a
like
check.
that today.
Third up is sound, and it's
In
decent.
Mario Kart 8
You got your
Deluxe.
Olympic-like tunes, and of course your remixes from Mario and Sonic games, and I gotta say, they did a really good job with some of these.
Big
Fortunately,
agree.
Some of the Olympic songs are a bit bland though, so this gets a check for me as well. And fourth up is length, and
So
it depends.
what are
If you
some,
play the
like,
2010
games
version,
you would
all
want me to
pretty much
review
have is
one
online
day?
play, a few
I'll
new
add it to
modes,
my
tons of
list.
achievements to
Like, what do you
unlock,
think would
and
be
8 dream
entertaining?
events, which means about half of the content is recycled for you. If you're a newcomer though, you have a decent amount of content, but a shortened single-player experience and a slow party experience.
You have one
so
in
just like
particular?
Fun, this gets a check minus for veterans
Pokemon
and a
Super
check for
Mystery Dungeon's
newcomers.
alright,
In
but
conclusion,
it would
Mario
take a
and
long
Sonic at the
time to make a
2014
video on
okay,
it.
I'm not saying that again. Is a good game, but millions of people have already played
Fortnite?
it before. Sequelitis has not been kind to this series at all, and it's obvious Sega
A
Sports had
review of
no idea what they were
WarioWare
doing in the
games is a good
gamepad,
idea.
nor finding ways to differentiate itself from the previous games. Yes, the game can be
Thank
very fun
you.
in short bursts, but even London 2012 did a better job at remaking their previous game, which is saying a lot. Unless you're like me and got it for the free Wii Remote, which is actually US only anyway, there's really no reason for a
Messenger?
veteran to choose this
I
over
still
the
need to
2010
beat that, but
version,
it's
and as a
fun.
result has effectively put this
I
series
think it
on
would be
life
a good
support.
video
But
to
if you're new
do.
to the
Also,
series
the
and really
Shovel
wanna
Knight
play with your
DLC.
favorite
Would
mascots
you guys
in
want to
HD,
see a video on
well,
that too?
you should still be in for a pretty good time.
I'm just going through
So with
going
that
through the
said,
motions.
This game gets, you guessed it, a check for newcomers and a check minus for veterans.
Okay.
Oh, hey Wario. Sorry,
Yakuza
man.
I'm a little
Sorry
scared
to
about
make you
because
Christmas gift that you
Atlas
hope for,
slash
but at least we
Sega
spent
and their
time together,
stupid
right? And
rules.
that's what the holidays are all about. Spending time with the people you
Ukulele,
care
I'll
about.
think about it. I've been
And you know,
playing it on
maybe I've
Switch
been
and I
too harsh
like
with you
it,
in the past.
actually.
My New Year's resolution is to be nicer to you. Oh wait, Wario, is that my wallet?
I
You
taped
bought me
it
my
to
own
his
Christmas
hand.
gift with my own money? You're dead. You're dead, man, Wario.
See the umbrella fall in the corner. That's funny. Parkour. Alright. Regular show time. We'll do power reviews later.
Modern retro games.
Oh,
These
yeah.
games seem to be all the rage these days, whether it be from shows, merchandise, and even music. Games from the 80s have infested pop culture today.
Do you
But what
guys
exactly
like when
makes
I
them
just
so popular?
bam
Well,
right
in a
into the
world where games
video?
are all about graphics
Do you
and
like
specs
that?
and 1080p, 720p,
Should I keep doing
everyone
that?
showing off their Ps. Some
So
gamers
much
like to take a
P!
step back to a simpler time. A time where a game was sold through its level design or innovative gameplay rather than how realistic you can make your dogs look. They're simplistic, they're fun, they're unforgiving.
You like
and for
when I
better
do
or
this
worse,
kind
they're
of stuff?
easier to make.
Okay.
But you see, this also
keep that in
opens the door
mind.
of modern retro games to
I've been trying to
everyone.
get
Larger
into the
companies can make
video
it for a quick
quicker
buck,
more.
while a lot of indie developers can step into the gaming business with them. And unfortunately, because of all this, everyone and their mother tried making one.
It'd be
So
funny for a
that's where I
stream.
come in. I believe that I found a
true.
game that shows almost all the good and bad things about this genre, only for them to all fall apart completely in execution.
How can you be
So without
invested
further ado,
without a
it's time to
story?
go
That's a
back
fair
into
point.
Licensed games.
Yo, I've been working on a
we
killer
go
story
again.
for my next series. Bam! Maybe when I'm done with this whole marathon, I'll show you some sneak peeks of what I'm working on. You got into my channel around this time? Dude! Yeah, this is where
BNGR.
I like started gaining traction.
Oh, Cartoon Network, how the mighty have fallen. And risen again. Now, I know all of you know about the whole 90s cartoon trend.
Oh, no,
where
this
people
isn't
are
gonna
like,
age
"Oh,
well, is it?"
nostalgia, and they're funny, and new cartoons suck.
Oh,
What is
no.
this orange thing? It's stupid. Well, let's be honest here. Cartoon Network has actually been getting
This was
their stuff
before
together.
Teen Titans
Before
Go.
CEO wanted to make Cartoon Network all live action shows, which I gotta say is a really stupid idea, has left the company, and a lot of good cartoons have come out of it. You got Adventure Time, Steven
Ended.
Universe, Gumball.
Mistreated. Both of those are mistreated. I think that's... Is that still on?
They even got Sonic Boom coming in the fall.
Oh no!
Show
That's
the channel
dead
that I love
too!
above all the rest. Regular show.
That's also done!
But I'll explain the plot. The show's about two best friends, a blue jay named Mordecai and a raccoon named Rigby.
Uncle Grandpa also got canceled. Okay.
Interesting people.
Alright, so everything I just said in that statement is a load of baloney now.
It's funny, it's relatable, and
That's
in my opinion, it's
heartbreaking.
just really fun to watch. But there's another thing people really love about
Is
the
that a
show.
DDR
There's so
arrow?
much stuff
Yes.
From the 80s. There's the movie rental store, the retro game systems, the Power Glove.
Gumball's
So when I
good,
heard
but
they
it
were
didn't
making a
the
retro game for
creator
the show,
leave
I
after this
couldn't help
season
but
or
buy it.
something?
And let's just say I learned a very valuable lesson about retro games. That's because this game sucks.
Damn!
Alright, to the creators of this game, Waypoint Technologies are no strangers to licensed games, and a lot of them are actually really good. They made DuckTales Remastered,
man.
Batman the Brave and the Bold, and heck, they
Just
even made
out
an
of
Adventure Time
nowhere,
game already,
angry.
which was a lot like Zelda 2, the oddball in the franchise. But let's not get into that argument now, shall we?
Receding hairline
Well,
beginnings.
anyway, as
Here
much
it
as I love
is.
them, WayForward is also one of the
Wait,
most
did you write
unstable developers in the
Bennings
industry.
instead of
These guys have made
beginnings?
a lot of bad licensed games. Like, I'm
Close
not kidding
enough.
here. Despite their own IPs being fantastic games, a good chunk of their licensed ones are either rushed or short.
Oh,
or...
good old Minions
No.
on the
Hey, since
DS.
I really like their Adventure Time game, which has tons
Less
of fan
hair
service, by
equals
the way,
better
I thought
videos.
Mordecai
Oh
would be
no!
8-bit
Did you
like
see
the
the
same,
my other
right?
videos before this?
Right? So anyway, let's talk about my first impressions with the game.
Oh, this was
Okay, so
epic.
right off the bat, this game is really trying
You
to
like
win
my
heart.
trash can
The manual
there?
of the game has the same layout as the Sega Master System ones, the first console I ever owned. The box promises action platforming, side-scrolling shooters, playing as both Mordecai and Rigby. WayForward's forte has always been 2D platformers, so to hear regular show getting the same treatment, oh, it was any fan's dream. Upon more
man,
research, the
I was
composer
so
of this game
excited
is
for
also
this
Jake
game.
Kaufman, one of my favorite musicians in the industry. Their
Fun
series
fact,
listens to
Jake
similar
Kaufman
soundtrack
hates
from
that
the studio
picture of
didn't love.
him.
And yes, that
Because
includes
he's lost a
Garage
lot of
Rap.
weight
Okay,
since
this
that
guy's the
picture,
worst
and he
box
looks
art ever
entirely
made.
different.
The hair and the
He
story
looks
is
good.
apparently written
He
by
looks
J.J.
real
Quintel,
good.
the creator of the series.
Thank you for following.
The planet seemed like they were all aligned for this game to be a huge success. But honestly, this game didn't waste any time proving me wrong. In fact, no, it took only about 5 minutes.
Oh,
so,
man.
in the opening cutscene, we see Benson wanting Mordecai and Rigby to mow the lawn. They've
Y'all
already
just
grown about it,
LOL
whatever, and then they get a
lowercase me?
mysterious game console in the
What
mail
is
and
this?
play a game that seems to be labeled
I bet you didn't laugh at all.
Mordecai has his finger over the B and E, so I guess it's up to you to decide. You know what I'm saying? So then the duo gets
Wow,
sucked
good
into
old
the TV,
It's the
and of
Worst.
course they gotta beat the game to escape. Fascinating. Now,
There's
right off the
100
bat, I
people
was able to
watching
make a list
Mordecai
of
and
problems I
Rigby
have
in
with this
8-bit
game.
land, and
Where
I
is the voice acting
appreciate
for
you.
these guys? Why is the story so bland? This is worse than any setup I've ever seen on the show. Where are all the other
Yo,
main
I want
characters
to
in the
watch
game?
JG
Skips,
Quintel's
Hops,
new
Margaret,
show
Muscleman,
on
they're nowhere to be
TBS.
found.
He's
It's
making
just
one.
Mordecai and
It's
Rigby
very
beating the
similar
game
to
with
this
no
style, but
established
it's for
villain.
like
And since
adults.
this is the only
Well, that's the
cutscene
thing
until
about
the
regular
credits
show,
roll,
right?
This is pretty freaking
It was
disappointing.
meant
Like
to
this
be an
entire
adult
game.
show.
Now, it may seem kind of dumb that I'm bashing an 8-bit game for its narrative, but come on, WayForward got the license to one of the biggest
like
cartoons
regular
on
show was
TV,
supposed to be
and
an
for a
adult
$30
show.
retail game, they made about
The
2 minutes
pilot
worth
was
of
about
story with
them
editing skills
being
of a
clerks
PowerPoint
tripping on
presentation.
acid
But hey, you
or
know
something.
what? Let's forget about this license for a sec. What about this old school gameplay and action platforming I was promised?
Ooh.
Here we go. So I started the game.
I didn't even have my
bam,
buttons
we
on
already got a
my hands on
problem.
the buttons.
It's not 8-bit. Are you kidding me? I'm out. You know, I really love when a
What are
game
you
false
doing?
advertises right off the bat. You see, what this game appears to be is what I like to call a 12-bit platformer. It has the music and level design of an 8-bit platformer, but the actual aesthetics of the game are based off the 16-bit era. And
Ew,
even then,
oh
that's
god,
kinda
that
stretching
was
it here.
that's a
But yeah,
gross
if you're gonna
looking
call your
video
game
game.
8-bit, make it 8-bit. Otherwise, call it Mordecai and Rigby in Retroland. Okay, ran over.
Thank
let's
you.
move on. This is stupid.
Yeah, this
The way
is
game
this is
plays at
not
first is
8-bit
pretty standard.
at
You
all.
can run, jump, and stomp enemies on the head like a certain Italian plumber. It's not
Woke
exactly anything I
12-bit
consider good, but it's a little bit
platformer.
of fun at least. You can even switch to Rigby
That's
and press
Galaxy
the button so you can get
Brain.
into small corridors.
Regular
Oh,
brain
no.
8-bit,
And
big
that's where
brain
things go horribly wrong.
16-bit.
This is the worst level design I've ever seen in a platformer. There's just linear and pointless block mazes where you have to squeeze into with Rigby. There's so much open space and everything.
Yeah,
looks
it's
so,
weird.
so
It's like
plain. And to throw even
the
more
level
frustration
design
in,
is
the hitboxes of
8-bit,
these enemies
but
are
the
really
aesthetics
precise.
are
really
like
precise. You don't understand.
Sega
If
CD
you want to kill human enemies,
quality
you have to jump pixel
or
perfect on their
32x
heads and pray
quality.
they don't move. I just don't
Weird.
understand. It's way harder than it should be, and eventually you'll just avoid hitting
Tiny brain 4-bit land.
Isn't it supposed to feel, you know, satisfying to jump on people's heads? And that's not even the worst part. You die in one hit. So not
Oh yeah, that
only
was
is the level
extra
design
stupid.
boring,
They were
not
trying to be
only are the
Mario
hitboxes
and it just didn't
infuriating and
work.
sometimes even incorrect and glitchy, but now you have to inch along
It's
the
good.
game like everything's going to kill you. Surviving is literally up to luck.
Where's
if you do
1-bit
anything
land?
otherwise, because I'll go
I
ahead and
agree.
say it, this game is borderline broken. Heck, they didn't even get the money system right. Okay, so
You
know
ever
how
seen
despite
that
when you
one
die in
clip from
Mario, you keep all the
AVGN
coins you
where he's
collect?
like,
But when you die in this
64
8-bit land,
bits,
you lose all the money you got since the
32
previous
bits.
checkpoint. Now I know you can cheat this to your advantage if you have
It's a
like
classic.
$90-something
You gotta watch
and
his
get extra
Tiger
lives every
Electronics
time you
video.
die, but when I die in a game, which by the way is going to happen here a lot, I'd kind of like to feel like I'm accomplishing something. But hey, I have to give credit where credit's due. Most of these enemies
It's
are straight
like
from the show.
pre-dab.
There's collectible VHS tapes in each level, which unlocks some nice extras like concept art. And the power-up in the game is straight from the Death Kwon-Do episode. Balrog, we can't show that one due to copyright. No!
That was horribly shopped.
Toilet again.
I just realized I was wearing the hoodie that I wore in BGRA right there.
Generic and their attack patterns are so boring that you
What?
don't even care. They're just kind of there, I guess? I don't know. I feel like you're just better watching the show.
That was a lot.
This was only the first world. We still have 3 more to go, each with their own specific problems, so... So, after you beat the Destroyer of Worlds at the end of World 1, you unlock a
I
power-up
remember
that turns
doing that
Mordecai
on purpose.
into a spaceship?
Like, I could have shopped it behind the wall, but I just decided not to and leave it as is.
And a spaceship. What? You know, despite this never ever happening in the show, I guess this does look kind of cool. But the execution, it's terrible. Oh god, it's so terrible. You know what I think of when I think
I'm
of
a
a
ghost,
shoot 'em up?
yeah.
I think of Gradius. I think of
Why do you think I live in
You
an
know, the
endless
open
void
space and
behind
waves of
me?
enemies trying to shoot you down. But in this game, the levels are designed the same
I'm
size as
in
the
limbo
platform
watching my
levels.
old
So guess
videos
what?
for all
They're cramped.
eternity.
And as a result, hitting these enemies feels like a chore since the passageways are so narrow that these guys just take up all the space.
Yeah,
And on
this
top
part
that,
of the
this
game
expects you to
sucks.
switch between regular and spaceship Mordecai on the fly. Which
Like,
means
I
if
get
you
what
don't
they were
turn back when
going
you're
for,
directly
but,
on
like,
top of the spaceship area, you're dead.
even
It's pretty bad
conceptually, this
design,
is a
but
load
once
of
again, thanks to
garbage.
the one-hit kill without a power-up, it's terrible. This is probably the first time I've ever seen anyone mess up the fundamentals of a space shooter. And
Yeah,
they've been doing
see?
it right since 1978.
Even old me agrees.
So anyway, World 3. This time Rigby gets a transformation, and it's a top-down shooter where you get an Uzi? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now this I can actually dig, since the Uzi is from the show, and enemies such as the Blonde Man and Summertime Song are here as well. But these segments are still poorly made. The problem isn't the controls or anything. Those are actually decent here since the game actually gives you leeway on how you can shoot. It's the enemy.
Is that how you say
it's
it?
so bad. They always shoot in the same direction, so it's not hard to kill
It's
them
very
until the
weird
game
hearing
designer
me
was
say
like, "Shoot,
that."
this is too easy. Let's put them in really cheap spots. Yeah, right behind that wall. Yep, that should be good. It gets ridiculous, and there's actually spots where the enemies will trap you without any way to attack them.
I can't get over
At
this
least the boss fight
perspective.
against
It's
the hammer
so
is really
strange.
cool. It's one of the few things I've really enjoyed in this game so far. But the final world, World 4, it really hurt me
It's
to write
pronounced
about it. It's such a
Yuze.
cool concept that combines platforming, space shooting, and top-down
I
shooting in
see.
one huge level, but it also combines everything I hate about the game in one package. Once again, the enemy placement is bad.
Oh,
The
I
level design is
hated
bad,
these
and you have to
levels
switch
so
between the
much.
three
I
forms
still
more
have
than
the
ever
game.
here. And the final
I
boss,
still own
Garrett
it.
Bobby Ferguson Jr., yes, that's his real name, is broken beyond belief.
Good
He's
old
actually
Billy
a parody of
Mitchell.
Billy Mitchell, the former world record holder of Donkey Kong. Except, you know, he's completely dead and has legs coming out of his beard.
What a great guy!
I honestly don't think they tested this boss before the game shipped. The hitboxes are, once again, wrong on this dude's head, and believe it or not, his attack pattern actually
Good old
wasn't coded
cheater.
properly, and as a result, my game crashed. 3 times. This is one of the first times a 3DS game has ever crashed on me, and it's infuriating since this dude has several forms. He then calls upon his father, Garrett Bobby Ferguson, in the second half of the fight. You stomp and shoot him a few times, and it's over.
Billy
The
Mitchell
ending
actually
cutscene is
sued
soulless,
Cartoon Network for
unfunny,
that
and
episode? Are you
abrupt. It definitely
serious?
was not worth the trouble I went through to see it.
That's
at all.
hilarious.
So despite all the bad things
That's
I
like
said about
public
it, is the
domain
game at least
knowledge,
worth
like,
getting
what
for
the
regular
hell?
show fans? Well, let's get straight to the review and find out.
Well, I'm glad it completely blew up in his face. Just like his whole career!
First up is fun, and well, I had almost no fun with this game. Besides,
Yo,
core
if
levels are
a
bland,
show ever
boring, and small
references me,
passive
I'm gonna
freebies
sue
as
them.
fun as completing a kid's maze book. The shooter levels
If
are
I see a
cramped, bland, and
BNGR
the enemies are
reference
way
in
too
my
big in
children's
scale.
cartoon
The top-down
show,
segments are a little
that's
better with
it.
good control, but
Finish.
the enemy placement is cheap and the AI is horrible. And when they all come together, it's a lot weaker than the sum of its parts. The game
Yeah,
does
that's
include
fair.
a lot of nods of the show with enemy design, power-ups,
That
and
snail
boss
looks
fights,
like
but the execution
garbage.
is so poor that these
Like,
games
that is
wear
really
off within
bad.
minutes. Almost all the main characters are missing, and there isn't enough content for even the most hardcore fans of the show.
If you
And
make
that's
a show
another
you
thing,
promise
whether
to
you're a
have
fan
an
or not, this
obscure
game gives
reference
no
to
context on the
BGR,
show whatsoever.
thank you.
Sure, you may recognize a character,
I
or two, but
appreciate
there's
it.
no storyline explaining why they're even there. And on top of that, the enemies' names are never mentioned.
Was Billy
not
ever
even in the
confirmed if he
manual.
cheated or
So
not?
anyone
There
who's
was
never
pretty
watched regular
good
show will give
evidence that
0
he
X.
did,
So
but
because
he
of that,
denies
the only
it
audience this game could
wholeheartedly.
cater to is retro game fans, but even then,
But
you have
honestly,
your derivative and
it doesn't
awfully
really
designed
matter
2D
because he's
platform.
not the
And to add
record
insult to
holder
injury,
anymore.
It's hard. It's
So,
really,
whatever.
really hard. And unlike other retro games, when you mess
Yeah, he
up,
still
it's
denies.
usually
Of
the
course
game
he's gonna
being
deny
cheap,
it.
not your amount of skill. Something these retro games should be known for.
Even
So
if
I hope
even
you
if they like
crawling through the same
they
level
found
10
a
to 20
video of
times
him
until you
saying
get
I
lucky.
cheated,
So
he
despite
still
the
will
game's
not
attempts at
admit
fan
it.
service and innovative design,
That's just
it's
the kind
still
of
getting an
stuck
X
up
from
man
me.
he is.
Second up is looks, and despite not being 8-bit, it seems alright at first. You got clean
Ugh.
backgrounds, some well-animated sprites, lots of
You're
mazes.
surprised I gave this game meh?
However, the game's
Yeah,
story revolves in
honestly, I
solid
think
bright
I was a little
colors
too
and
nice to
similar
this
backgrounds.
game.
Wait, is that the same
really
background
not
as the
good.
title screen? Oh, wow. Wow. During the
I
fact that
think-
the 3D is actually layered incorrectly, which is an even bigger
The
problem
thing is,
since you
I've seen
change
this game
perspective
goes for like
constantly,
$2-3
and you
bucks
literally just
now.
have a brown mess.
You know what I mean?
Check minus.
So I think
Third
it'd be a
up is
lot
sound, which is
easier
by
on it
far
if
the
it was
best
that
part of the
cheap
game. As
to
I said
begin
before,
with.
Jake Coffin was in charge of
I saw
game's
this at
soundtrack,
Five
and it
Below
sounds
the other day.
amazing, and it was usually the only thing keeping me playing.
But I
Depending on
paid,
what
I think,
segment of the
$30
level
bucks
you're
for
on, the
this,
music will even
so I
change
was
to
a
sound
little-
more
I was a little
space-like or
pissed
gritty for
off.
the top-down segments. And despite the lack of tracks, what we got here was really good. And they did the ooh thing, the thing that they do.
Woo!
You know?
Check.
And fourth up is length. Now this is where I'm going to bash the game hard.
They
For
referenced
$30,
this
you're
game
getting a
being
subpar
bad in the
platforming
show.
experience that you can 100%
When?
in under
I had
3
no
hours.
idea.
You heard me right. There are only 16 levels in the entire game and 4 boss fights at the same price as New Super Mario Bros. 2, which has over 80.
So it was 40
This
when
is
it
one of
came
the
out.
biggest
So I
rip-offs
spent
I've
40
ever
bucks
played.
on this.
One of. Yes, there are extra collectibles
Yikes.
you can unlock, but hey, you know what? Let's talk about those for a second, shall we? Almost
Ugh.
all the concept art you unlock in
this
this
hurt.
game was never used. That's right, you have drawings of what would have made for great levels, but
Yup.
instead they slapped this game together. To me, it not only makes it
Pain.
absolutely clear that this game was rushed,
Suffering.
but also serves as a huge smack to the face for the
I
player,
wanted
showing
this.
them what game they could have gotten if WayForward tried harder. So in total, for $30, you get
That's
20
the
short
thing, like,
levels,
it could have
48
been-
VHSs to collect,
this could have
music
been
player,
one part of
keys
the
and
game, you know
concept
what I
art,
mean?
And a new game plus with more enemies and a time
Bah.
limit, which really isn't worth playing through again and only adds about an hour or two to playtime. At full price, it is a scam. X. In conclusion, regular show Mordecai and Rigby
You have
in
been in
8-bit land
prison
is a
for the
very
past
poorly
5
executed
years and just
platform.
got out. I
The basis
remember
for
your
the
old
ideas are all
videos.
here,
When
but
did you
in the
review
end, there's almost
Pokemon
no
X and
content,
Y?
What's there feels like a polished alpha version of a game.
Oh,
If a lot more
about
of the
that.
WayForward magic went into this concept, which they've done in several other 3DS games, we could have had a real winner here. But with the same number of
Did I ever
levels of
review
Mighty
New
Switch
Super Mario
Force,
Bros.
a
2?
game
I
that they
think I
have on the
did.
eShop that is
A long
$6,
time ago.
No one should ever pay that
Like
much for
before
this game. If you're a
BNGR, like
really
the real
hardcore regular show
BNGR.
fan, and you can find this game
The
under,
old
say,
BNGR when I
$10,
was like
and this game
not
gets a
knowing
check
what I'm
minus from
doing.
me. Otherwise, it is definitely an X. So you remember that lesson I said I learned? Well, I think it's
Yeah.
that even though a game can remind us of our past,
Good
and
old
bring back the
Nidhogg.
nostalgia we had playing these retro games, we have to learn to look past the facade and remember why we liked these games in the first place.
Yeah,
It wasn't just
you
about the
tell 'em,
visuals
B.
or the difficulty. It was about that pure and simple fun you had playing the game and playing it over and over
Your
again
haircut
until
is
you got
horrendous.
Really freaking good at it.
I'm going to
And
shave
that is
your
why
head.
I personally believe that retro games
Why
are
did
so
you think
awesome
that was
bad today.
okay?
So, I guess there's only one way to deal with this game.
You
It's
look
little
like a
lesson I learned
me.
from the show called The Death Dump, so if you'll excuse me.
The death dump.
Mario, what did you do here? Oh, no!
All right. What's next? Mega Man 9. Classics. It's just classic after classic.
Wario, we've reviewed one good game this season. Just one. I'm tired of going through some crazy rant explaining why a game's good or bad. So today, I'm one step ahead of you. You see, Wario, I've been training for months for my next review. I've been doing the same levels over and over again so I can play one of my favorite platformers of all time. Wait a second. Wario, Have you been playing my games again? No, you didn't delete my save file, did you? No. No. No!
Why I oughta? Why I oughta?
Mario, no! How did you do this? The game is done! It was done! How do you even move?
Oh, this is good. This is a good start. Yoshi is better than Wario. Fight me. Fight me.
BNGR.
You said that in his presence.
So to continue where I left off in Mega Man 8, I'm a huge fan of the original Mega Man series.
A good old
Yes, they follow
hard
the same old
man.
formula. Yes, despite the console transitions, the gameplay barely changed. And yes, the FMV cutscenes were,
Mega Man, hurry! You must come with me!
We find that meteor, we'll
We'll
find
find
Dr.
Dr.
Wily.
Wily.
But there was something about them, something about
Very
their simple yet
upsetty in
challenging
that
design
picture
that kept
there.
me playing these games for all those years. And from someone with as little patience as me, that is quite the
So
accomplishment.
looking back,
But then something I like to call the Mega Man effect happened.
do you
Before
think
the days where Guitar Hero, Call of Duty,
do you think
and
the
DDR were
turtleneck
beating
was
their series to
iconic,
death, Mega Man
or
was
was
the
it an
king of
embarrassment
games and
to
spin-offs.
mankind?
I couldn't even keep track of them.
There's only one
where
or
Mega Man
the
X,
other.
Mega Man 0 and Mega Man Battle Network were all ongoing series, and then had the audacity
Iconic.
to release X7 and 02 on the same
You
day.
unironically
And I still
like the
remember reading about
turtleneck?
these Mega Man games in
My
books and
man.
magazines, yet I definitely made the wrong decision. Wow, this game sucks. And to make matters worse, most of them had the same problems the original series had. They'll take the same
Iconically
formula as the first game, put an extra
embarrassing.
piece or two, slap a new storyline on what is essentially a level pack, and then sell the
Crimes
thing
can
for full
never be
price.
forgiven.
And on top of that, every time they
Yeah.
strayed from this, it made the game a lot worse. Imagine Call of Duty, except 3 or 4
I
of them
can't
would come
pull the
out per
turtleneck
year
today.
on
It was
different
only
systems.
then.
For hardcore fans like
Hell
me, it
no.
was really, really frustrating. But after nearly a decade, around 2008, some gamers felt like Capcom was losing their focus. With
Yeah.
the exception of Mega Man and Bass, or Fish, or Guitar, I don't even care. Capcom
Wow.
only used the original series
Huh.
and compilations. But instead of just making another Mega Man
This
game
is
with
just
better
lame
graphics,
dad jokes,
Capcom made
the
weird decision
series.
to go back to the franchise's roots. Like, literally 20 years before, and essentially make a sequel to Mega Man 2? But
Yeah.
despite this, its name was still Mega Man 9, and it was eventually and strangely considered one of the best platformers ever made.
Yeah.
But how is that possible exactly? I mean, when you sit down and think about it, it sounds like the game took too many steps back. You can't charge your
True.
Mega Buster anymore, the graphics look like they're straight out of an NES, and for crying out loud,
People
Mega
were
Man can't even
pissed
slide. I mean, how
when
does
they
someone
did
even
this.
forget how to do that?
They were so
Is
mad.
he old? Is he rusty?
You like my old mic
For a
over
game
there
with
before I had a
9 in the
Blue
title,
Yeti?
It sure does act like 3 to 8 never existed. But you see, this
Oh,
is
man,
also
yeah,
why
that
the
thing
game
was
is
a
so
pile of
critically
poop.
acclaimed. By stripping everything that was
I
added
forget
over
what
the
it was
years,
called.
Capcom was able
That's
to
how
focus
bad
on
it
what made
was.
Mega Man 2, and perhaps the entire series so popular. Simplicity.
You see
So
the
without
hoe and
further
tears
ado,
in the
it's time to see what
background?
this game
Hell
is
yeah.
all about.
Wow, look.
Alright, so the plot here is as simple as ever.
What was in
Dr.
my
Light's robot
eyes
suddenly
there?
go on the fritz, and a false tape saying Dr. Wily's changed his ways to a fake Dr. Light who wants world domination goes public.
Oh,
and everyone
man.
seems
Oh,
to believe
no.
it, despite him, I don't know, building a robot that saved the world 9 times? So now Mega Man has to stop these 8 robots,
Yeah, you do
prove
it,
Dr.
Mega
Light's
Man.
innocence, and kick the living crap out of Wily in 5 more stages. It's simple, it's non-intrusive, and it's actually kind of thought-provoking. Dr.
Agreed.
Light's robots were past their expiration date, and they knew they were going to be recycled, but Dr. Wily gave them a new purpose by trying to reprogram them.
Yeah, I do
Was
like
this
the
whole
plot of
process
this game,
recycling
actually.
Wrong? It's really up for the player to decide.
It was
You know,
pretty- it
some
was a good
people who
idea.
actually care about the plot. Now, as for the gameplay, it's almost identical to Mega
What
Man
was
2.
with that low
The second you start up the game, you literally
potato
just have 8
quality
robot masters given to you.
transparent image
No
of me?
intro stage, no intermission stage, no montage of Mega Man screaming, just
Hey.
these stages with a couple short cutscenes thrown in. Once again, simplicity works in the game's favor. But of course, the game wouldn't be fun if these levels weren't actually good. I mean,
Yo,
a lot
these
of people used to
levels
complain about bland
are
robot masters like
death-defying.
Toadman or Dive Man or
Like going back and
Charge
playing
Man.
this now. Oh my god.
It never gets old. But Mega Man 9 brings so many awesome dudes
What was that?
and Gal to the table. Galaxy Man with his warp gate things, Tornado Man spinning platforms, Jewel
Yeah,
Man
that was
spike
my
traps.
roommate.
They're bound to stress you out for all the right reasons. And the best part about them is how they're crafted.
Yeah,
for
Jewel
new
Man
and
stage
old
can
players.
die.
For instance, in Galaxy Man stage, there's these crane dudes that fall from the sky and send you dragging across the screen.
This brings me
There's
back.
usually spikes ahead, so without prior notice, you can guess what happens.
Yeah.
So most
Yeah, that
people
was
will just try
dumb.
to avoid them. However, if you're a speedrunner trying to get the best
Did
time,
I review
you can
Mighty
use
Number
these to your
9?
advantage
No.
and shave a few seconds off your
I
run.
streamed it a
It's little
lot.
things like this
I'm
that make
going
you
to
wanna
do a
keep playing,
video.
so you can eventually get to that
I guess I
level
can
of
tell you
skill.
guys this.
But
I'm
don't think
working
for a
on
second that you're alone in this endeavor.
Mighty
Your
Number
robot
9
sister,
versus
Roll, is
Mega
also
Man
running a
11
shop that uses
video
screws as a currency, very
some
similar to
point.
the system used in Mega Man 8.
I don't think I told
you
you
can
guys
get items
that.
that save you from
But
falls.
yeah, I
You
am
can buy
working on
M-tanks,
it.
which
I had
replenish
a
all
full
your
script
required
done for
powers
Mighty
and
Number
health
9,
bar.
but
There's
since
even ones
Mega
that
Man
let
11
you
is out,
take your helmet off.
I figured just
don't
mushed
buy the
them
roll one
together.
unless you want to change all 8 pixels of her outfit.
Yeah.
But hairstyles aside, this shop is
That's
really,
gonna be a
really
thing.
handy since you'll usually have enough for an E-tank or 2 after you get a game over.
And there
That
might
makes
be
the
a
game feel
character
somewhat
coming
fair
back
because,
for it.
well, no!
Cool.
Are you kidding me right now?
Oh, this
This game
hurts.
is tough as nails! Despite Mega Man 2 being one of the easier games in the series, Mega Man 9 is easily the hardest. You'll die and die and die in a level until you know the ins and outs of it. In fact, as
God,
good
I
as this
hate
game
that
is,
one
I
screen.
consider
The
it a
screen where you
fault in the
fall
game's
and
level
there's the
design.
4 spikes in the middle.
Now hear me out
I
here.
hate
I'm not
that.
criticizing the game because it's hard or that I'm a wimp or that I have the reflexes of a sloth. The problem here is that it's straight up unfair. Unlike other Mega Man games that'll show you obstacles in a
Yeah,
simple
that
environment
one made
and
me
then throw a bunch of
specifically
curveballs at
angry.
you, the game likes to teach its player its rules through death. And with only 3 lives, that's just not fair, and it's not what Mega Man is about
Big
at all.
agree.
But luckily, this is just a minor fault and only happens a few times throughout the game.
Just a few times.
Another problem I came across is the game's
Yeah.
achievement system.
Did you forget
Don't
about
get
the
me wrong,
Wily
it's a great idea
stages?
since it
It happens a
rewards
lot
players for
there.
improving, but come on. Beat the game without getting damaged? Beat the game 30 times?
A
Beat the
few
game 5 times in
A
one
few
day?
times.
That's not happening, man. However, with that being said, a lot of these can be really fun to complete and make you approach the game with
I like
a totally
that
different mindset.
stage.
For
I like
instance,
that stage.
Conservationist makes you complete the game with as little weapon energy as possible. This translates to never using weapons in the first 8 stages, and then using them once or twice in the Wily stages. And trust me, getting through the game with the Mega Buster alone is brutal.
Yeah,
Another one
freaking
called
hated
Bust
that.
a Move forces you to never miss with the Mega Buster. With playthroughs like these,
Darn
actually
you
supposed
for
to
making
go
me-
out of the normal
I
boss
almost
order.
made
Since
myself
certain enemy
choke
powers are weak
on
against
water.
others, and instead go for Splash Woman
That-
first. From there, you can use
That
the
would be
laser
a way
trident
to
your heart's
go.
content, and instead, this
I
playthrough is
choked
about
from
saving your
laughing at
ammo.
myself.
As I said earlier, the level design is so versatile that these kinds of playthroughs are actually really fun. The only other thing that bothers me about
Bubble
achievements
Bobble
is that
needs
you
a
can complete
reboot.
them in
I
very
agree.
cheap ways. For instance,
The
one of
WiiWare
them
game
lets
is
you
okay.
defeat all 8
That's how
robot
I
masters
played
with
it.
the Mega Buster, so from that, players
Bubble
would assume
Bobble
they'd have to go through
Revolution.
all 8 stages to do so. However,
fun.
if you go to the final Wily stage, you can just beat them all in a singular room and it counts the same.
Whoa.
So why couldn't the game be more specific with the hints? But once again, this is a minor
What is
fault
with
in
me
game
in the
and barely
text?
affected my enjoyment out of it.
Alright, so
I
we all know
keep
Mega
putting,
Man 9's a
like,
fantastic
long
game and all,
text
but how
for
does it
1
stack up to
second?
the rest of the series, especially Mega Man 2? Well, let's get straight to the review and find out.
Marker time! What's with the chill music? I like it.
First up
IS
is fun.
Mega
This
Man
game is an
2
absolute blast to play.
Yo,
It's
Mega Man
difficult,
2
it's
is
going
so
to make you
good.
extremely upset, but
Where's-
beating levels in
oh.
this game is one of the most satisfying feelings you will ever get from a platformer. And on top of that, mastering the game and beating it in different ways.
I
through
think I put
challenges
that
just
there
makes it
because
even
back
more
then the
fun.
whole thing
Mega
was
Man
like
9 is
Final
an extremely
Fantasy
polished
13
game that'll
2.
remind you why you love the
and everyone
series in
was
the first
making fun
place.
of it.
Unfortunately, there are a few cheap deaths when
This
you
is
play
like
the
a
game for the
time
first
capsule,
time, and some of
man.
Mega Man's power-ups are ripped straight from other games like Jewel Satellite.
Good old Mega Man 22. They did it.
But overall, these are just small blemishes on what is a great game. Check. Second up is looks, and, well, they're retro alright. The backgrounds and enemies are brimming with imagination.
Wow.
The bosses are huge and full of detail.
I'm
and the
so good at
developers even put
scripting.
sprite flickering
They're
as a feature to
retro.
copy the NES's limitations.
No
But
shit!
since these graphics are intentionally flawed, and, you know, the fact it's supposed to look like it's running on 30-year-old hardware, I'm not going to give a score for looks. Third up is
Not
sound.
gonna give a
Oh, man,
score?
forgive me for sounding like a broken record here, but this is one of my favorite chiptune albums in video game
You
history.
big
The
dummy!
electric instruments, a Plugman's theme, the
That doesn't-
fast-paced space-like theme for Galaxy Man, the epic build-up of Wily's stage themes. There isn't a
doesn't,
single
like,
track on this album I don't love.
make
I'd
it
even go
not
as far to say
count
it's the
as
best soundtrack in
graphics
the original Mega Man
because they're
series.
retro.
Except maybe 10. 10's pretty good.
You
Check
big
plus.
dummy.
Last up is length, and it's really hard to put a grade on this one since it depends
There are
on your
no
dedication to it. If you
graphics.
plan on just beating it once, it'll probably
Nope,
take you
they
about
don't
3 to 4 hours
exist.
depending on how much you suck at it. If you plan on getting all the achievements though, this game could easily last you
Not
over
gonna
50
review
hours.
this part of the
actual
game
may
in
only
this
be about
review
40
of the
minutes once you're really
game.
good at it, but thanks to its huge diversity, you really won't mind and you'll feel motivated to master it. Along with this, there's also DLC that you can buy for
Wow,
the
I
game.
really
You can
nailed
buy 2
that.
extra difficulties, which rearrange enemies.
Oh, look
and
at
be a
the Wii
much bigger
shop.
pain in the butt. You can buy Proto Man, which takes double the damage.
Look
Mega
at all
Man
these
takes, but
things you can
slide and
totally
uses
buy
Proto Shield.
still.
There's an extra special stage, which is practically a boss rush with all the non-robot
This all
master
comes in the
bosses,
Mega Man
and fighting
Legacy
the big cop
Collection,
that abducted
if you're
Dr. Light
curious.
at the end of the stage. But the most noteworthy is an endless
Wii
attack mode, which
points.
consists of 34 mini stages and a boss fight every 30 stages.
If you
These
remember
stages are
Wii
randomized and will
points,
obviously
you're
repeat a
eligible
lot, but
for
after every
a
30 rooms, you take more damage
what's the
from enemies,
meme?
which turns it into this really
For a
crazy
veteran's
endurance run.
discount
I'm
or
honestly
something.
surprised Capcom didn't make this a standalone mobile game, since it seemed perfect for on-the-go sessions. You know, instead of this one.
Good old gamers.
Altogether, this DLC will cost you $8, making the full game $18. And honestly, I think it's worth it for all the content you're getting. Also, a quick note, there are time trials for this game,
that
but I didn't
Blitz
mention
in
it
the
because
chat?
online
Hey!
leaderboards are gone for the Wii and
Thank you for
DS with the whole
coming.
server
I missed
shutdown
you.
thing. Kinda sad, but I'm sure people still post records online.
Quick note
with all
within
that
a
said and
note,
done,
this
and
is
despite
only
some
for the
really
Wii
stupid
version.
achievements, Length still gets a check plus.
Are the 360
In
PS3
conclusion, Mega Man
leaderboards
9
still
is a
up?
prime example of why the
I don't
series is
remember.
so popular. It has the charm, the challenge, the aesthetics, and most importantly,
are.
the amount of
Okay.
content to bring this series into this day and
Wow,
age.
topical
Instead of trying to hold
notes.
its own against new technology, Mega Man 9 embraces the past and shows a new generation what the original Blue Bomber was capable of. Not this one, this one. And
Yes, there
especially
is a
not this one. I
Discord
don't
now.
like you at all, mister.
So I'll
Sure,
put
game
the
may
link to
have
the
its flaws,
Discord
some
in
of them
the
done
chat.
intentionally, but don't let that stop you from experiencing one of the most satisfying, unforgiving,
Thank
and
you.
at least in my opinion, the best Mega Man game in the original series. Its sequel, Mega Man 10, did improve on a few
yes,
things,
good
such
old
as
Mega
easy
Man
mode,
X.
88 challenge stages to complete, and playing as this guy. I'm not even gonna guess which pronunciation is right. But despite more features, I still think 9 is more fun. Even if someone deletes your save file, you can still play the game again and have yourself a good time. So
Dick.
all in all, this game gets a check plus from me. You know, I really
Can't
miss
believe
Mega
this
Man. 9 and
stuffed
10 were pretty much the
plushie
last games of the
deleted my
series after
save
Mega
file.
Man Universe was cancelled, Legends 3 was cancelled, an MMO was cancelled, a gritty
Yeah, what
FPS
the heck,
version by
man?
the creators of Metroid Prime was cancelled, and after that, Capcom
Yeah.
spit in the face of fans everywhere. We
Yeah.
got this really crappy iOS game, a stupid art book for its 25th anniversary.
Yeah, that was
and
disappointing.
This monstrosity in Street Fighter X Tekken. I personally think it's safe to say that Capcom is more than done with their Blue Bomber as we know it.
Hard
You know
agree.
what? That's okay. The creators of these games, Intel Creates, are currently working on spiritual
Oh,
successors to
no!
Mega Man ZX in the form of Mighty Number 9 and Azure Striker.
Oh,
Gunvolt. So
no!
personally, I don't even care what happens in Mega Man now. We are set to
No,
go.
we're not!
Yeah.
No, we're not!
You know,
Oh,
Wario,
God!
You like miserable every time I review a game. Sometimes things can go smoothly, you know?
That
Sometimes I just
aged
wish you were
so
gone
bad!
Forever.
That is the worst age thing
Wait,
I've
Mario,
ever
where'd you
seen
go?
in my life.
What's this?
We're
Mega
set.
Buster?
We have Mighty Number 9. We're
Mega
set.
Buster USB. What is all this stuff? Mega Man art, gameplay. Wait, Wario, how'd you get in there? How in the... Wait a second. Ransom. You
Ransom.
seem to have forgotten
X and
some
Y
Mega Man.
background.
Balrog, I have kidnapped your precious Wario until you review what special game you missed. Your forgotten enemy, Sunstar. What could I be forgetting? But wait, why would I even want to save him? He just ruins my show. So
Yeah,
nice try,
agreed. You
Sunstar.
just ruined my
can
show,
stay in that
Wario.
USB for like forever. Stupid plot devices.
I agree. Even back then, I'm like, why did I make a plot? My man. Being a bro as usual. Later, bros. Ooh.
Alright, so it's no secret that the Wii U
Can we
was
get
in
an
pretty big
X and
trouble.
Y
Very
review?
poor sales, weak hardware compared to the
No.
PS4 and Xbox Phone Connect thing #1, and major third-party developers
Oh, that
all but
aged
jumping
really
ship.
well.
Though that's kind of their fault for releasing shoddy last-gen ports thinking they'd sell, but that's a
Yeah.
whole other argument. Eventually, the only thing keeping this console afloat was the constant wave of indie titles and a handful of awesome platformers and action games.
It's
But
true.
with Nintendo in their third straight year of loss, the company did what seemed to be a last-ditch effort for moving sales, advertising the living hell out of one of their biggest series,
Mario
Kart 8,
Kart
to the point where
8.
they actually just gave you a free game with it. In fact, Nintendo was so
Oh,
confident
man, I
that Mario
forgot
Kart 8
about
would save
that.
the Wii
They
U that they planned
really
a year-long
banked on
campaign for the
this.
game. TV commercials, a built-in highlight reel editor for YouTube, a bundle that comes with a strategy
Yeah,
guide
the
and
Wii
wheels.
U was
it's
a
nuts.
bad
So
time
now
to
that
be a
gamers have their
fan.
hands on it, it's time to
Yeah,
show you
great
how Mario
games,
Kart
but
8
I mean-
single-handedly jump-started the Wii U. Well, maybe
If you
not
had a Wii U,
single-handed, 'cause
everyone just
you
thought
should
you
have
had a
both hands
Wii.
on the wheel at all times.
No, I made myself uncomfortable there. I didn't even know that was possible. Go me. You're mad at people who didn't buy the Wii U? Well, it's Nintendo's fault for advertising it like a stupid thing.
Now, if there was ever
What is a
Nintendo
Wii
series
U?
to be consistently
What
good
even
where
is
you
a
barely
Wii
had
U?
to change anything and still receive critical acclaim, it's definitely the Mario Kart series. And you know what? That's not a bad thing at all.
I love Mario
Kart
Kart.
64 had 3D racing, Double Dash and 2-player
Mario
carts,
Kart.
DS had retro tracks and online
Pac-Man
play.
is later.
We had, 7 brought underwater and gliding segments. I mean, you know I'm generalizing here, but each installment builds on the foundation for the next one, and it works, so it prints a lot of money, okay? In fact,
I gotta
back
bring
in
back
2012,
these
the
like
3DS was also
beginning
hurting with
talks.
price drops and ambassador
These are
programs.
great.
Nothing to play but Pilot Wings and some stupid submarine simulator.
I remember
But then
not
with the
doing
double
them as
punch of
much
Mario
anymore
3D
because
Land
they
and
take a
Mario Kart
long
7,
time to
the
edit.
3DS soared in sales.
But I should do it
and
again.
now everyone loves the darn thing. However, this whole 3DS comeback ironically left the Wii U in
It
the
was
dust, too.
it was the
While people
most
thought huge games like
time-consuming
3D
thing of
World or
editing.
Donkey Kong would save it, it's been a very different story for Nintendo's first HD console. Sites constantly came up with doom and gloom articles for the company.
Oh, they still
Unfortunately,
do.
The Wii U was just having a very negative
They
response.
still do.
And then Mario Kart 8 came out and was so successful that it sold 1.2 million units in 3 days, hardware sales went up by over 400%, and I'm pretty sure Iwata and Reggie had many heart attacks. And this was without the tons of Wii U games shown at Nintendo's 2014 digital event, so
Remember
good job,
when 1.3
Nintendo.
million sales was great for Nintendo?
So with all that said, let's get
Smash
straight into the
Ultimate
game and
sold
see what
like
makes
6
Mario Kart
million
8
in
so
3
special.
days.
And by the way, for reference, I will be using a pink Wii remote with a Wii wheel.
Oh,
so
man.
I'll let you get your judging out of the way
Oh
right
man.
now. Okay, cool. Okay, so when you turn on the game, you're greeted with a very simple menu, which allows you to do single player, multiplayer, or online
Single
modes.
player,
But to start things off, let's talk
multiplayer.
about single player. Now, the content in here is almost identical to
The
previous
Wii U
installments.
still take.
First
Yeah,
up is the
here I
Grand
am
Prix,
being
where you can tackle
optimistic
8
about
different
the
cups with
Wii
4
U,
tracks
and the
each,
Wii
so
U
that's
just
16 new tracks
died
and
a
16
terrible
retro
death.
tracks. Every time you complete a cup, the
Whoops.
coins you collect in courses, which are also used to increase your top speed in-game, are added to your overall total. The more coins you get, the more car parts you can customize with.
Look,
and so
it's my
forth.
girl
You get the idea.
Rosalina and Luma.
Along with this, when you get first place in a cup, you usually unlock a random character.
It's me!
And if you're really good, depending on how many points you get, you can get up to 3 stars in each cup. But hold on, since this is really where
It's
the game starts to
finally
switch
good. It
things
has
up.
Amiibo
You see, in
Festival.
previous
That's
Mario Kart
true.
games, the ranking
I'm
was way
really
more
glad
than
I
just
didn't
points.
say anything
You
about
couldn't fall
Amiibo
off the track,
Festival in
you
my
had to
old
stay in first
videos,
place
like
as much as
looking
you can,
forward to
and
it
heck,
at all.
even bumping into walls
That
is
would have been a
bad.
wreck.
In this game, as long as you get 60 points, you will automatically get 3 stars. Thank God. You don't know
Being
how frustrating it was
optimistic
to get
about
first
the
place
Wii
in
U
all
in
4 tracks in a cup, and then
2014.
you got a rank of
Oh,
2
no.
stars. Good
I
one,
still had
game.
some hope,
I'll
okay?
make you see 2 stars.
Thank you.
And on top of this improvement, if you complete a cup in, say, 100cc, your rank will be carried down to lower CCs, which means say goodbye to the days where you had to blast through
That was
50cc while
good.
just messing around the whole time.
That was a
Nintendo
good
really tried
quality
to
of
cater to
life
all
improvement.
audiences
You like
this time,
Froakie?
and I love how they...
I think
handled
Froakie debuted here.
Speaking of audiences, another feature that hasn't been around since Mario Kart 64's return, 4-player Grand Prix.
Oh,
so following suit
yeah.
in Nintendo's Mario games, you can tackle this mode with a bunch of friends, and if they're new to Mario Kart, it
The
really makes 50cc
2014 will
100cc
lead. The
a lot
Wii U
more
is
fun.
saved. The
In fact,
classic
it's actually
Mario
encouraged
Party
since all the
formula
coins
is
other
back
players
in the
get are
form
added
of
to your
Animal
own bank
Crossing.
account, allowing you to unlock car parts a lot
Oh,
quicker.
that would be. I'm
Just
really
don't
glad I
expect
didn't
to get
say
3
that.
stars if you do that.
That
though.
would be the
To
end of
sum
my
up Grand
life.
Prix, it's a
right
lot
there.
smoother and a less tedious experience than previous entries, and feels more straightforward and balanced than ever. The gameplay also
man.
helps with this, but we'll get back to that later. Next up is Time Trials,
Remember
which is
Nintendo's
exactly what you
E3
expect. You race on
2016?
any of the Grand Prix courses with 3 mushrooms equipped,
That's a good
and you
one.
find shortcuts everywhere to get the fastest time. Also, just like the previous games, you can upload your
Bring
ghost data for
Froakie
others to
back.
race, and even compete against
He's on
ghosts
my
straight
shelf.
from Nintendo headquarters. It's really
He
addictive to
sits
learn new
next to this
strategies
guy,
from
I
the different
think.
ghosts, and see what percentile your record lands in. Minus the whole Miiverse thing, it's the same
No,
as 7,
man.
and it works well. Next
How
up is
can I
Versus
pee
Mode,
my
and,
pants
well,
without
you
my
can take a guess what
parents
it is.
knowing?
It's a completely
Is that what that
customizable
just
Grand
said?
Prix with item choices and CPU levels and all that good stuff.
Alright.
It's exactly like the online mode, but we'll get back to that in
Asking the
just a
true
second.
questions. Bring
But
back
first, it's time to talk
Miiverse.
about the big dud of this game. The one thing you didn't think Nintendo would possibly mess up. The gigantic stain on your favorite shirt. Battle mode. Okay, so remember previous Mario Kart
It
games,
just
there were
immediately
specific
goes
maps
to
catered
him.
this mode, like Skyscraper or the GameCube or Block Fort. You were always the favorite in my heart. But in this game, they
Yo,
took 8 of the
real
32
talk,
Grand
how can
Prix
I
tracks
pee
and just
without
slap
my
balloons on
parents
people.
knowing?
It's soulless, it's boring, and it's not even a fraction of the fun 7 was in this mode.
Anyone
And
know?
I really hope they fix this for DLC, as much as it pains me to say it. So anyway, since single player and multiplayer have the exact same modes, it's time to go over the meat of the game. Online play.
Oh boy.
Now Mario Kart's done a really good job with online since Wii and 7. They added
What's with the
communities where any group
chicken?
of people could just face off against each
What's
other.
with the
But online
chicken?
is usually pretty lag-free. People couldn't snake all over the place like in Mario Kart DS.
Oh, let's
And
go
adding
over the
keyboard
online
rating
play.
gives you a purpose to
Put
fight
some
strangers
meat
online.
to my
And
face.
luckily, Mario Kart 8 made it even better. Not only can you choose matches between regional or worldwide players now, but communities have been turned into tournaments, which give you a lot
The
more
meat
options.
of the
On top
game.
of item customization and
Oh.
all that good stuff, you can now set certain times when a tournament takes place. And
See,
to add to that,
I'd like
you
to
can set the
believe
amount
that
of
I
races they
didn't
can
say
do, so the
that,
playing field
and I
is
just
level
with no
for everyone.
context
Just like
whatsoever,
Grand
I
Prix,
just
it's much
put
more
meat
balanced,
on
and
my
the online
face.
play is nearly perfect with barely any lag.
Oh,
Nintendo
God.
did a fantastic job here. Now
Look
that we
at
got
old
all the
Erupti
racing modes
Poo
out of the
I'm
way, it's
fighting
time to talk
there.
about Nintendo's new money machine. I mean, highlight reel. Mario Kart TV.
You remember Mario Kart TV?
Alright, so the
I
first thing
remember.
veterans of the series would think is that it's like the Mario Kart channel, but that wouldn't make any sense since almost all of those features
Let's go over
like
the single
joining
player
tournaments or
mode. Puts
ghost
a
data are
vegetable
already
up
in
to
the
my
main game.
face.
No, Mario
I'll-
Kart TV is actually
I'll
where you can
do
save
it.
any of your races, watch them in slow motion or sped up, and then upload them to YouTube if they're a minute or less. And of course,
Is
make a
Mario
little money
Kart
for
TV
Nintendo
still
with
up?
their share of the revenue.
Is that still a
Because
thing?
that's a thing. Anyway, it's a wonderful way to get the Mario Kart name out there since there will be
Oh.
millions of these videos on YouTube.
It's gone?
But there's one little thing that bothers me
Damn.
about them. You see, at the end of the
Damn.
recorded race, it'll show you which player is which, right? Well, unfortunately,
Can't
there's no
believe it's
usernames on
gone.
the racers
I
during
missed
the
it
race.
so
without
much.
paying close attention, you're just gonna see a bunch of Nintendo characters chucking items at each other, not knowing which of your friends is getting wrecked. It's really hard to
Ooh.
make sense of anything that's
Wrecked.
going on. Not a big deal, but I see it as more of an interface issue. In fact, that's another small annoyance I have with the game. Its menu and interface. Everything
it's not
just put
too
in
good.
really poor spots. Want to change from tilt control to buttons? Well, go ahead. It's in the pause menu.
Yo,
Wanna go see
real
your total
talk,
point amount?
Deluxe was
Sorry, you
just
can't
as
do
bad,
that.
if
Are
not
you playing
worse
alone and
about
you want to switch from
this.
the gamepad to another controller? Well, you can go back to the main menu and do it, but if you're occupied in a race, you'll have to walk 30 feet away
What
from
is
your
that
Wii U
face?
until your gamepad is out of range, and then go back to your room and choosing your remote. It's a blast. Trust
Why did I go to my
the
mom's
biggest problem
room
I
and
have,
back?
however, is that the game doesn't tell you that your highest ranking in 100cc or 150cc is now passed down to lower
What?
CCs. So because of that, me and many other players wasted our day blazing through 50cc
Is
in
the
first
YouTube
place.
feature on
It's just
Deluxe?
a lot
I
of these
have
small
no
frustrations
idea.
that put
I
a
don't think
hamper
it
on your
is.
playing experience. Since this game
'Cause
really
there's,
could have
like-
used an options menu.
There's
for an
the
actual
screen
tutorial.
capture.
Okay, so enough about features. It's time to answer the big question.
Did your parents
Does
even
Mario
know
Kart
you were
8
making
play
these?
well,
Oh,
and
they
is it really
sure
the best
did.
game in the series?
They
Well,
sure
let's
did.
get straight to the review and find out.
Good old Mayo crap music. What the?
First up is fun, and well, what do you think?
Well,
It's
you-
Mario
you
Kart.
did it.
The
You
customizable
used tilt
cars,
controls.
the fantastic track design, the gliding,
Proud
the
of you.
water segments, the items. This game is a great
How
reminder
proud
of
were
what
they?
makes the series so much fun. And
They
in
think
the
I'm
tradition
funny.
of Mario Kart building on its foundation,
that's
anti-gravity
good.
has been added to the tracks, which changes the gameplay just
Oh,
enough
there's
that
my
it's
friend
integrated really
David.
well. You see, when you go into anti-gravity, the weight of your vehicle feels like it changes, and drifting and
Whoa.
maneuvering feels a lot more floaty. On top of that, hitting enemies is actually encouraged in this mode, since you get a speed boost whenever
Oh,
you crash
man,
into
I'm
other
using my
drivers or
boy
certain
Morton.
items on the track. And seeing this mechanic
Is
in
that-
new
that was
courses and
Morton,
older
right?
courses that we
That's
played
not
on for
Roy, right?
years is quite the treat.
I think
Not
it's
to mention the
Morton.
return of bikes makes it even
I
more
always mix
interesting,
them up.
since they're difficult to master even when
They're
you're
both
on
my
solid
boy.
ground. They're also different from the Wii version too, since wheelies
Hi,
are
I
gone
was
and
right.
instead
Okay.
got an upgrade to boosts, and they feel a lot more balanced.
Now we're
Once you get
talking.
a hang of them, they're much easier to control than
I'm
karts,
sorry, but
though
none
their
of them
drift
hold the
boosts do
candle
take
to
a
my
bit
boy
longer to
Boom
charge up.
Boom.
A couple other items
He's
have
the
also
real-
been added
he's
to
the
the
real
game, such as the
MVP
Piranha Plant,
from
which eats enemies
Mario.
while giving yourself a boost, the Boomerang, which you can throw at other enemies up
man.
to 3 times,
Very
and the
underrated
wonderful
character.
godsend that is the Super Horn, which allows you to destroy blue shells and anything else around you. It's
Oh
pretty
wow, I'm
much
so
the best
mad.
thing
I
ever.
didn't even talk about
Now,
it. I
one
just
item
put
a lot of
text.
people have been complaining about
That
in this game
upset.
is the coin item, which we haven't seen in over 10 years. When you're in first place, this item pops up a
Ooh.
lot, which kills your defenses from other items. And it's just frustrating since you'll probably have 10 coins already.
Pom Pom is also
However,
good.
despite these complaints, I
Yo, I
actually
hope-
see the item as a new layer
I
to
hope
the game's
Boom
strategy.
Boom is a
It's
DLC
easy to
character
any
for
good item
Smash.
You can avoid the dreaded coin.
People be
It
so
transforms
mad.
Mario Kart from a game of luck to a game
He
of
would be a
risk,
good
and
character,
I like
honestly.
it a lot more this way.
Because he has like
Throw
the
in a
wings,
fantastic online
and he
mode,
could
time
like
trials,
imagine
and a
his
much
down
improved
B is
Grand
like that
Prix.
spike
You've got a great
stone
party game
thing,
that will take
like
you a
Kirby
long time to get
does.
sick of.
Oh, that would be
It just
so
kinda sucks
cool.
about the battle mode being
He would be a
garbage and
great
those
character.
interface problems, though. Check.
Give me
Second
Boom
up is
Boom.
looks, and oh
Or
my goodness,
Spike.
where
I'll
to
take
even
Spike
begin?
also.
Mario Kart 8 is hands down the best looking game on Wii U, and perhaps the most beautiful Nintendo
Yo,
game
clip
to
this.
date.
We'll see
Everything
if he
moves at a
gets
solid
in.
60 frames per second with no slowdown. The backgrounds and players look like their own realistic
Boom
looking
Boom
world.
for
And
Smash.
even with 2 players, the game still runs at the same frame rate. Now with 3 or
I mean,
4
we got
players, the
Piranha
frame rate
Plant,
does go
so
down to
there-
30, but the
we got
funny
a
thing is that
shot
this review
here.
is running in 25 frames per second. So even the 4-player races run smoother than the footage I'm showing you. If you want a good idea of what this game actually looks like in motion, I've put a link in the description to show you an example. It looks so
Yeah.
good that it's beyond what I can actually put on YouTube. In all honesty,
Yeah, I don't think
Mario
60
Kart 8 is the
FPS was
first
a thing
Nintendo
when I
game where
made
I've
this
played it for an
video.
hour straight, and when I look away from the TV,
You couldn't
I
put
have to get
60
used to what
FPS
real life
videos.
looks like again. It's that good, folks. Check plus.
It
Turn
is a
up the
very
sound,
pretty
and
game.
Once again,
I'll
Nintendo
admit.
really outdid themselves here. You've been hearing
It
these
is
tracks
very
the
nice.
entire review, and they're fully orchestrated and they're freaking awesome. Even tracks from the Super Nintendo and
Boom
GBA
Boom
games
gets
have
him before
awesome remixes.
Waluigi. Oh,
Unfortunately,
now we're
the character
talking.
voices can get
No
kind of grating, as the
Waluigi.
usual for the
You
series.
don't get Waluigi, only him.
But the remixes here are so good that I
Oh.
still think it's enough to give it a check plus.
Oh.
Fourth up is length, and I feel like the game is just worth $60.
Do you like
Nothing
the
more.
checks?
You get 32 tracks.
They
about
just
40
get-
car
they
parts
just
to
get
unlock,
progressively
a bunch of
worse.
stickers to use, and of course, the
As the
30
series
character
goes
roster.
on.
Even though I don't agree with the character choices. I mean, was 5 baby characters and pink gold peach necessary? What the heck does
I
pink
think I
gold
got
mean?
rid of the checks
Each
in
character
later
has their own
series
personality, and I'm
because
sure everyone will find a favorite.
the bit got. I didn't know what else to do with the bit.
Not to
Is
mention
that
you get time
Fat
trials, the
Albert?
Grand Prix, the online mode, so we can all just kind of forget battle mode exists and throw it under the rug. It's not packed to the brim
Alright.
with content, but even for people who didn't get the free game, I still
Alright.
believe it's worth $60. Check. In conclusion, Mario Kart 8 is by far the best game.
Wait,
in
I
Mario Kart
killed the
series,
Wii
and
U.
arguably the best kart racer of
Oh,
all
you're
time.
right.
It's freaking gorgeous. The music is spot on. It has a ton of options for both
You're
local
right.
and online
Wait, can
play,
we go
and
back?
it's much more. For me, it's Morton. Not to mention you get time trials, the Grand Prix, the online mode. So we
Yeah,
can
that's
all
it.
just kind
I
of forget
killed the
battle
Wii
mode
U,
exists.
guys.
It's
I
spot
did it.
on. It has a ton
That
of
was
options for
me.
both local and online play, and is much
Reggie
more
had
balanced
nothing
than
to do
previous
with
games.
it.
It's definitely not perfect.
You're
and it could have
welcome.
been a
You
bit
got the
better if
Switch.
the game had more development time, but the second you start playing on these amazingly designed courses,
man.
you'll instantly forget about its shortcomings.
Oh, I
if you didn't
hated
think
that
the Wii U had the
fist
killer app
so
it needed,
much.
or you think Nintendo's doomed, play this game for 5 minutes, and you'll see that it deserves every scrap of hype it gets.
Agreed.
And with all
This
the Wii
game
U
is
games that
good.
have been announced, this is
The
only
game
just
is
the
pretty
beginning
good.
of Nintendo's comeback. So with all this in mind, Mario Kart 8 is
Nintendo's
definitely
comeback!
Check plus.
Well, now that that's over with, I think it's time
Yeah,
to
they
sit
sure
down,
had- they
relax,
sure had
and
a
watch some
comeback,
Mario Kart
alright.
TV highlights. Yeah.
Definitely
on,
worthy of a
hang
check
on.
plus.
Did that say
Comeback. So with all this in
Cockstar?
mind,
I was fighting against
Mario
Cockstar.
Kart 8 is definitely worthy of a check plus.
Well, now that that's over with,
Oh,
I think it's
no.
time to sit down, relax, and watch some Mario Kart TV highlights. Yeah. That's pretty cool, yeah. Alright. I like it. Whoa!
Wow, that is so genuine. Totally genuine and real. Please stop.
Let me get this straight. You're given an app for these kinds of videos, and the most popular one on the internet is off a smartphone.
Yep.
I quit.
Didn't
It's
even
over.
use the Mario Kart TV app. You like those old outdated memes? I love outdated memes. Now we're talking. Shovel Knight. That's what I like about
Okay, so I
BNGR.
don't
You
think
could
I've
like,
ever done a review
you'll see
where
the
I
next
discuss
episode
a game.
coming and you're
Every
like,
time I
oh
play something,
shit, it's that
especially
one.
Platformers, I'm always super critical about everything. The level design, the length, the controls, whatever. I always find something that bothers me.
Oh,
But
man.
today, I have played a game
Good
that
old
made me come to a
dated
conclusion I
memes.
thought was impossible to reach. A game that raises the bar for platformers
It's so
everywhere by
good.
taking
I
everything
still
good from
agree
the
with
best
this.
retro platformers and execute them to a masterful extent. Ladies and gentlemen, Shovel Knight is literally the perfect platformer.
I still
He's right.
agree.
I said it.
I still agree. It is. It is as 10 out of 10 as a Mega Man-ish game will get. I have a good speaking voice in my old videos. Thank you. I appreciate it.
BNGR.
Oh man, I gotta play. I gotta play the
Kickstarter. Now, whether you
DLC
believe it or
really
not, the site you
bad.
see right here is the future of new products.
Good old
For those that don't
Twerk
know,
Island.
Kickstarter is a crowdfunding website where people post some product they want to make and buyers attempt to pay for the product in advance. And when I say some product, I literally mean anything. ranging
Socially
from
awkward.
butt
You're in
figures
the
with
right
costumes
place.
To atheist shoes with the
Thank you for
prints
following.
on the bottom of the shoe. I don't get the point.
I like
And then there's
how
actually really
there's
cool
been
stuff
no
like
subs
Reading
today.
Rainbow or Oculus
It's just
Rift.
been
Depending
follows,
on your
which is
donation amount, the amount of
great.
rewards you get from
Thank
it
you.
increases. And if the person
But
with the
the
idea
cup
meets their
is
goal,
just filled
they're
with
morally
nothing but
obligated
my
to fulfill
head.
the rewards. Emphasis
Incredible.
on morally because technically they can just run
I
away with
backed
the money.
that.
But most of the
I
time,
was
it's
so
an awesome
mad.
way to support new ideas.
The
and
game
lets
got
the creator
canceled.
directly interact with the consumer, for better or for worse.
Anyway, I think you all know where I'm going with this. Kickstarter is frequently used to fund video games.
Yeah,
And the best part is
Mighty
you may have played
number
Kickstarter
9.
games already without even noticing. Risk of Rain, Mercenary Kings, Octodad, Dadliest Catch.
That was a fun game. I thought that was a funny game.
Okay. They're all fantastic games that started off with the help of their fans. So
Yeah.
today, I am super hyped to show you one of the first and most hyped Kickstarters on a Nintendo system.
This aged
Shovel
real
Knight for the
well,
Wii U
guys.
and 3DS. But to fully understand how Kickstarter impacts a game's development,
You like how
it's
my
time to go
hair
over
just kept
Shovel Knight's
radically
campaign.
changing every episode?
Okay, so Shovel Knight was first kickstarted in March 2013 with the goal of a $75,000 budget to be met in the month. For people who backed the game, there was of course the tier where you just get the game, but there were also different tiers with
I
a PDF
forgot it came out
manual,
on
an
Wii
art book,
U.
the soundtrack, in-game dirt. Wait a second.
Yeah, that was a thing.
They actually give you dirt, like actual dirt. What? I don't know how this Kickstarter could get any better.
And on top of these awesome rewards, the developers, Yacht Club Games, listened to a lot of their fan input. They added Wii U and 3DS
Yeah.
to their release console since the game was originally only for PC. They got the composer of the original Mega Man to
She
arrange
made some
several
good
tracks
songs
the
in that game,
and they
man.
even made a free playable demo, and gamers, including myself, fell in love. These guys did a fantastic job with their campaign and did everything they
Wait,
could
Super
to ensure
Retro
that the
Squad,
game
is
would
that
be worth the
canceled?
cash.
I'm pretty sure that was
But you
canned,
see,
right?
Shovel Knight is no ordinary platformer. With all this info given
Oh,
to
thank
us,
you
I
for
was expecting,
subscribing.
you know,
Oh,
a
for
good
the
modern
gifted
retro
sub.
game.
Thank you.
But it ended up being one of the best I've ever played. So no more beating around
It
the
was
dirt.
replaced by a
Let's
game
get
called
shoveling.
Glitch Hunters. Does that does that mean
all
I'm
like
still
the
getting it?
Okay, so the story here starts off really
Right?
upbeat. Two heroes,
No?
Shovel Knight and Shield Knight, were the
I'm
best
not.
duo in all the land. And you can see they got the money and the drinks and the awesome
Yikes,
suits.
okay,
What
good to
more could you
know.
ask for?
I
And then it
love
talks
when
about
they
a cursed
steal
amulet
my
and the Tower of
money.
Fate and Shield Knight. So Shovel Knight, still grieving over the loss of his love, finds out that the Enchantress and her Order of
Okay.
No Quarter are wrecking the land.
I'm
So long story
reaching
short,
that
Shovel
point
Knight
where
had
it's
to beat
not
8 different
cringe
knights
anymore
then
and
beat the
it's
crap out of the
actually a little
Enchantress in
fun.
order to
Just a
save the
tiny
world.
funny.
So at this point you're probably thinking, oh gee, I wonder what this game sounds like.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
And you know what?
Good
You're going to be
shot.
hearing a lot of Mega Man comparisons in this review, just because the formats happen to be very similar. And you know, the fact it's like my golden standard for platformers. I love you, Mega Man. I'll never forget you. But whatever you do not
Yo, can
call
we get
Shovel
an
Knight
F
Mega
for
Man
Mega
clone,
Man in the
because
chat?
I can't believe I'm saying this. Shovel Knight is better than all the original Mega Mans in every conceivable way.
Yeah, I still agree with that.
I'm gonna get killed for that.
So
still
similar to
agree
Mega
with
Man
that.
7 and 8, you start off on an
Maybe-
intro
maybe
stage
not
with some
11.
hardcore 8-bit tunes in the background.
Because 11's really good. But yeah.
Now,
What the
if you've played any retro platformer before, you should feel right at home with the controls. B is jump, A is attack with your shovel, and
Ooh,
down A
yeah.
allows you to bounce off obstacles and enemies. And trust me, it's a lot easier than it looks, since this level's pretty much there
You
to
like
show
9
you all the
more
game's
than
mechanics.
11?
You find a
Mega
pile of
Man
dirt on the
9 more
ground,
than
shovel
11?
it
Yeah,
up,
that's
there's
fair.
gold in there.
9
See a
is
space in the
pretty
wall?
high.
Whack at it, there's usually a secret treasure inside. Found a music note? Well, you can go to a bard in your local town for gold, and he'll play that song for
I
you
don't-
anytime.
I wish I
Shovel Knight
wasn't
does a
as,
really
like,
good job
edgy
teaching
about
the
my
player its rules,
opinions.
but without shoving tutorials
I'm, like,
down your
talking
throat.
about,
So
like, it's
therefore,
better
you have
than
to
you-
use your head a lot, and it
it's a
actually
fact
feels like your victory is
when
all
it's
from you.
clearly an
So
opinion.
now you know the basics of Shovel Knight, let's go over how the game is structured, which I've split into 3 different parts. Or should I say, piles.
Shut up. I hate
That's a
you.
bad idea.
You're
So
the
first things
worst.
first, let's talk about the game's towns. Now, if you've ever played Zelda 2 or Castlevania 2, and if you've done the latter,
Oh.
I'm so sorry. The system should be really familiar. Just press up on the D-pad
I talk
and
about
to everyone
Gen
in the
2
town
like
for
it's
advice and
objectively
dialogue.
bad.
Now, can
Yeah,
I
'cause
just say,
Johto
the guys at Yacht Club Games
sucks.
had way too much fun with these
I will
places.
say that for the
There's
rest of
NPCs
my
that look
life,
like
it
Link. You have to
sucks.
stand on some
It's
poor
not a
bucket girl's
good
head to reach a
part of
music
the
note,
game.
And there's this frog guy who just tells you endless amounts
I like
of
the
puns.
region, though.
Using a shovel as a weapon? What a groundbreaking idea. Have
It's
you ever
a
heard of the broken
spicy
sword?
take.
Ah, never mind. It's pointless. I wonder why the Black Knight shovel was getting bigger. Then it...
I just lose like all my viewers.
Oh wait, I get it, because the shovel is getting closer.
Oh, that could have gone a lot worse. It's really fun, and there's tons of stuff to do in the town to prepare. You can buy a meal from a goat that gives you more health. There's relics you can buy from this one dude named Chester, but we'll go more in depth about it later.
I hate, like,
the armor
how
upgrades, the shovel
awkward my
powers,
faces
the
are when I make
fabled
jokes in
Trouble
these
King.
videos.
There's so many potential
It's
boosts in
not
Shovel Knight's
good.
arsenal, and the best part is about how balanced the gold system is too. You see, when you complete a level, you usually just collect just the right amount of gold that you can purchase a few upgrades.
Yeah, I
but
remember.
Of course, if you want to go back and redo levels until you can afford everything,
Jen,
that's fine. But if
you think the remakes aged it a little better? I agree. I think the remakes fixed it a little bit,
do you buy an
but
ability
not
that lets you
far
charge up a
enough.
shovel attack? Do you increase your
They did a
maximum
little
magic
bit.
by a little, or do you buy a cheaper suit that greatly enhances it but makes you take more damage? It comes down to your own style, and that's something I really appreciate about the game.
I'm very
Anyway, let's
picky
get to the
about
second pile, and what you all
Pokemon,
came
and I
here to
think
learn
Johto
about,
is one of the weaker
stages,
regions.
and their designs are... Oh. Okay, so in Mega Man, the point of the stage is to get through using certain powers, picking up E-tanks or 1-ups, being the Robot Master, you know the drill. Now, while the stages did give you a lot of freedom with the powers and all, it was obvious that certain items were needed to reach certain secrets, and therefore you had to go in a certain order. Another thing I didn't like
that
about
one
some
time
Mega Man
card
games is
from
having only 3
SpongeBob.
lives when the game taught you the rules through dying. Luckily, Shovel Knight fixes both of these problems. First off, on top of Shovel Knight's huge arsenal of power-ups, he also has 10 relics to choose from, and all of them are extremely useful. For instance, there's the Phase Locket, which makes you completely invincible for a few seconds. There's the War Horn, which destroys all enemies within a certain radius. There's even the Coin, which sounds really useless at first, but kills enemies and turns them into more gold. Within your adventure, you'll find Chester chilling out in Blue Chest, where you'll buy all these cool relics from him.
Yo, my boy
Though I'll
Chester.
never know how he got himself locked in a chest. That takes some skill. Anyway, all these relics
I can't
are
tell where his
versatile
hat
too,
starts and his face starts.
Thanks to the amount of freedom you're given, you can destroy an enemy with a fire
Yo,
rod, or maybe
did I create the Lemmy Get
Everyone can and
is that
will
what
beat the game
is
with
that
a
what
different
happened
strategy.
here?
And this freedom goes for bosses too. Unlike Mega Man, where a weapon
Can
is
I
known
get
for
a
being strong
what is
against the
that
Robot
picture?
Master, there's no gigantic advantage like in those
Ew.
games. You master any weapon. You decide how many uses you'll have with your current magic
That was
supply,
a hard
and you make up a
yikes.
strategy with the relic that shells out the most
Yo, should I
damage.
rip the
And it is
W
this
off
kind
of
freedom that
Wario's
makes Shovel
hand?
Knight so freaking
I'll do it.
replayable. Now, as for the second Mega Man problem, when you die in Shovel Knight, there's no game over screen or anything.
Do you want me to
just
do it?
lose 3
No, I
bags
see
of your gold, and you
no's.
gotta go back to the checkpoint and try again. Because of this,
I see
the
a
game
lot
feels
of
a lot more
no's.
forgiving, and you can die tons
Live
of times without
threat.
losing
I'll
anything
kill
important.
him.
Gamers will only get frustrated at chunks of
If
the
you
level
do
instead
it,
of the
you'll
entire
sub.
thing, and that
Oh
makes the game
no.
a lot more accessible to newcomers. And on another hand,
Oh, I ripped
break
it.
these checkpoints so they can get more gold. There's so much balance.
That's
so moving
okay.
on, if you remember my Mega
He's
Man 9 review, I
deteriorating.
said that you can beat the whole game in under an hour. So if Shovel Knight has only 8 nights and 2 final stages, which is 2 less than that game, wouldn't the game seem even smaller?
Well,
I'm
I'm
gonna
sorry.
give you the smack if you say that.
This is
That's
not
wrong.
abuse.
Being the Shovel Knight that you are, you'll have rivals. You'll have
See,
treasure
it's fine.
stages.
I
You'll have
just ripped
stages that
off the
put one of
part
your
that was
relic skills to
sticking
the
out.
test.
See,
and
his
you'll even
hand's
have dream
fine.
sequences where you fruitlessly try to save Shield Knight.
Yes, officer, this is
Shovel
the
Knight is not only about
stream
beating
right
the
here.
Enchantress, it's about the adventure and guarding your skills to take her down, and that's what makes Shovel Knight feel so epic. However, before I start the review, there's
Am
one
I
thing in
an
particular I
anime
want to
villain?
talk about that's really cool, but despite not being the ending, it's still technically spoilers, so if you want to skip over, I'm going to put an annotation
Oh no, do
somewhere
I skip
around
through
here,
the spoilers?
and
Do I skip the spoilers? Yes? I'll skip the spoilers. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Wait. I
Okay,
just
so
restarted
I
the
completed
video.
review where I just gush in a game. Every time I... It's beautiful. I don't know any Kickstarter's going to top this one.
There we
Alright, so
go.
with that quick spoiler out of the way, it's time to bring all this
No
information together
spoilers.
and show
I
you why
skipped the
Shovel Knight is
spoilers.
worth every bit of hype I'm giving
I
you.
actually
So
skipped
let's
the
start
whole
the
video
review.
by accident. It's a... Oh my god,
First
this...
up is fun, and Shovel Knight is a blast.
That
It
was
takes the
good.
pixel-perfect gameplay of Mega Man, the world map of Mario 3, the weapon inspiration from 80s platformers, the
999
villages of Zelda
IQ
2, and when they
skips the
all come
video.
together, Shovel Knight does it better than all of them. Shovel Knight is a platformer with so much detail,
So you
so much
say you
polish
want me
that
to bring
becomes more
back
than
the
just a
checks,
love
but
letter
I
to
have no
retro
idea
games.
how to make it
becomes
any
the
better than
evolution
it
of the
is.
genre. Every single playthrough of Shovel Knight will also be drastically different.
I don't know how
You'll
to
choose a
make
different
it
order
as
that you get
funny as
power-ups,
before.
relics, and boss orders in, so you find the most convenient way to beat your enemies. Not to mention these levels are so replayable and fun to master that you'll still have a good time beating it again and again. I was on my
Again
4th playthrough
and
when I got
again.
all this footage, and I still had the biggest
Foreshadowing
smile on my
for the
face blasting
DLC.
through the game. Yes, the game may not have any revolutionary features not seen in other platformers.
What if you made
but by
these
taking the
videos
past
to
the next
entertain
level,
yourself
it
in
becomes
the future?
revolutionary through
I
its
made them
quality.
all just
There
for this
honestly
very
isn't a single
stream.
thing that hampered my fun
That's
in this
deep.
game. Besides, you
But
know, dying a
also,
lot
that's
'cause it's freaking
totally
hard at some
something I would
points.
do.
But even then, the game gives you all the tools to succeed because, as I always say, it comes down to you, the player. Check plus.
Look at me all
Second
happy
up is looks,
playing
and this
the
game
game on
has
the
some
ground
super nice pixel art.
against
The members of Yacht Club
fence.
games are known for their super fluid animations at Way Forward, and Shovel Knight is no exception.
It's a
Your
pretty
run
game.
cycle, the enemies, the backgrounds, the game just looks so lively. Even the broken animations are done on purpose in towns in order to emulate their source material well.
I forgot
They got
about that.
Every
That's neat.
single detail right.
I'm learning so
Yeah,
much
some of the
about
enemies
myself-
are just
from
palette swaps with
myself.
different attack patterns, but seeing how much variety is in each stage, these graphics are
The
still
biggest
very worthy
YouTube
of a
troll
check
just
plus.
making videos
Third up
for
is Sonic.
yourself.
Come on, it's Jake Kaufman, the composer at Way
No,
Forward,
it's the
and also
same picture of
composer
him
behind
again.
Mega Man 1, whose name I don't want to butcher because I can't Japanese. But I think you guys get the point.
Matsume?
It's amazing, and
Is that
interesting
right?
enough, it's also made entirely in NES hardware. Jake was even nice enough to make this soundtrack open source, so anyone could tinker with
did
his
it.
notes and encourage
Wow,
fans to make their
I
own
did it.
remixes out of it. What a super cool guy. Check plus.
I'm
Fourth up
trying
is
to
Left,
make
and if you
shovels,
play through
but
the
they're
game
just
once,
dicks.
Shovel Knight won't last you very
I'm
long.
drawing
about 4 to
dicks.
5 hours or so. But honestly, with
Oh,
the quality
no.
you're getting, I can compare Shovel Knight to a huge freaking meal. The intro stage is the appetizer. The 8 night
Two
stages
big
are the
old
main course.
peepees on
There's
my
tons of
board.
desserts you can go for on the way too. And the final world,
Who's
well,
been drawing
I won't spoil
dicks?
it, but it takes all the previous food you ate and fuses it together into like this ultimate steak or something. and
Ultimate
when you're done, you
steak.
feel super satisfied. And
That's
the ending
me.
is so good and so satisfying that you'll
I
feel
wanna eat
completely
an
content when you
ultimate
finish,
steak.
with no stone left unturned. But if you want to go through this fantastic game again, there's a new game plus.
That's
where
my
enemies do
favorite
double
thing from
damage,
Joel.
There's almost no health items.
Just that-
and
that
checkpoints are
story
more
about the
scarce.
teachers
However, you do get to
who's
keep all your
been
previous
drawing
upgrades,
dicks.
and all you get is an achievement for doing so. So
It's
with
the
barely
best.
any changes, there's not much reason to attempt this mode, unfortunately. Also, there's exclusive content for both the
Can you
3DS and
copyright
Wii U
strike
versions.
yourself?
The 3DS
I'm
version,
pretty
of course,
sure
has
you could.
3D, and it's done really
It's
well.
YouTube.
It has
I'm
Street
sure you
Pass
can
Battle,
break
where you
it
can
that
post an
hard.
attack for 5 seconds and battle another Street Passer blindly. And then we have the Wii U version, which has off TV
Look at that
play,
nice
supports all
bed
possible
sheet.
Wii U control schemes, and Miiverse support very similar to the one from New Super
My
Mario Bros.
potato
U,
game,
which can potentially help
Spectre
you out
Knight
a lot.
hard.
Now I've played both versions, thanks to Yacht Club Games giving me
Agreed.
review copies. Thanks so much, you guys. You guys are awesome.
Can
And
you
they both have almost
show
the same amount of
things
content,
without
and your choice will
making
come
a
down to
meme
preference.
face?
Do you want a 4-player battle mode coming soon and console play? Get the Wii U version. You want Shovel Knight on the go
Spectre
with no
Knight
TV
hard.
input lag and pixel perfect
Yo,
graphics? Get the 3DS version. Personally,
Is
I
the
prefer
Spectre
the
Knight
3DS version because
DLC
of
hard?
portability, but that's
That
just
man
my preference.
foreshadowing.
Throw in a bunch of music sheets to collect, the achievement system, and a bunch of new modes coming through free updates thanks to fans reaching all their
They're
stretch
still
goals,
coming out.
and I believe the amount
They're
of content
still
you're getting
coming
for
out.
$15 is just about right. Check plus.
That's
In
not even-
conclusion,
that
Shovel
wasn't
Knight
even a
is
good
the
shovel.
best platformer I've ever played. I spent this entire review gushing and giving this game nothing but praise for a reason. This is something I probably will never do again. If you've ever wanted to get into the
did I
platformer
say
genre,
anything
or you're a
bad
veteran
about
finding
this game?
something new
'Cause
to
I
play,
can't think
this
of
is the
anything.
perfect jumping point for either of you.
Maybe Spectre
or
Knight
shoveling
stage.
point, whichever works best.
Spectre Knight
If you
stage
didn't
with the
like
dark
platforming games
part,
before
I
this
hate
review,
that.
though, it won't change your
But
mind
everything
for
else
sure,
is
but
fine.
everyone else owes it to themselves to see what makes
Somehow
it so
I hit my
special.
10K
Before
step
this
goal
review, Mega Man was my
while I was
golden
sitting
standard
in
for
my chair.
platformers, and I would use it in every comparison for every
Sure.
single platformer I played
All right.
afterward. But now,
Tidbits are
Shovel Knight holds
accurate.
that title. And for the rest of my life, Shovel Knight will be what I compare every single platformer to, and perhaps any modern
When I
retro
play
game
this
as
Spectre
well.
Knight
Every
DLC,
single indie developer
I'm just
in the
gonna
business
write
better start thinking how to
Spectre
top
Knight
this,
hard
because the world needs more games like
as a
Shovel
tweet.
Knight. Whether it be on 3DS or Wii U, this game is by far worthy of a check plus. So before I end this video, I want to introduce you guys to the fabled Tropical King. He's certainly something I wasn't
Oh my
expecting
god,
in
the
the game, or
Tropical King.
any game ever for that matter, but he's an apple whale that gets his apple comrades to spit ichor in your drink. 10 out of 10, game of the year, every year, forever, heavy.
I'm surprised I didn't drop that. Alright, you know what's next. Battletoads!
Hello, thank you for calling Game Mart, where we offer you memberships that you don't want. This is
Yo,
Tom
the
Bell.
birth of
Hi, I
Game
was
Mart!
wondering if
Yes.
you have Battletoads.
Battletoads. Really? Battletoads? Duh.
Oh wait, for real? Well, how much is it then?
Oh, it's free.
You like my-
value for games in the area, even though it's super duper low, and we actually like games, where you can pre-order the next 5 Call of Duties all at
Actually,
once.
no wait, I just beat it.
You just beat it?
Yeah, the crowds are rolling right now. What'd you take me for? Every other guy who just reviewed the game and quit after level 3?
Well,
true.
yeah.
Alright, so now I'm done with this game. How much trading credit can I get for it?
We're currently offering 32 cents.
Are you serious?
How much does... Let me check how much GameStop actually offers Battletoads for. Because now you can trade in Battletoads. Because they accept NES games now. They didn't do that when I made this video. Let me see. If it's 32 cents, I'm going to piss my pants.
BNGRs. Oh man, where to begin with Battletoads?
They give
it's a
you
franchise made by the
$5.
great company named Rare.
You get
known for classics such as
$5.
Donkey Kong Country, Conker's Bad Fur Day, and 3 games where you just wail around your living room like an idiot.
Not
But today,
32
for the sake of this
cents,
video,
$5
let's
for
forget about all that.
Battletoads.
You see, back in the late 80s and early 90s, Rare was trying out all kinds of genres of games. Game shows like Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, sports
Let me
games like
see what-
Slalom,
you can
Slalom,
trade in all the
Shalom,
Battletoads, I
oh
think.
no, and even the world's first board game video game.
You actually get a lot of trading credit for these. Battletoads and
lost
Double
the
Dragon,
shoes.
they'll give you 27
But you know
bucks.
what? They nailed a lot of them, and even before their days of popularity, Rare was really the jack of all trades on the NES. Well, most of the time. But then the founders
What
of Rare,
about-
Tim and Chris Stamper, wanted to go big on a new IP, which is now known as
that's for
Battletoads.
NES. The
They had
Super
comics
Nintendo
and
one's
Nintendo
11
Power.
bucks.
They had a crossover game with Double Dragon, and
That's
they made a
very
really,
strange.
really, and I mean really bad TV pilot. Oh god, turn it off.
I watched that
You gotta
whole
turn it
thing.
off. But despite the crazy 90s marketing it had, the most fondly remembered in the series was the NES original. Now for those that don't know, here's where the twist comes in. The
That
first
twist.
Battletoads is not only one of the hardest games on the NES, it is one of the most brutal and unforgiving games ever made.
Oh,
Without
no.
cheating, this game's pretty much impossible to beat. Even speedrunners who practice this game for years still die frequently on their runs. And I'll admit,
That-
in my
was that
run
a
of the game,
Tails
I
doll?
used infinite continues because as much as I love you guys, I'm not going to redo the game over one simple mistake. I still have my sanity. So today, instead of telling you how hard the game is or how much I
Battletoads and
cried
Double
myself to
Dragon on
sleep
NES
playing
is
it,
like 80 bucks. Are you serious? I had no idea.
I'm gonna do it all over again, go over each of the game's
You could
12
probably just get a
maniacal
repro
levels,
cart
and show
for
you what's good or
cheaper.
bad about them. So with all this out of the way, it's time to see if Battletoads is really worth the pain.
Oh boy. Oh god, I used to have an FC Twin. That's right.
So first things first,
You
let's go
remember
over the
those
game's plot.
things?
One day, one of the Battletoads named Pimple and a Princess
Oh,
Angelica
God,
go
yeah,
on
it
a
was-
stroll
it
in the
was
space
horrible.
car.
It wasn't
when all of a sudden, the
horrible,
Dark
but it was
Queen kidnaps both of them
composite
for
only.
absolutely no reason. So the
No
other two
good.
Battletoads, Rash and Zitz, with 2 Z's to make it edgy and gross, have to go into Ragnarok's
Good
world
old
to save
Zitz
them.
and
The
Big
plot's just kind
Blag.
of there to set up the levels, but I'll let it slide since the Queen's dialogue is actually
Big
kind of good.
Balrog.
So in level 1, we have Ragnarok's Canyon, where you learn all the game's basic mechanics. A's jump, which, by the way, is a really big jump, which I guess makes sense because they're freaking toads. B can pick up weapons as well as punch and grab enemies, and you can run by double tapping the D-pad or even do a headbutt if you attack while running. But honestly,
Oh,
this
man.
level's actually pretty easy, and it's really fun to play with its satisfying melee attacks. I mean, what
I
other
love
game
the
can a
first
toad's
stage
foot
of this
transform
game.
into a boot 3
It's
times
so
its
good.
original size? Seriously, let me know in the comments if that exists, because I would play the heck out of that. Throw in a really cool boss where you see the perspective of the enemy
Yes.
riding on some dragon thing.
This game was so
And this game
cool.
seemed
What
like the best
happened?
beat 'em up ever. If the whole game was like this, I would have really enjoyed it. But then level 2, called the Wookiee Hole, happened. And before you think,
Battletoads
oh,
could have
Wookiee
been
Hole,
one
I
of the
get
best
it 'cause
NES
it's
games.
Star
I
Wars.
agree.
No, it's actually caverns in
hard
the UK.
agree.
So, I just made it pretty awkward, didn't I? So in this level, you're being lowered down by cables in what seems to be a mile-long hole with crows, Venus flytraps, and safes. Alright. But anyway, this level's really fun to play. Crows are trying to cut your cord so you can punch them and slice up their enemies with their beaks. If you
Oh,
go
you
onto the
get 'em.
side for a while, you can turn into a wrecking ball and knock out all
See,
the
that
other
was
enemies.
so
And the
cool.
tunnel graphics are
Like, that
freaking
is such a
unreal
cool
for
idea
NES.
for a stage,
It
and it
isn't
looks
too much harder
amazing
than
on
the
the
first level, and the
NES.
gameplay
What
is
happened?
drastically different, but it was a blast to get through.
Oh,
But I'm sure
man.
most of you know about the dreaded level 3. The first half of it's fine, it's kind of like level 1 again, but then you get to the hover bikes. And my life was never the same. Level 3 wasn't just tough design,
Ooh.
it was pure evil.
Yeah, it took
Okay,
me
so first
so
off,
long
these
to
walls
get
start
this
showing
right.
up and they blink before coming in your field of view.
I
Sounds
hate
kind of
this
simple
level
to avoid, right?
so
you think you
goddamn
can just jump
much.
the second you see them willy-nilly? Well, here's the thing. When they come at you, they're going a freaking million miles per hour. So even mastering
Why did I
jumping
buy
at the
the
right time is
PlayStation
hard.
Classic?
And
'Cause
to
I got
make
it for
things
like
worse,
36
more
bucks.
and more and more of them just keep coming, and some require jumping and weaving and sometimes doing absolutely
it.
nothing. And the worst part is, if
Just
you mess
kidding,
up
I regret
once, you're
everything.
sent back to the previous checkpoint.
I
It's
regret
no wonder everyone
deeply.
gave up after this level. I mean, look at this. I'm not even speeding up the footage. But
Did
once
I
you
waste
memorize
money?
the jump times and the arcs you need
Yes,
to not face
I
plant in
did.
the wall, it's just
I
very
did.
hard instead of freaking impossible.
I'm
But you see, I'm saying
I
that
am
now because
good
here's the
enough
big
to
problem with
admit
Battletoads.
when I have
They only give
faulted
you
in my
3
life.
continues. 3 continues. That's 9 lives. How are you supposed to beat the game with only 9 lives?
Oh.
I replayed this level over 200 times just trying to figure
Watch
out how
it be $10
works. So if I
next
wasn't
week.
using
I'll be
Infinite
so
Continues,
salty,
I'd
but I could
probably
also
still be
just
playing
call
this
up
game,
Target
and
and be
I'd
like,
probably be dead from lack
hey,
of nourishment. But you know
can you
what's
give
worse?
me the
Trying out this
price
level in
difference?
co-op.
And they'll probably do
I
it.
remember one time I tried
So
playing
that's no big
Battletoads
deal.
in co-op. Alright, which one of you wants to play Battletoads with me?
I remember this.
No.
Froki, you want to play with me? Now, if you thought level 3 looked hard, level 4 ups the ante the second you started.
Oh my god.
It's a nice level. As if controlling the toad wasn't already a problem, they put spikes
Everyone would
everywhere.
even
You
in
slip and slide all over the
2014,
place.
everyone
There's
was
snowmen
just
throwing
dumb with my
snowballs at you,
bullshit.
which is kind of cannibalistic since he's pretty much just throwing body parts at you at this point. But long story short, prepare to
Oh.
get skewered a lot and in extremely unfair spots, as well as dealing with some top-notch physics. As you can tell, I don't think this level's
I'm
really
pretty
well
sure
designed.
they're all like having
Anyway,
a party and
level
I
5
was
is,
like, hey
you
guys,
guessed
can you
it,
film
another
this thing
obstacle
for me
course where
real
you gotta
quick?
avoid a bunch of crap floating in the water. It's kind of like level 3, but with no insta-kill this time, so it's not as hard and it's not much to talk about, except for one thing. You
This
see,
part
level 5 is the
sucks.
bane to speedrunners for one completely unacceptable reason. In some cases, it's impossible. The debris in the water floats around at random speeds, so there's a
It's
chance that the
stupid. I hate
combination will
this
be
part.
unavoidable, and therefore your
Am I still
toad will be
friends with
sandwiched by
yeah,
mines.
like the hidden
It's
black
not a huge
guys, we
problem
still
since it
talk
won't
all
happen
the
very
time.
often, but the beta testers really
It's
should have done a
okay.
better job here.
They are good boys.
7 more
and I
levels
miss
to go.
them.
Okay, so level 6 is
I
one
saw
of the
Caddy
easier
not
levels,
too long
ironically.
ago, actually.
It's a platforming stage where you
I
jump
saw
on some
him at
robotic
too
snakes to
many
escape in a hole.
games, I think.
First few were kind of easy, and then
Yeah,
guess
too
who's
many
back
games.
again?
So I saw him like
Why did you put these everywhere? You aren't going to get as frustrated as
months
previous
ago,
levels,
yeah.
but the game requires you to be almost perfect with your jumps, so be careful.
Woo!
Also, you can die and fall in the hole in the last one, which is really helpful,
He is
but
a very
maybe
cool
poor
dude.
programming?
I
I
miss
don't know.
him.
It's challenging, but I still had a good time playing it. But then level 7. Oh my god. This one makes level 3 and 5 look like child's
Ooh.
play. The beginning is deceptively easy again, but instead of hover bikes, you're in a plane avoiding fire.
Hell
At the
yeah,
beginning,
man.
you can just stand at the very right and avoid it, but then
This
it
is-
just
this
gets
is
way too fast
actual
and they start
hell.
opening and closing and fireballs. It's insane.
this level,
And
they,
then when you think it can't
I'm
get any
sure they
worse,
just like
there's
saw
rockets,
pictures of
too.
hell and they're like,
I
let's
don't
make
even
a
have
game
any words
about
for this.
this.
The insanity speaks for itself. I really liked this level at first, but the rockets
You
were
can't hear
so
me very
crazy
well?
that it just ruined
Why don't
everything
you guys
else.
ever tell me
Now,
these
thank
things? I asked
goodness,
you.
level 8 is probably the
Here.
most fun I've had since level 2.
That
It's
should
actually
fix it
not
a
as
little
hard.
bit.
You're on a vertically scrolling platforming stage, and you gotta avoid getting
Yeah.
shocked or poisoned or getting shredded in a fan.
Oh, that
Wait,
part
what?
sucks.
It's pure cringe. Yeah, some of the jumps are hard to pull off with the Toad's floaty physics, but it's nothing that can't be practiced.
Oh yeah, I guess
Good stuff.
that's fair. My audio
Level 9,
does go all over the
Terratubes
place.
Isn't that bad either. There's some
So that
gears
makes
that chase
sense.
you everywhere, but if you're fast enough, you shouldn't have many issues. The main problem is that, like level 4 and 6,
Oh my
it's
God,
riddled with
I
spikes
hate this
everywhere,
part.
and most of them are unavoidable the first time. Also sharks. I don't like sharks, especially when they're half the size of a toad. But despite that, it's standard fare, which is super fun for Battletoads.
A good old killer duckies.
But that's the problem here. This game's difficulty is way too uneven. Level 3 should have been like level 7. Level 9 should have been level 4. If you're
Level
gonna make
3
a game
should
so
have been,
impossibly
like, at the
hard,
very
least
end
make
of
it
the
so
game.
people can actually see the easier levels and
You feel
actually
me?
see what you made. Anyway, these last 3 levels is where the game almost broke me last time. I spent hours and hours and hours trying to figure out what the heck I was doing wrong, and there was
That
times where I
last
just wanted to give
level,
up.
like before
What I'm
the
about to
final
show you
boss,
is what
is
truly makes
hell.
Battletoads one of the hardest games of all time. But we can do this.
Oh, this. Oh, I hate this.
Oh my god! Froki, I can't do this. Rat Race is the hardest level I've ever played. I spent 10 hours last time. 10 freaking hours! figuring out
That
a
yell
single
was
3-minute
so
level.
cringe
And
that
then
it
I
went
lost.
around and
That's it, I
became
can't
funny
do this.
again.
I quit. There's no way I can beat this legendary game.
What were they thinking?
Wait a second. I hate this game!
Froki still has his
Welcome, my
tag.
friends, to
Yo,
Rat
does he
Race.
still have his
Battletoads
tag?
is broken through its difficulty. So, the point of the level is to race 3 rats down to a bomb and kick it out of the way before they get to it. However, in order to beat these rats, you can't just blast through as fast as you can, or the rat will phase through the platforms and
He
catch
still
up
has
to
his
you.
tag.
No, you have to get him to walk the other way on the platform
never
so he
took
can
it
glitch
off.
down to the second one and continue his path.
That's
I thought this was a
incredible.
race, not an exploit.
It's like in
just
Japanese,
broken
too,
game design, and I spent
'cause
6
it was
hours wondering
imported.
what the hell I was doing wrong. It's unacceptable. Oh, and by the way, if you get to the bomb before the rat
Incredible.
appears,
It's
half the
been,
time
what,
he just
4
doesn't
years?
show up. It happened to
And I
me
never
3
got rid of
times,
it.
and all you can do is reset
Look
the
at these
game.
boys.
It's another case of extremely bad
Look at
programming,
the
which we'll see
most
again later in
ambitious
the review.
crossover of
The
all
next level,
time.
however, is insanely hard while still being fair, luckily.
Release the
It's called
tag,
Clinger
no.
Winger, where you have to press and hold directions
Should I
on the
release
D-pad while a
this? Should I
spinning
rip
orb
off the
follows you.
tag
The
now?
problem here,
Should I
however,
do
is
it?
that there are no checkpoints. You gotta do this in
can't.
one go, and the only way you can get away from this
It
one
would
is by
hurt a
nailing
lot.
turns by the millisecond.
Preserve
it
the
catches up to you
tag.
in straight lines, and if you make more than maybe 1 or 2 mistakes, you're as good
I'll
as
do
dead.
it.
It's a fun level,
I'll
but it'll
bite
just
off
take
the
a lot
tag
of
right
practice.
now.
Something you cannot
I'll
afford
do
if you're
it.
playing this game without continues. But if you manage to make it through hell and back, you get your chance at the Revolution, which is one of the coolest levels on the NES. Period. You're going up a 3D tower where you can run around and
Everyone's
spin
like,
all
you
over.
better not.
You gotta avoid monsters that'll eat you, winds that'll blow you away, and of course, falling. I mean, just looking at this level should blow your mind. A 3D level in a beat-em-up game that isn't some stupid gimmick and actually
do it.
functions perfectly for its time.
do
And
it.
even in the time when the Super
Don't
Nintendo was
call the
already out,
cops.
this kind of tech was unbelievable. The biggest problem I had was memorizing attack patterns so I don't get gobbled. But the
Alright,
main
here we
difficulty
go.
here is the lack of any leeway. You have to completely nail all the jumps and choose the correct way to run around the tower. Just like Clinger Winger, it's ridiculously hard, but it's fun and it's fair. After all 12 of these nightmarish levels, the final boss with the Dark Queen isn't that hard. And I would say they should have made her harder, but
over.
at this point I think I could take a
I've
lack of
released them
challenge.
from the
After
tag.
that, you save Pimple
It's
and the
been
princess,
4
the Dark Queen
years.
runs away, and everything's
You're
okay.
free.
The end! I beat it! That's the whole freaking game! I
Also, he still has this.
Woo! And that's how my life expected.
Well,
Okay, so now that you guys know the design of
I ripped
Battletoads,
off
is it
the
really
tag.
a
You
good
know
or
why
bad
I
game
ripped
as a
off the
whole?
tag?
Well, let's get straight to the review and find out.
Because it's from X and Y. Nothing X and Y is allowed in my house. That's it.
First
Why
up is
did I
fun, and this
jump-
game is
oh,
super
'cause
polarized in this
toads.
category. There's levels I legitimately loved. There's some that I liked, but were still butt-busting
you guys
hard.
feel?
And then there's a couple that are just plain trash due to bad
How do
beta
you feel
testing.
I ripped
but
off his
unfortunately,
tag?
I only had fun in this game because I cheated. So how the
Throw
heck do I
him
review this
away?
game? If you play the game straight through, no cheats, level 5 and 10 completely ruin the game. It doesn't matter how much fun
You
I have
feel
with the other levels, the game
devastated?
does not play fair, and I just cannot
Thank
look over that.
you. Yes,
Now, if the game
officer,
gave me
that's
infinite
him.
continues, I'd be a lot more lenient, but with only 3, I cannot recommend a game with so little chances and such high difficulty to leave things up to
That's funny.
chance. In its current state,
Don't rip
the
off
game is
my
busted.
tag.
However, if you happen to
Oh,
have
no.
a Game Genie or the new Retron 5 with built-in cheat codes, then the game is much better with infinite continues, and the bad levels are so much more tolerable. As I said earlier, where was the jack of all trades on the
Oh,
NES?
good
And
old-
none
good
other
old
games
skiing
showcase
game.
it as much as Battletoads.
Oh, I
It's
hated
part beat 'em
that.
up, part platformer,
That was
part
so
racing
mean.
game, part this thing. The controls are good, the
Burn
punches are
Froakie
satisfying, and there's
live
a
on
fun sense of
stream.
humor, and it definitely had a
No.
lot of potential. So with all that
No.
said, here's how I'm gonna score this game. With no cheats, fun gets a check minus, while with cheats, it gets a check.
Gets a check.
Second up is looks. And,
Did
oh,
I
man,
say
this is
new
one
Retron
nice
5
looking
in
NES
this?
game. The backgrounds, the
old.
speed, the amount of variety, the style, everything about this game is super impressive. Even
4
the Sega
years
Genesis
is like
version can't
a
compare to how
century
cool
in
this game
internet
looks.
years.
Same with the Amiga versions, but ew. I didn't have a
Ugh.
single frame rate issue, and the parallax
Great
scrolling and the
music.
3D
They
tower
nailed
segments
it.
look outstanding. It's definitely one of the best looking games on the system. Check plus.
The
Third
Retron
episode-
5 is. People-
it's David freaking Wise. You know, the composer behind
Yo, I
Donkey Kong
nutted a little
Country,
there.
Star Fox Adventures, Diddy Kong Racing.
It's not as
He's
bad as
awesome at
people
making
say it
music
is.
that
If you wanna
captures
get
the theme of a
footage,
level,
it's
no matter how terrible that level
perfectly
may be.
fine.
And sometimes
and
it is the
honestly,
only thing
it
keeping me playing.
reduces a lot of
Check
headaches.
plus. Fourth up is Lengthen.
Good
Okay,
old
so for an
J+.
NES game, 12 diverse levels for a platformer is pretty much unheard of. But as I said
Wookiee
earlier,
Hall.
how long this game is going to last you depends on if you cheat or not. Unless you're an insane masochistic gamer, I can pretty much guarantee you won't see level 5 without weeks and weeks of practice. And the whole game, months without a doubt. And even if you manage to do get that
It's hard to
far,
hear
the game
my
doesn't play fair at
commentary
points, and
still?
There's a chance you'll reach
Okay.
a level and never reach it again for a long time.
That should be better.
But with infinite
Honestly,
continues,
that
the game
makes
is
sense
entirely
because I
possible and
remember
will only take you a
specifically
few
in this
days.
video,
But
I
is
was
it worth
peaking
it,
my
though?
audio
Well, that depends on you,
repeatedly
now that
when I
I've showed you
filmed
what
it.
you're up against. But one thing's for
I had to
sure,
fix it
Battletoads
so
is
much.
definitely the
It was
hardest game
bad.
I've ever played. And yes, I've beaten I Want to Be the Guy. I've beaten
Yep.
F-Zero GX. I've
Yep.
even beaten Ghosts and Goblins. So
That
I'm
was
no
a
stranger
trip and
to
a
hard
half when I
games,
was a kid.
Yet I still think Battletoads beats them all. So once again,
I was
without
just like a
cheats, check
masochist
minus,
when I
and
was a
with
kid. I
cheats,
played
in
all
my
these really
experience,
hard
check.
games, and now I
In
can't play
conclusion,
them at all.
Battletoads is one big mess of a game. It's one of the most beautiful games on the NES. The music is fantastic.
This
the
video
gameplay
is
super
missing
fun and one of the
Waleed
most
farting in
diverse
the
games on
mic.
the system.
Yo, you want me to just
But I will
lose all
never,
my viewers
ever
right
understand why
now?
they tried making an entire franchise for kids and
Then I'll
collectively
do it.
crush all their hopes and dreams with this game.
If I had
this
a
game
fart,
is pretty
I would
much
do it in the
impossible
mic.
without cheats. And for co-op, it actually
do it
is
for you.
impossible in the North American version. So, thank God I didn't play that. You see, in level 11, the second player
I
just
could
doesn't
barely
move,
beat
so
the
you're
rival
stuck.
in Let's
Another
Go.
sign of
Hey.
bad beta testing.
Hey.
The testers even beat the game in co-op because you can freaking hurt each
I mean,
other,
you're
and
that
And
wrong.
if one person dies, you get a game over, but the other person doesn't replenish their lives? What? Anyway,
good
as I was
old
saying,
level
if Battletoads
design.
was easier, then maybe it would have gotten better game testing. Maybe it would have been more memorable than just being really hard. And maybe it wouldn't be 90% of prank calls to GameStop.
You remember
maybe
GameStop prank calls?
Heck, if they didn't do the 3 continue
XD.
BS, I'd still recommend it.
How
but without
epic.
cheats, this game barely gets a check minus, and with them, a check. Oh my god, that game was hell. Like, that was really, really bad.
It's pretty
What
hard.
even possessed me to play this game? Why did I watch that terrible, terrible cartoon?
Would you
pilot?
ever be interested in me,
You know
like,
what?
doing the other
I need an easy
Battletoads
guess.
games?
Something that won't make me want to jump out a freaking window.
The SNES one,
Where's
Battle
that Pac-Man game?
Maniacs,
Oh my
is
God,
really
let's see all
hard.
the Target. Can't be that bad, right?
Oh no, the meme game! Which Battletoads would you want me to cover? Maybe, oh, you know what? Doesn't the new one come out next year? Answer my own question.
But anyway, the problem here is that the game just assumes you know the show and all
Oh,
this.
oops. I already watched part of this, I guess.
A few episodes ago, I reviewed a licensed game called Regular Show, Mordecai, and Rigby.
It's meme game
and I hated
time.
it a lot. Not only because the gameplay didn't work, but because it took zero effort
Good
into
old
appealing to its
Balrog's
fans. Slapping a few
platformer
enemies
game
and having some
room.
half-assed cutscenes is not good enough, and in the end defeats the purpose of the game in the first place. It was a blatant cash-in.
Oh.
But today, we're going to look at
There's
one
literally
last version of this
cash.
problem. A game that does appeal to fans of the show and does work, but takes the original formula of its parent series and tries
Oh
to imitate
man,
them,
I'm a
for better or
meme.
for worse. That's right, it's a game based on a TV show based on the 3D games that are based on one of the biggest names in video game history, Pac-Man.
Did this get canceled?
Try
Is this
wrapping your head
gone?
around that one.
My greasy ass pizza face. It did get canceled? Nice. Or indefinite hold. AKA canceled.
BNGR.
I had a nice pizza face, thank you.
Now I know what you're probably thinking.
There is good
Why
pizza.
does this game exist? I mean, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures is a spin-off of a video game. Why does the show need its own game? Well, if you think that, then you're highly underestimating the popularity of the show. No
Yep.
matter how annoying you think Pac-Man's new voice is
It was
or
pretty
how stupid the
popular.
main villains are, this show is almost always #1 in its time slot.
You
It's
remember when that
popular.
was a
It's
thing?
cool with the kids. And I've watched it, and once you get used to the new characters, it's actually not that bad.
You
I mean,
guys
it's not the best cartoon
pronunciating
I've ever seen or anything,
BNGR?
but it is nice to look at.
Oh my god.
It's alright. But enough about the show. Is Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures
I never
on
played
Wii
the
U
sequel.
a good
Actually,
game
no,
on
I
its
played
own?
a bit of the sequel,
Well,
and I remember it being more of the
depends.
same.
And that's what's really
It
going to
wasn't
make this a
bad.
good episode. It really depends
was
on the
alright.
situation. So without further ado, let's get straight into the game so I can show you why this is.
If you had $1 for every time I said this is the blank game I've ever
transition.
played.
So the
Yup.
plot here, you know this is really the first
This is
time
the
I
worst
don't
game
wanna
I've
go
ever
over a
played.
plot.
Next
Pretty much
episode.
What you need to know is this
No,
guy
kid,
is
now
the traitor.
this is the
He's
worst
ruler
game
of
I've-
the world where ghosts live trapped in. This is Pacopolis. It's a city in Pac-World inhabited by, these guys.
Good
Betrays
old
the city
DDR
ghosts to destroy
arrow.
Pacopolis, and Pac-Man has to eat them, fry them, become a meme, whatever he has to do so he can save his planet.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, that last one was right, by the way. Pac-Man becomes a meme in the show. Man, don't you just hate when that happens?
Oh no.
Oh no, my hair! I'm a meme today. Oh no, I kinda like that
Meme.
in my house. Meme it! Oops, I accidentally posted my eShop card online. Oh.
Oh man, I'm a meme
I'm actually a
again.
meme. But anyway, the problem here is
You
that
could
the game
tell
just
just how
assumes you know the show
devastated
and all
I
this
actually
hack
was there.
terminology. That and the cutscenes are just people talking, so there's no real sense of urgency.
Memeing.
I don't care about your globes or your dictator being stolen. Yes, that is actually what you're saving in this game, and all of this together makes some of the most boring storytelling I have ever seen in a licensed game. If you haven't watched a show like I did, it's gonna make zero sense. You're gonna be upset
Yep.
that there's so many stupid, goofy characters you don't know, and it's gonna put you right to sleep. No matter who you are, it's best that you just skip all of them. Now as for
Yeah.
the gameplay, it's
I'm
all
not
right.
a big
You're
fan.
gonna be hearing that a lot today. You gotta chomp enemies with Y, scare them when your meter is full with X, and you can pull off some double jumps too.
See,
With
like,
these
you look
totally
at the
average
game and it
powers, you
looks
gotta
good.
jump ghosts while they're not attacking,
And then you play it
pull
and
the
you're like,
occasional
just
switch or
kidding.
two, and get some coins and pellets for
Was that cheese? Wow, good old,
Once,
look at the
have no
script,
idea.
and it has like 7
now,
words
here's where
on
my
it.
problems start with the game.
A
There's
classic
all these
video
pellets you
game
can collect,
review
but
trope.
What's the point of them? I mean, yeah, you use coins for arcade machines, fine, but these pellets seem to be only used to unlock mandatory levels. They don't get you extra lives like eating ghosts do, so are they just here to artificially
Imagine if
lengthen
you
the
got
game?
this
It's
Pac-Man
such a
in
freaking
Smash.
waste. And if they do
Oh my
do
God,
anything
and
else, I can't find it anywhere.
I don't think,
No
I
one on
think
GameFAQs played
there
this
would have
game.
been a
There's no
meltdown
guide
about
anywhere.
that.
And I went to check the manual, and guess what?
The beginning of no
There's
manuals.
nothing in this manual. You know, maybe it's in the e-manual? No? You know, even the worst games I have ever played on Wii U
Oh
had a
God, the
freaking
letter.
e-manual.
The letter.
The pack is back!
This is the part of BNGR where
Now,
I'm
if the
just
core
losing
gameplay was
my
still
damn
entertaining,
mind.
This wouldn't be that big of a problem. But the camera is literally the worst thing in the game. It's to the point where half of the game's deaths are because some stupid object was obstructing your view, and you go off flying some endless cliff.
Yeah, I hated
And
the camera on
sometimes
this game. It
it'll
was
just go
really
nuts.
bad.
Are
Good
you
old
serious?
Emmanuel.
And to make things worse, this hub world sucks. Like, it's void of any sort of imagination. It's just Pac-Man in a school talking to his friends with the same dumb one-liners. And you can unlock some half-ass minigames that should have just been
Those
the
minigames
original
were
Pac-Man
bad,
games.
dude.
Like, seriously, I've played Mario Party games that are more fleshed out than these. It's a huge
Why am I
waste of
talking so
potential.
fast? Slow
Now that we got
down.
the bad stuff out of the way. Bad story, bad camera, bad world hub, dumb collectibles. There's just
Did
as
you
many
guys
good
notice
things to say
that?
about the game. What, you thought this game was just gonna be shovelware trash? Well, yeah. Me too. I mean, the best game
Oh.
these guys have made is Curious George on the Xbox, so...
Oh, now that's a game
Take
I
that
should
for what
cover.
you will.
Good old Curious George on
First
the
off,
Xbox.
the game's level design is actually pretty commendable. The first few levels are kind of bland with a bunch of random platforms strung together, but I was super impressed with everything after that. There's a ruins level with all kinds of crazy monsters, death traps, and different ways to use
Yeah,
your
I
hopping
think I
ability.
actually sped
World
up
3 is the
me
actual
talking,
netherworld with
yeah.
lava traps, crazy boss
I might
battles,
have.
and even smaller segments with completely new controls. You got an ice world, a sky world, a final world to combine
I think
them all
I was
together.
just, like,
And though
worried
it's
I would
nothing
bore
mind-blowing,
people.
The game switches up things a lot. It
Or maybe
actually
it's
had
when
me
I
looking
started
forward to
drinking
what each level
coffee.
had in store for me. But Pac-Man isn't just all chomps and jumps in this game. He's been given a bunch of powers via Pac Dots, just like in the show.
Good old
You got the
Granite
Fire
Ball
Pac-Man,
Pack,
Ice
the
Pac-Man,
classic.
Ball Pac-Man. Oh god, I didn't expect it to be that scary. Each power-up's pretty
Oh, God.
self-explanatory, and the auto-target system for them
That
works
zoom
really
in with
well.
his
Not to
face.
mention, if you do lose your power, you don't have to worry about not progressing. You just gotta go back and get another dot. It's never really an issue.
I should
and can't
actually
believe I'm
play
saying
Curious
this, but
George.
it actually
Okay,
gives me
good to
Super
know.
Mario Galaxy vibes. Also, if you're wondering how hard the game is,
I'll put
it's
it in
usually
my
pretty
list.
easy, and solving puzzles do give you a sense of accomplishment. I just kind of wish the exploration had a purpose besides getting extra lives and tokens, and that the camera didn't suck, but I still had a pretty good time.
Yeah,
Except the ending. The
it was
ending
like
is
Sonic
freaking
Adventure
terrible.
tier
You just reflect
camera.
lasers at Betrayus, and
Not
then you
good.
eat him, and then complain about how he tastes. What would he taste like? It's just kind of weird since the last world was actually pretty good up until that point.
Yeah, it just kind of abruptly
Shows
ends.
these days. So now that you know the basics of Pac-Man, it's time
I'm
to
sorry
see how
I
it stacks
spoiled
up
Pac-Man
to
and the
another
Ghostly Adventures
platformer.
for you
See,
guys.
Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures may be a licensed game, but the gameplay is heavily influenced
man
by one of the
bores
series
the
I grew
final
up with as a
boss.
kid and haven't played in over
You ever think
10
about
years.
that?
Pac-Man World. Now, of course, with Pac-Man World 2 being one
Extra,
of my
I
favorite
like
platformers
it.
on the GameCube, I was a little fast to jump the shark and say, this new Pac-Man sucks, the old one's better, platformers were good back in my day. But then I went back to it, and it's not as great as I thought it was. So let's
It's
put
still
these two
pretty
games
good.
together head to head and see what's different about them. I hope this isn't a gang sign or something.
It's not a
The first
gang
thing we're gonna
sign.
compare is the camera.
It's
and
not
both
a
of
gang
them are
sign.
Really freaking
It's,
bad. It just goes in and out of shots. It gets stuck on walls. And what's even
Yeah.
worse is that in World 2, Pac-Man has a move where he runs forward and you can't control him well. Just
I
like in
need to
Power
chill out
Rangers.
with my shoulders. I
made the
look
same
so
mistake.
tense. I
Twice,
know.
Over 10 years between.
I was like so
This one's a tie.
anxious when I
Number
used to
2 is
play
level
when I
design,
used to
and World 2
record.
has no superpowers
I'm not like that anymore,
besides
though.
this. It instead relies on Pac-Man's current arsenal and giving him
It's
new
a
levels to
sign,
explore and be
alright.
amazed at.
Yup.
But Ghostly Adventures has
Sure
new
is
versions
a
of Pac-Man
sign.
to learn and master, but has a much smaller arsenal for each of them. So in this regard, World 2 has better design, but Ghostly Adventures has more playstyles. Number 3 is completion, and World 2 actually gives
sure
you a
is
purpose
a
to collect its
sign.
crap. You actually want to 100% the game, find all the fruits, get the Pac Dots, and so forth. It rewards exploration. Ghostly Adventures just has
Balrog
it there for
forced
show,
to
and
stop
nets you arbitrary
streaming when
stuff like
old
extra
gang
lives and
sign
hearts.
video
To my knowledge, it doesn't
resurfaces.
mean anything
Oh,
to get all the
no.
Pac Dots. So World
What
2
if it
is much
becomes
better
a
in this
gang
regard.
sign in the
Number 4
future?
is story, and World 2 story
And this
is
age is
hilariously
really
awful.
bad.
Like, what am I even looking at here? Is that a pack dog? Why is this guy under a tree?
What happened
Is
to my
that
video
Ghost
on the
playing
letter?
Love Me,
I
Love You Not while
streamed it
Pac-Man is
once.
sleeping? Oh boy, I'm out of here. But you
It
know
should be in
what?
my stream
It's so bad
archive.
it's good plot is more entertaining than this. nobody cares about this. World 2 wins again. So at the end of the day, with my
Good old
nostalgia goggles
haunted
off,
boardwalk.
World 2 is better in most regards. Therefore, if you have a GameCube or Wii, just get World 2 and forget this game even exists, because
Yep.
Ghostly Adventures makes
Honestly,
more mistakes, and the
yeah.
game is 10 years older. You'd think a decent camera
Don't get
would be
World
figured out
3
by
though.
Namco
World
at
3
this
though,
point.
that
Or
one kind of
Bandai
blows.
Namco, Bandai.
1 and 2 are
whatever they're
good.
called, they change it like every 3 seconds. But for everyone else, without comparing it to other Pac-Man games, is this game still worth getting if you have a Wii U? Well, let's get straight to the review and find out.
Oh boy! What
First up is fun.
the?
Oh boy. So you all pretty much know my stance
That was
on
my
platform
Pac-Man
design at this
stress
point.
ball.
You need good control, precise movement, varied gameplay, and skill-based design. Pac-Man The Ghostly Adventures has all of these, but the camera almost ruins every single aspect. And you know what? When the camera's
Classic.
not a problem, the game's really fun, although a bit mindless. So since these problems prevent the game
It's a
from being
decent
solid
game.
experience,
It is
it's
like the
just
definition of a
alright.
6 out of 10
Check
game.
minus. Second up is looks, and the levels look nice. The colors really pop out, the enemy animations look cool, and it perfectly captures
You
the
need to
theme of
watch
the
your
show.
AVIs.
The only
Didn't
problem
I
is that
watch
the
all
cutscenes
of
look
them?
like
I
poop.
think I need
There's
to
a few
watch the
glitches I actually
3DS
came across,
ones,
and the
but I
hub
think I
world
watched
is
most of them.
insultingly empty. So with all the good canceling the bad here again, it's just, well, you get the idea. Check minus. Third up is sounded. You know what? This is a really nice orchestrated soundtrack. Within the levels, you
song
can hear references
bops.
to other games like Dig Dug in it, and the voice acting is fantastic as well. I mean, it's not going to blow you off your chair or anything, but it gets the
No,
job
no
done
more
really well.
suck face.
Check.
You
Fourth up is
stop
length.
that.
This game's actually pretty long for a platformer. There's 6 worlds with a handful of really lengthy levels, but it doesn't feel like it overstays its welcome either. Besides,
I think what I'm gonna do, I need to stop
streaming
streaming in like half an hour.
Through all the cheap deaths.
So I'm probably gonna finish BNGR and then we'll go through like power reviews and AVIs next time we do this.
Check.
Because BNGR we're
In
not gonna be able to do
Pac-Man
in
The
one
Ghostly
sitting.
Adventures is, you
That's gonna
guessed
take a
it,
few sittings.
alright. If it fills its purpose as a licensed kids game and lets him relive the show and does a pretty decent job with it.
Yeah.
If I had a kid, I would definitely play this game with him or her. But Pac-Man has a name to live up to, and this does not live up to its quality yet. The game doesn't have too many flaws,
sorry.
it did do a lot of things right, but those few problems really hurt the experience and prevent the game
I
from
don't
being
know.
as good as,
Like-
say, Pac-Man World 2 and 3. And with a sequel to this
Should
game
I
coming
wait
in
to do
October,
Game
and
and
a third game
Wario
already
after I
greenlit,
finish
I can
all the
only hope
other
that the developers
videos?
learn from their previous
Because it's the
mistakes. So to bring
finale?
our last licensed
I don't
game
know,
to a
it's up to
close,
you
is
guys.
Pac-Man The Ghostly Adventures
Should I
a
just
bad
go
show?
for it then go
No.
back?
If you give the characters a chance and remember that the show is for kids, is the premise
to
good?
you.
Of course. Is it different? Yes. Is Balloon Pac-Man an abomination to the human
Oh.
race? Without a doubt. But unlike some
Meme.
grown-ups and reviewers who grew up with Pac-Man that are like, oh, this is not the Pac-Man I know, you better change it back right now, make it to Smash 1.
Game and
Number
Wario
1,
should be
you're
the
asking to
finale.
bring
Alright.
this dog back.
We'll
Number
do the
2, I
other
think
ones,
older
and
games
then
had
we'll
a lot of
watch
their
Game
own
and Wario.
problems. And number 3,
Actually,
I think
we'll just
Pac-Man
watch
The
Mega
Ghostly
Man
Adventures is
5,
decent, and you all
and
should
then
have
we'll
a more
just
open
stop,
mind
and
about
then
it, or
next
even
time
check it
we'll
out.
finish the
Or if
rest
not,
of
just
it.
go play Pac-Man World 2 and forget this exists. Whatever. But I see an alright game with a lot of potential for at least a good series. It's just that
Yeah.
the first game is only okay. Check minus.
So that way we have like another
Really
full
dodged the
stream
bullet
of
on
like
that one. I thought the
BNGR
game was gonna
stuff.
be terrible, but I ended up still having a good time. Isn't that right, Wario? Oh. Oh, who am I kidding? It's not the same.
Yeah, it's
Now
not
that
the
I think
same,
about it, my show's
Froakie.
so samey
Ever
now,
since I
just
ripped
follow
off
the
his
formula,
tag.
Do the same thing over and over again. It's like the new Pac-Man. The magic I had when I started this series feels like it's all lost.
I could probably fit in
There's
a
only
power
one thing
review
I
or
need
two
to do.
before I leave.
Get him back.
We're gonna get him back, boys! Where's Mega Man V? Oh yeah, BNGR. What happened to my thumbnail? Alright.
Previously on BNGR. Wario, have you been playing my games again? No. No.
Good old
No!
sad
Sometimes I
Castlevania
just wish you were
music.
gone. Forever. Wait, Mario, where'd you go? You seem to have forgotten some Mega Man games, Balrog. I have kidnapped your precious Wario until you review what special game you missed. Your forgotten enemy, Sunstar. But wait, why would I even want to save him? He just ruins my show.
Agreed!
Isn't that right, Wario? Oh.
Yeah,
Who
you
am I
suck.
kidding?
Why did I
It's not
even
the
save
same.
you?
The magic I had
piece
when I
of
started
poop?
this series
I should have
feels
just,
like it's all
like
lost.
left him
Means there's
in
only
there
one thing
and
I
just
need to
never
do.
referenced him
Get
again.
him back.
I wonder if anyone would have cared.
Battle Network? No. Is it Mega Man Extreme? No. You know, I give up. These aren't even from the original series. They ported a bunch of NES ones. I know that.
More like
but Sunstar
Balrog's
isn't in the
Depression
NES
Room.
games. So
Good
where
old
the heck
BDR.
is this screenshot from? that music. It sounds like the original Game Boy ones, but it's not a remix.
Ooh.
What's this? Oh my god. An original Mega Man game on the
This
Game
game
Boy?
bops.
Guess this is what
This
we
game's
play,
really
so
good.
Let's give it a shot.
If you haven't played Mega Man V, you should play it. This video is what encouraged you to get your first Mega Man game? That's awesome! Thank you! I'm glad I could do that.
BNGR.
It's such a good intro song, I know! But I have an even better one I've been making. An even better one than this one.
Most games can't just be copy-pasted on another system. They need to
It's
be
gonna blow
utilized
your
for them. And sometimes
tits
that
off.
requires making the game over from scratch. But this problem is most apparent when a console game is being made for a portable system. In fact,
That game
remaking
wasn't
the game
that.
is usually the
Pac-Man
easy
World
way
on
out.
GBA isn't that
In
bad.
many cases, the game will just end up being totally different, or an inferior copy of the console version, or...
Now that was
Every
bad.
once in a while, you get a bunch of really creative developers. Developers who not only know the source material really well, but actually build on what made the original so special. And in those
Ooh.
cases, the portable version can be on par, if
That
not better, than the
transformed
console
on
version.
DS is pretty
So unless
solid.
Capcom reveals Mega Man 11 or 10-2 or something, it's time to go over one last game from the original series, which was a culmination
tell
of
'em.
4 ports that were so freaking good that the last one didn't even need its source material anymore. Mega Man 5 on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Or 3DS, because the cart's like $70 on eBay.
It's really expensive.
If you look at
That
me,
game is really
I'm
expensive,
the kind of guy
actually.
that carries change.
I
These
can
prices
you
are
guys
crazy
believe I
because
predicted
it's a
Mega Man
game
11?
That fell deep into obscurity.
You're welcome.
If that even makes grammatical sense.
What?
Alright, so assuming you've seen the console version of Mega Man already, what comes to mind when you think of the series? Maybe
Bless
the tight
up,
controls,
Capcom,
the robot masters, and the
listen.
short little stories they have? Well, hold on to that thought, because today I'm going to take everything you're thinking right now and flip it right on its head. I'm
Yeah,
gonna give
man.
you 5 reasons why the Game Boy Mega Man games are just as good or even better than the
They
NES
are.
ones.
You should try the
Number one,
Game Boy
they actually
ones.
have cutscenes. On NES, any kind of story was told through a few pictures or maybe a couple explosions, but look at this. Sprite scaling, parallax scrolling,
Mm-hmm.
Mega Man in space. I mean, that's cool. Number 2 are the Robot Masters. Okay,
It's
so the way most
fun.
of these games work is that each installment uses Robot Masters from 2
You like my
versions of the
editing?
game. For instance, Mega Man 3 on the Game Boy has 4 robots from Mega Man 3 and 4 from Mega Man 4 on NES.
Classic
So
Sony
you guys
Vegas
should know
editing.
what that means. Capcom completely switched up the weaknesses for these robots, forcing you to replan your boss order. Not to mention using a weapon from Mega Man 4 and a Mega
Yeah,
Man 3
like the
robot just
idea of
feels
like
a
the
badass
crossover, it's so
Which
cool.
leads me into number 3, the levels themselves. You see, despite the game being developed by a third-party company, Minakuchi Engineering,
I thought
God, I
that
probably
was gonna
forgot
say meme
producer from the
for a
NES
second.
games worked on it, and he knew exactly what fans were expecting from these levels. So instead of just making straight up ports of these levels, unlike a certain game, he switched
Bad
up the
game.
layout and enemies just enough
That was a
it
bad
would really
game.
trip up fans. And at least
Don't
to
play
me,
that.
they feel like an expansion to the original game. Number 4 is the music, and oh man, most of these games match the NES
These
themes
sound
perfectly.
so
Like,
good, and
literally,
they're in
you can't tell the
stereo.
difference between the two. Not to mention they're in stereo sound as well,
See?
unlike the mono NES. So I always recommend playing these games with headphones. And of
Nuts!
course, there's a lot of
That
new
was
songs to
nut.
enjoy as well.
That was a
Well,
nut
next,
right
number
there.
5, well, they're on a Game Boy, so you can take these games anywhere you want. Not to mention most of these games
Good
are a
ol'
full-fledged Mega Man experience,
nut.
but you can play them for hours and hours without having to worry about batteries. And with a password system and levels only being around 5 minutes each,
Why did I
it's
do
perfect
that
for
on
on-the-go
camera?
sessions. Just make sure you write down all your passwords in case your batteries do actually die.
What?
So with all that said and done, the portable Mega Man games
You like
are some
how
of
I
the
was
best
wearing
platforms on
shorts
the
with a
Game Boy, and you
turtleneck?
should definitely pick them all up.
Nailed it.
Because it's
What are the good
It's a
Mega Man
disaster.
games
It's
on the
put it
Game
nicely.
Boy?
But 1, 3, and 4 are awesome, and they're all on virtual consoles, so altogether they're like $12. That's not bad. But with those games out of the way, it's time to go over the
I
final
take back
game in
what
the
I
Game
said
Boy
about
series,
1. 1 is
Mega
not
Man
that
5,
good.
Or as I like to call it, V, because V just sounds cooler and it's easier to remember because it's not like the NES ones.
Mega Man
Okay?
V.
We're gonna call it V. Okay.
So the game starts
Okay.
off a few months after the events of Mega Man 4. Wily's plans to conquer the world have failed again, and apparently everyone forgot about
What's the
his
next
scheme
review
already.
I'm doing?
You know,
Sonic
world
Forces.
domination.
Whenever
No big
I
deal.
finish
But
editing
anyway,
it,
this
which
piece
I
is
hope to
short-lived.
do
While
on
Mega
my
Man and Roller
New
are
Year's
chilling in a
break.
field, a robot named Terra
I spent a
comes
lot
out
of my
the sky and
time
wants
this
to make
week
Mega Man his
working on my
slave? Mega Man tries to
I'm working
attack him,
on
but
like
the Mega
updating
Buster
my
has no
branding a
effect.
little bit
And then Dr. Light somehow finds Mega Man after this
because I'm
robot
making a
came
new
specifically
series.
to make
Well, not
Mega
a new
Man his
series.
slave.
It's
You know,
like a
I don't even know why I'm
continuation of
explaining this.
BGRA.
So big surprise, the story here kind of sucks. Let me
But
explain it.
yeah, it's
Terra is part of a
basically
group
the
called
idea
Star
behind
Droids
it
who all
is
wanna
like
take
you'll be
over
able
Earth for
to
some
watch
random
this
reason.
without
That's right,
having
the
to
robots
watch
who are fighting in
previous
this game
things.
are not robot masters.
It's just
They're ancient
it's just
robots
another
named after the
story,
planets.
another
Except
adventure.
Pluto, 'cause Pluto's not a planet anymore, but don't tell him, okay?
Am I rebranding again?
Also, in order to defeat these enemies, Mega Man has been upgraded
might
with
be.
the Mega Arm, which is apparently the most powerful weapon ever devised.
It's basically
Now, while I wouldn't call
BGRA
that,
Part 2,
actually not even
but
close to that, it changes the dynamic
there
of
is a
Mega Man
different
lot. You see, this arm allows you to
acronym.
punch enemies from a distance
I
when
will
you try
tell
to
you that.
buster, rather than just having to
As,
push
at least right now,
games.
what I'm
Not
planning
only
right now,
that, but
there
it
is
can also
one.
be
There is a
upgraded
different
over time,
name.
allowing you to grab enemies or reach items from long distances.
It's not
Now, while
BGR
this may not sound
double
like
A.
a big deal, you have to remember that you're playing
That
on a
sounds
2-inch
cool
display.
though. Damn it! Why did I think of
The
that?
arm can pretty much reach the other side
BGR
of the
double
screen.
A. That
It
sounds
does take some
awesome.
getting used to, since the arm also attacks enemies as it attaches
Well,
back to your body.
now I hate
But
myself.
It's a really handy tool and way better than the Mega Buster. I'll see myself out now.
Balrog's
Also, Dr.
Super
Light keeps
Game
Mega
Room
Man a cat robot
Adventures.
named Tango, which
Oh.
the artist Keiji Inafune made
BS
with the director's love of
BSGRA.
It's actually really useful too, spinning around and attacking everything on the ground until
I
it
thought
runs out of
BGRA
power.
was going to be
After
my
beating a
last
few star
acronym.
droids,
I
you also
really
get
did.
Rush as usual, so now
But
you have
this
a
is
dog
what
and
I'm
cat to
working
help
on
you
is
out.
so
And as
different
you might
that
have guessed,
I
more
might as
helper
well
robots means
just
a more
not
lenient
alienate people
Speaking
with
of
10
leniency, there's
9
also a
episodes
Peaches sword
before
that was
that.
introduced to
You
Mega
know what
Man.
I mean?
See, Ivy doesn't sound as cool as V.
I'll say
which
all
allows
this
you
in
to
an
buy
update
really
video
helpful health
eventually.
items and upgrades. For instance, one of my favorites is the Energy Economizer, which restores
BGR
weapons with the least
J.
energy automatically when you get
Oh.
energy pickups. Now, if this all sounds familiar, that's
We're
because
getting
it's short.
BGRA
This sword would eventually go on to
64.
create the bolt and screw system you see in Mega Man 7 through 10. So thanks, Game Boy.
I'm not gonna
dudes.
do X and Y
Except
for a
you, Mega
while.
Man 2.
I've
And you
planned
know,
this
I'm
out a
sticking this
little
out my
bit. I
system.
will do it at some
Nobody
point
likes
though.
you. I mean, you made Quint, which is literally an altered future Mega Man, on a pogo stick. You made
Good
games
old
that sound like
Quint.
someone took a magnet to your Game Boy and made it cry in agony. You made the game so insultingly easy that I beat the whole thing without losing a life.
Yep.
It blows my
It's a
mind
20-minute
that Capcom
game.
had the guts to re-release this game. Whoa, that felt good. Alright, so now you know all the new features Mega Man
It's
V
bad.
and not 2 brought to the table. How does the game stack up with the rest of the Mega Man series? Well, let's get straight to the review and find out.
X and Y should be your last video ever. I agree. That would be a good last episode.
First up is Fun. This is one of the best Mega Man games I've ever played, and in my opinion, one of the best platformers on the Game Boy. The story may
Balrog's
be a
Game
little
Room
stupid, yeah, but Capcom puts so
2019.
much love and care in everything else that it's not even an issue. Unique
yes,
bosses and
the
stages,
hard
the power-ups
reboot.
that balance the difficulty really well, the tons of items that are arguably the best used weapons in the entire series. It's super hard to
One of
find
you guys
anything
is pretty
wrong with this
close,
package.
actually.
In fact, despite its originality, the game still feels like a top-tier Mega Man game, and I believe helped pave the way for Mega Man 7 and 8. Also, Pluto is a cat, so instant
Good
10
old,
out of
I
10
love
for me.
Tango.
For a game condensed
He's
into
the
such a tiny
best.
screen, you're given a ridiculous amount of freedom with how you complete
I
it.
love cats.
Throwing boulders, stealing energy from an enemy, bouncing salt water. Okay, it's not how
Someone make someone make a compilation of whenever I say this is the most blank game I've ever played. Take a shot every time I say that.
The exact same stage with different obstacles. Still, it won't really bother you that much as you play it, so I'm just gonna give this a check. Second up is looks, and if you look at a screenshot, Mega Man B looks like a freaking dream. Even
It
with the
does.
Game Boy's
it looks
limited
really
color palette,
good.
each background and enemy
That
looks
one, like this is on a
phenomenal. And you
Game
can
Boy.
say that
That's
like it's
so
not like
good.
Some of the NES games. And if you have a Super Game Boy, the background they give you looks really cool too. But then the game gets busy and the engine starts to chug and slow down. Now it doesn't
not
affect
too
gameplay
bad.
or anything. It doesn't happen too often, but it's very distracting when the game speed just changes abruptly. What if I just started doing this review and I started
I
to
agree.
slow down like this?
It's a
and then
little
come back like
distracting,
that?
just a tiny
Really
bit.
weird, right? The NES games are also guilty of this, but since it happens
Yeah, I'm
a
working
little
on a
more
lot of
repeat, I'm
videos.
gonna
It's
go
just a
ahead and
matter
give this
of
a check.
time.
Because
Because I start working on one thing like for the future, and then I don't work on the other thing I need to work on.
The
And
problem is they all sound the same. I don't know what it is, but all
I
the
see
songs just
time.
kind of mesh
That's what I
together.
need,
So
time.
due to a lack of variety, I believe it's also deserving.
I gotta
of a check.
fix Nightbot. Oh my god, I've been off for 5 days and I did not fix Nightbot. I'm gonna do that right now.
The endgame literally has 16
I'm gonna go on
boss
Nightbot in the
battles.
middle of my
16!
stream and fix
There's a Wily
Nightbot.
battle in space. You get to fight the 9th Robot Masters from Mega Man 1 through 4, including Quint.
Quint is so bad.
Droids, Terra,
He's so
Left and Right
bad.
Knuckle, and of course the final battle with Dr. Wily. Because of this, without dying, the game will usually take you
Good
around 2 to
old
3
good
hours
old
the first time.
Nightbot.
But here's the problem. Just like the older Mega Man games, there's
Okay,
really no reason to play
commands.
through it again. You can memorize it by heart, sure, but there's no extra difficulties
Oh,
or
there's
achievements to
Sans.
unlock, so
There's
it kind
the
of fails in
Sans
comparison
thing.
to Mega Man 9 and 10 here. But being only $5 in the 3DS eShop, I still think you're getting your money's worth. So big surprise, this is also getting
Where
a
do
check.
I even change this stuff?
In conclusion, Mega Man V is a very unique game. It takes the tried
Oh
and true
damn, this is
formula of
getting
Mega
sad.
Man,
What the
switches
hell?
up a few things, and manages to feel more fresh than a lot of its predecessors. Awesome cutscenes, weird designs, a ton of fan service, and a currency system that later became a series
here it
staple.
is.
Minakuchi Engineering did a great job with their last hurrah on the Game Boy Mega Mans. Do I think Mega Man B
Every
trumps 9 and 10 in length? No way. But Mega Man B is kind of like the Super Mario Land 2 of Mega Man. It tried something new and becomes a fun little side quest on its own. So if you're a fan of Mega Man or platformers in general, you'll be doing yourself a solid by picking up one of the most underappreciated platformers on the Game Boy.
And
check.
One more.
Woo! So there we go. I reviewed that one special Mega Man game I missed. So,
Discord.
where the heck is Wario? I did everything he told me to do. So, what am I missing? Wait a second. Oh, is that the final boss?
Ooh, it's Sunstar time! Hell yeah!
You! Sunstar! Alright, well, if it's a fight that you want, it's a fight you're gonna freaking get! Let's start!
Ooh!
Now luckily, thanks to the power of game facts, I know that the recommended weapon is a Spark Chaser. So this should be a cinch. Oh. I have 1 bar of health. Well, luckily that's not a big deal. I brought health items because Mega Man 9 taught me to do so.
Right.
So thanks for that, game. Alright, here we go. Phase 2. Oh man, I gotta be less careless this time.
This is hard.
The
This
weapons
is
are
kind of hard of a
balanced 'cause
boss,
he doesn't seem to have
honestly.
any real weaknesses.
It's putting things together!
I'm down to 1 health again. How is that fair in the slightest? Unavoidable attack. Hey, wait a second. I did learn things without Wario. All those games, they taught me good and bad things about level design. Which means I don't need to beat Sunstar to save Wario. This needs to be a test of things that I can do on my own. It's almost like every single game I reviewed, every single lesson that I've learned has been leading up to this one point.
That is... Oh, I forgot I did this. This is awesome.
You know, that couldn't have been any more anticlimactic. I blame the budget. Whew. Oh, hey Wario, you're back. Finally. Now I can use you as the comedy relief again, since that's all you were good for. Don't get kidnapped again! Wait a second. What's this on your back? Thank you for beating my game. No one knew about me for the longest time. But it's how your friend, Wario, feels about you too. Lost and missing from your life. You can have him back, but you failed to see the entire point of saving him and focused on yourself instead. Things won't be the same? I don't know what he's talking about. I got this guy back at long last.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Something doesn't feel right. You're just a doll. You're just a doll too. It's like
Oh no!
imagining
I'm
this
woke!
Kinda
I
gone.
grew up.
Where's the face zoom-ins or the fun little stories I put in my games? The reviews. Everything I've made, the silly Sunstar plot, talking to stuffed toys, wearing a freaking turtleneck because I thought it looked cool. It's gone. It's all gone.
This is sad. What the
No,
hell?
it can't be over. There's got to be something in here to bring it back. Mario? Reading about it? Playing an eShop game or something?
Play Despacito!
What am I doing? Something to bring back the method, the formula, the jokes. What am I doing?
This is sad.
That's it. The show's over. That's it. I'm out of ideas. I'm out of everything. Which means there's only one thing left to do.
Okay, I fixed Nightbot. Balrog's existential horror room. That was sad. What the hell? Was that a pillow of 3DS games? It sure was. All right. Well, let's combat the sadness with what's it called? New 3DS, the trilogy. Buying a new 3DS. Well, there's the first one. Here it is.
Hi, welcome to Game Art, where you can pre-order the next 5 Mario games for 5 times the price. This is Bob Nintendo. How may I help you? Hi, I recently heard about some 3DS games that I was interested in getting, and you know what? It sold me on the system, so I was wondering if I could buy one today.
We're doing it.
Well, it depends. Are you buying the new 3DS or buying a new 3DS? Yeah, that's what I just said. I want to buy a new 3DS. Yes, but there's also a new 3DS as well, and we also have an original new 3DS in stock. Which one would you like to buy? You just told me the same thing twice. I'm not going to play your game today, buddy. I just want to buy a new 3DS. I'm sorry, sir, but we have several different models. We have original new 3DSs and original new 3DS
You like the
XLs
Wii
in
U
stock,
necklace?
We also now have new 3DSs and new 3DS XL. This is so confusing. I heard there's also like a 2DS or something that's cheaper. Can I just get that instead?
I hate you,
Yes,
Bob.
but while I can play all the games that our new original 3DSs can, there's some games on the new 3DS model that I cannot play. Look, man, I just want a 3DS so I can play Xenoblade, okay? I'm being real with you right now. I just want the system that you can play Xenoblade on. Can you tell me which one that is? Okay, sir, that would be the new 3DS. Hear me out, sir. According to our databases, Xenoblade is an exclusive
Bob
to the
did
new
nothing
3DS.
wrong.
You can't play it on our original new 3DSs, so to play the game, you would need a new 3DS or the new 3DS XL. Is that what you'd like to buy, sir? Yes! Just give me that one.
What a dick.
Wonderful. Would you like a new 3DS or a used new 3DS? We've also heard rumors of a new 2DS.
He's
as
just
well.
doing his job.
Hello? Jerry, we lost another customer.
Jerry!
Just name the stupid thing Super 3DS.
Alright, where's the second one?
Hi, welcome to Game Art, where you can pre-
Oh, it's a 60 FPS. Oh, God.
This is Bob Nintendo. How may I help? Okay, listen here, Bob Nintendo. I'm done with your little 3DS game, and I've done my research. The original lineup of the 3DS family is the 2DS, 3DS, and 3DS XL.
So
Is that
smooth.
correct? That's correct, sir. And your new lineup of 3DSs are the new 3DS and new 3DS XL, where you can buy a new 3DS or used new 3DS, or a new 3DS XL or a used new 3DS XL if you wanted to. Is that also correct? You're on a roll today, sir. And the new 3DS can use faceplates while the new 3DS XL cannot. But
How did
both
I
can still play
say
new
these
3DS
things?
Exclusive games. Am I still right? Wow, you really know all your stuff, sir. That's right. You're the first customer to do that. Okay. Oh my God! I finally get to play the new 3DS I've always wanted. Yes. So Bob, get me one new 3DS. Well, sir, turns out North America isn't getting the new 3DS.
Got him!
I confirmed that today. So
Bob, you got him!
sorry. Excuse me? Yeah, as of right now, we're only getting new 3DS XLs. But the new 3DS XL can do everything the new 3DS does except faceplates. Hello?
This man is about to lose it.
You know what? It's okay. You know, I'll get a new 3DS XL. I can still trade in my old XL.
I think this is
adapter, right?
technically
Yeah, of course
BGR,
you
so
can
we
still do
skipped
that.
over.
Okay. I'll be right over. Awesome. I'll see you here soon then. Thanks.
Thank you for subscribing.
I finally got it. I got the new
Do I want Team
3DS
Sonic
XL.
Racing?
I get
A
to
little
play
bit.
Xenoblade on
I
it.
hope it's
get to
good.
use
If it's
Amiibo
good.
and Smash 3DS on it. It's gonna be amazing. What? Yeah, I traded in my 3DS XL with the adapter for it. What do you mean? It doesn't come with an adapter. I just used my last one. I just traded in my only one. Curse you, Bob Nintendo! Hey Jerry, you're not gonna believe this. That stupid kid fell for it again.
We got him, boys! Alright, number 3.
Gamer, where you can sign up for a rewards credit card with 3,000% APR. Hello, Bob! I just got back from your store where I bought a new 3DS XL, but had to go back to your stupid store because you didn't tell me that the thing didn't come with an adapter and had to buy one myself. You sure did, sir, and now you have one, so what seems to be the problem?
He is
Well,
pissed.
I went to transfer my games over from my old 3DS to my new 3DS XL, and guess what was missing? An SD card slot. I looked all over this stupid thing, and I could not find it anywhere. So, Can you tell me where it is? Oh, well, I'm sorry, sir, but the new 3DS and new 3DS XL don't accept SD cards. They only use micro SD cards. So, you know what? You should be fine because there's a 4 gig one pre-installed in the system.
Oh my god.
Unless you're a digital gamer, aren't you?
Ooh!
Yes, I am.
Ooh!
Wonderful, right? You poor fool.
12 seconds later.
Okay, I finally have everything I need. I got the stupid micro SD card. Let's put it in the new 3DS, and this nightmare will finally be over.
Good man.
Oh god. Where is it? Hi, welcome to Game. Okay, Bob, no more games. Where is the micro SD card slot? Okay, sir, I'm just gonna be real with you right now. You need a screwdriver to access the back of the system. But not just any screwdriver, you need a Phillips Zero screwdriver. You know, like, the really, really tiny ones. Then why didn't you just tell me that at the store? I was just there! Because we don't sell them here, sir. You have to go to your local hardware store and buy it. What, do you seriously think I'm gonna endorse something that you can't buy here? Oh my god.
Destroyed.
Meanwhile.
Hey, Jerry, you're not gonna believe this one. Bob, when you
The birth!
pranking those kids? You've been doing this for years. Taking them out your 3DS and Wii U lingos. But in the end, all you get are pissed little kids. When you gonna get that promotion, man? You've been making $8 an hour for years. You ain't doing anything with your life. Whoa.
Damn.
What the heck, man?
Damn.
I'm have some fun here. It's not getting you anywhere in life, man. You don't get any girls with it, you don't get any customers with it, and most importantly, you don't even get promotions with the job anymore because you used to sell the new games on the black market. Yeah, what are you doing with your life? You still scripting that Spanish soap opera? Go stock some games or something. Hey man, you don't know nothing about Spanish soap operas. They got the drama and the ladies, and you don't know anything about it. I've got the science down. One day I'll show you. Just you wait, Bob. Hi, welcome to Game. Okay, Bob, I bought the screwdriver. Now what the hell is next? I already did the back of the system, so what do I do? Well, sir.
Oh.
Hey Jerry, you're not gonna believe this. That stupid kid fell for it again. Hi, welcome to Game Art, where you can pre-order half-finished games that will get patched 4 months after release. This is Bob Nintendo. How may I help you? You want to make fun of my stickers, my quarters? I have lots of hobbies, okay? Everyone collects the quarters. Everyone got the stupid little box that has all 50 in them, and they all completed it. What are you doing? What do you complete?
Oh my god.
Well, it's easy. Just put your micro SD into your system, and then do a PC-based transfer, and then when all that's done, copy your files from your SD to your micro SD card using a micro SD card to SD card adapter. Should take you no more than a few minutes. You know what, Bob?
I gotta bring back Bob being an asshole again.
Tried to sell me a credit card that would put my grandchildren
Oh
instantly
my
in
god.
bankruptcy, and tried to confuse me with all this stupid 3DS lingo. But thanks to you, I can finally play on my new 3DS. So thanks for helping me out, man. Aw, shucks, sir. You really mean it? No, you're a butthole. Bye. Seriously. Do you think I was serious? Oh man, I've messed up. Hey Jerry, come back here. Bob, what the heck do you want now? Do you want to make fun of my soap collections now? You were right. I have been doing this all wrong. This place...
Yo, don't make fun of Jerry's soap
business
collections.
Buying games from little kids for pennies, the bad pay. Look, we got this job to help gamers out, right? Well, honestly, I'm just here because my wife left me for that stupid American Eagle model. Come on, Jerry,
What?
be honest. Yeah. Well, let's do that. Let's follow our dreams, tell the world about games, and most importantly, get ourselves out of this stupid hellhole.
Damn, content ID'd. Getting content ID'd in 2018. Damn. Too real.
Hey man, get that camera out of my face. Who's filming this anyway?
Oh man, what a way to end this stream with new 3DS. Hack it with the screwdriver. Oh my god. He predicted the 2DS XL. He did it. Those are my best videos, honestly. That was it. I can't top that ever. Thank you all for coming to my stream. This has been an emotional roller coaster as usual. But yeah, why is one of my tags Rayman Amiibo? That's a good question. I don't know. I've been exposed right now. I've been exposed. But yeah, thank you all for coming to my video. Let's raid someone. Let's raid my friend Fushi. Let's do it. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Next time we're going to be doing the rest of BNGR and we're going to start BGR. So I'll see you then. I might not do it Saturday. Maybe we'll play a game Saturday because we haven't played games recently. But we're going to do that. Alright. Y'all have a great night. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for having a great time. And if you want to join my Discord, it's in the links in the description. Or actually, wait, it's not. I copy pasted it in the chat. Alright, I'll see you guys Saturday. Have a great night. Thank you for coming. See ya.